After the name him was decided, many players found it easy to pronounce. So they all followed suit and shouted, "The devil him just came into the world like this." If Su Yuan knew what the players called him, he would probably be surprised. Maybe some things are destined. Him was originally an abbreviation for Herobrine in Minecraft in the original game. Here, the way players call Su Yuan has a different meaning from him in the original game, but the result is the same. In this game world, Su Yuan is not as mysterious as him, but in the hearts of players, he is also a Demon King level existence. Over the grassland, the sky gradually brightened. Su Yuan also brought the monsters into the dense forest. Su Yuan gained a lot from this battle. While the monsters were fighting, Su Yuan kept receiving system notifications that they had been successfully tamed. After this battle, Su Yuan should have tamed quite a few monsters. After opening the taming system, Su Yuan took a look at the current status of taming monsters. Although Zombie 007 and Little Zombie 520 have not yet broken through to the advanced level of consciousness, but their progress is only about January 2000 players away. You know, in order to break through the advanced consciousness, you need to kill 10,000 players, which means that in this battle they killed thousands of players. This progress is already very good. With their strength, it will not take long before they can advance to a higher level of consciousness. Spider 101, Little Black 88, 233 Little White and some summoned disaster villagers have all upgraded to intermediate consciousness after this battle. Su Yuan could also clearly feel that their expressions were very different from before. After all, they were the first batch of monsters that Su Yuan had personally taught, so their own strength must be strong. The players can also handle it with ease. Next, there are about 2,000 new monsters with primary consciousness. This was also what Su Yuan intended. When Su Yuan had the monsters fight, it was also designed. Let powerful monsters like Zombie 007 face the players first. After their consciousness is completely destroyed, we will send out those ordinary monsters to reap the rewards. This way, the players will not resist, and the monsters will be able to kill 10 players faster and advance to primary consciousness. The more monsters advance to primary consciousness, the greater the base of kill points Su Yuan can obtain from them in the future. Su Yuan now has more than 20 monsters with awakened intermediate consciousness and more than 2,000 monsters with awakened primary consciousness. These monsters are like Su Yuan's fire. Just throw them everywhere and let them develop freely. As for what they will become by then, Su Yuan has no idea. Su Yuan naturally hopes that some monsters can grow and awaken their own consciousness, but it is certainly difficult to achieve at the moment. To reach such a height, both strength and luck are indispensable. Su Yuan did not expect these monsters to awaken their own consciousness. By then, if Su Yuan can detect the players' positions, things will be easier. Su Yuan can also lead these monsters. After shutting down the taming system, Su Yuan opened the information panel again. After seeing the kill value of more than 3 million, a satisfied smile finally appeared on his face. It's worth it. Although the previous layout was indeed a bit troublesome, after seeing the kill values gained, Su Yuan instantly felt it was worth it. With more than 3 million kill points, Su Yuan's strength can be greatly improved. I'll upgrade all my skills first. Although there is still a shortfall of 2 million kill points to unlock the Dusk Forest mod. But 2 million is not too much, but not too little either. Now Su Yuan has lost the players' clues, so it is still a bit difficult to quickly get 2 million kill points. Su Yuan didn't want to save it anymore, so he just used it to improve his strength. After spending the 2 million kill points, Su Yuan's skills also made a qualitative leap. Explosion LV5, consumes 5% of own HP, causes 100x100 area damage, cooling time 5s. Consume 1 million kill points to upgrade. Teleport LV5, can teleport to a coordinate location. The coordinate location cannot exceed 1000 range of itself, and can carry items or organisms within a 5x5 range, cooling time 5s. Consume 1 million kill points to upgrade. Clone LV5, consume 10% of HP, summon a clone, the clone inherits 50% of the original body's abilities. Example, if the main body's explosion skill level is LV5, the clone's explosion skill level will be reduced to LV3. Consume 1 million kill points to upgrade. Strong Spider Silk LV5, launches a ball of spider silk with a hardness of 50 to trap creatures, slowing down their movement speed by 150%. Consume 1 million kill points to upgrade. Hide level 5, can hide in any block and can drive stones to move. Consume 1 million kill points to upgrade. Fatal Axe LV5, pull out an iron axe from thin air and deal a fatal blow to the enemy, causing 100% damage to the enemy's upper limit of health. Bad Omen LV5, after the Bad Omen is triggered, a disaster patrol will automatically spawn around you. The patrol includes looters, guardians, looters, summoners, etc., with a cooldown of 1 minute. Consume 1 million kill points to upgrade. Summon Vex Ghost LV5, summon 5 to 6 Vex Ghosts to help fight the enemy, cooldown time 1 minute. Consume 1 million kill points to upgrade. Su Yuan basically upgraded all the skills he thought he would be useful to level 5. When upgrading skills before, Su Yuan discovered that after the skill was upgraded to level 4, the required kill value no longer increased proportionally. Basically, all skills require 100,000 kill points to upgrade after reaching level 4. It wasn't until Su Yuan upgraded these skills to level 5 that he finally understood. Basically, the hurdle for these skills is from level 4 to level 5. When the skill is up.
Hey everyone, welcome to our channel, and thank you for your support. If there's a favorite novel on the channel and you want the next part, you're just one step away. Become a Patreon member and I can make it depending on your tier. Thank you for your attention.
Upgraded to level 5, there will be a qualitative change. This is why after upgrading to level 5, you need 1 million kill points to continue upgrading. Take the skill of teleportation for example, the teleportation distance is directly changed to the teleportation coordinates. Although it is limited to 1000, this improvement is a qualitative leap. It is estimated that if the upgrade continues, the scope will be even larger. Perhaps after reaching a certain level, there will be no range restrictions, and Su Yuan can teleport to wherever he wants to go. It can be said that Su Yuan now truly looks like a demon king. After upgrading these skills, Su Yuan also tried all of them. What surprised Su Yuan the most was the skill of stealth. Su Yuan thought that stealth level 5 was the highest level, just like the deadly axe. But I didn't expect that the concealment could continue to upgrade. Moreover, after reaching level 5, the stealth skill has one more function. Able to manipulate stone. It is estimated that if the upgrade continues, the upgrade direction will be to operate blocks with higher hardness. This instantly reminded Su Yuan of him's ability to manipulate obsidian. Who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to control obsidian like him in the fan work. It looks like he's getting closer and closer to the Great Devil Him. I wonder if the undead army will appear. Speaking of the Great Devil Him, there is no need to say much about his own strength. Furthermore, the undead army he leads is also a horrifying existence. Entity 303, who is as powerful as him, the Dark Lord Null, the Dread Lord who once severely injured him, and the Death Knight holding the lava sword. These are all powerful demon kings. Just one of them has the power to destroy the world. But they all belong to him. Formed the strongest demon group, the Undead Legion. Among the undead army, him, the leader, is naturally the most popular. Under the influence of him, the popularity of other members of the Undead Legion is also quite high. If Su Yuan could really gather an undead army in this game world, his journey to become the Demon King can be considered complete. But Su Yuan just thought about it. After all, with his current strength, he would not be a match for any of them. Su Yuan didn't think any more about it, but turned his gaze to the monsters in front of him. Although I only spent a few days with them, but Su Yuan still developed some feelings for them. After they awaken their consciousness, they are no longer products of code. They also have thoughts and perform many autonomous actions. These monsters also have their own personalities. Zombie 007 is sophisticated and steady, while Little Zombie 520 is playful and lively. Xiahe 88 is very smart, but he always likes to show a lewd smile. Spider 101 Su Yuan thinks it should be a female, very careful, and a social person, getting along well with monsters. Ziobai 233 is like a fool, stupid and silly. These monsters are living beings. Su Yuan traveled to this world alone, and they were his only companions for such a long time. But now, it's time to say goodbye. Su Yuan couldn't always lead them, as this would limit his own development. Next, the monsters also need to gain experience on their own. It's impossible for Su Yuan to protect them all the time. After thinking about this, Su Yuan looked at the monsters with some reluctance in his eyes. But Su Yuan is not a hesitant person. Now that I have made the decision, I will not hesitate any longer. From now on you will fight separately. Remember your mission and be careful. After hearing Su Yuan's words, the monsters that had awakened their intermediate consciousness seemed to realize that they had to leave Su Yuan. His face drooped instantly, and there was visible reluctance and sadness in his eyes. But they did not dare to go against Su Yuan's wishes. Roar, roar, hiss. Monsters that have awakened intermediate consciousness, such as Zombie 007, Little Zombie 520, and Spider 101, all squeeze out various sounds from their throats. It seemed like he was saying goodbye to Su Yuan. Seeing this, Su Yuan also stepped forward, touched their heads, and gave instructions again. Be smart and come to see me alive. After saying goodbye to the monsters, Su Yuan distributed the more than 1,000 wolf cubs he had recruited during the previous battle to the various monsters. Wolves are originally neutral monsters, and Su Yuan can control them. Before, we directly unlocked the control over the wolves, making them obedient. These wolves would be a nuisance to Su Yuan, so he might as well let them go and train with these monsters. It can also be considered as a companionship. After distributing the wolf cubs, Su Yuan also waved at the monsters. Let's go. After Su Yuan gave the order, the monsters led their wolf cubs away in different directions. In less than 10 minutes, all the monsters were gone. Only Zombie 007 was left standing there. After seeing all the monsters leave, Zombie 007 took a few steps forward and came to Su Yuan. He looked Su Yuan up and down, observing her carefully. It seemed that he was afraid that he would forget what Su Yuan looked like and wanted to observe him more carefully. Seeing this, Su Yuan did not stop Zombie 007's behavior. Zombie 007 has always been special, and his thinking patterns have always been different from those of other monsters. If I were to make a metaphor, these monsters are currently like some pets that Su Yuan keeps. Zombie 007 is a pet that is more humane. So Su Yuan usually spends more time with Zombie 007. He is not as naughty as the little zombie 520. He is very calm and quiet. Every time Su Yuan does something, he will come over and keep a certain distance from Su Yuan. Then he just watched over Su Yuan silently. Zombie 007 observed Su Yuan for about 2 to 3 minutes before finally stopping. Then he growled twice at Su Yuan. Roar. Su Yuan could clearly sense its reluctance from its eyes. Seeing this, Su Yuan pointed at the wolf cub beside him. Take good care of it, and return it to me when the time comes. Su Yuan deliberately told Zombie 007 in an ordering manner, asking him to return the wolf cub later. In fact, it is just a hint to Zombie 007 that every time he sees the wolf cub, it reminds him of himself. This way, he wouldn't have to worry about forgetting Su Yuan. After hearing Su Yuan's words, Zombie 007 glanced at the wolf cub, then nodded as if he had some kind of belief. After saying goodbye to Su Yuan again, he turned and left. Looking at the backs of Zombie 007 and the wolf cub leaving, Su Yuan inexplicably felt a sense of familiarity. But I can't tell where it is familiar. Forget it. I don't want to think about it anymore. Su Yuan has a strong feeling that he will meet Zombie 007 again in the near future. It is estimated that by that time he should have grown into a very powerful being. Su Yuan is also looking forward to that day. After sending the monsters away, Su Yuan sighed as he looked at the empty grassland. I'm alone again. After traveling into the game for so long, Su Yuan has gradually gotten used to being alone. But the sudden joining of the monsters broke the silence. Now peace has returned again and Su Yuan is somewhat uncomfortable with it. However, loneliness is a normal part of life, and Su Yuan was able to adapt quickly. After calming down, Su Yuan also prepared to plan the next step of development. Now that all the monsters have been sent out, we probably won't see any results in the short term. After all, the entire game world is too big. Although there are a lot of players, they are all in a scattered state. It will take some time for the monsters to find the players. But Su Yuan's development must not stagnate. During this time, Su Yuan is doing some backup work. The first kills of monsters in the main world have basically been achieved. Now all that's left is the first kill of the monsters in the Nether and the end. Su Yuan plans to go to the Netherworld first to get the first kill of the monsters. Then build some monster spawning towers in the Netherworld. As my skills improved, the simple monster killing tower I used to use was no longer able to supply enough monsters. In the future, Su Yuan's demand for deterrence and kill value will only increase. We definitely need to build a few more monster killing towers. It is definitely better to build a monster tower in the Nether than in the main world. After all, players have not yet set foot in the Netherworld. Su Yuan doesn't have to hide it. After thinking about this, Su Yuan immediately took action. After teleporting for more than half an hour, I found a ruined portal to the Netherworld. There was a magma pool exposed on the ground not far away. After making an iron barrel, Su Yuan also skillfully used the casting method to make a portal to the Nether. After lighting the portal, I felt a darkness before my eyes. After a period of dizziness passed, I opened my eyes and found myself in the underworld. After arriving in the Netherworld, Su Yuan carefully destroyed the portal and then began to look for traces of monsters. Su Yuan shortly after entering the Nether portal. Many players gathered in front of the portal to the Netherworld in the main world. If I remember correctly, this place didn't look like this before, right? There were just a few pieces of obsidian before. How did it suddenly become the shape of a door? Could it be someone in our guild who released it? How is that possible? To put it there, at least there must be obsidian. Who can dig that thing? How strange. Let's go inform the president. The group of players gathered around the frame of the Nether portal are members of the Yuan Guild. The Yuan Guild is considered to be a relatively famous guild in the game. Yuan is a large game studio established in the early years. Since its establishment, they have appeared in all major games. Yuan can be considered one of the top 10 large guilds in Daxia. He still has some reputation in the industry. Although the Yuan Guild is currently only a level 1 guild, it is not far from becoming a level 2 guild. After Steve releases the guide for the pedicure shed, it will probably be upgraded to a level 2 guild soon. The strength of the players in the Yuan Guild is definitely much higher than that of the Triumph Guild. After all, most of the people in the guild are old members of the studio and are professional players. Coincidentally, the place where the Nether portal opened by Su Yuan was located was exactly where the players of the Yuan Guild were clearing the land. Players from the Yuan Guild also arrived here yesterday and discovered the remains of this Netherworld portal. Originally, this group of players didn't care about the wreckage. After all, players don't know about such things as portals to the Nether yet. But the changes in the wreckage attracted the attention of the players of the Yuan Guild. The guild members immediately told Yunfan, the president of Yuan Guild, the news. About an hour after the message was sent. Then he saw Yunfan riding a black horse hurriedly coming over. What's going on? As soon as Yunfan came over, the players immediately reported the situation. President, this is what happened. We just explored this place yesterday and found these obsidian stones stacked together, and there is a treasure chest next to them. I have reported this to you before. After hearing this, Yunfan nodded. The saddle on the black horse was the one that the players found in the treasure chest yesterday. The player then continued to report. There were only 5 pieces of obsidian here yesterday, but when we came here today, we found that it had turned into the shape of a door frame. The player said as he pointed to the obsidian door frame behind him. Seeing this, Yuan thought for a moment and then asked, "Are there other players around here?" After hearing this, the guild members shrugged uncertainly. Logically speaking, there shouldn't be any. But yesterday was the first time we explored the land here, so we can't be sure. After all, it takes an hour to get from here to the guild headquarters, and players don't usually hang out here. So there is no way to determine whether there are other players here. After hearing what the guild members said, Yuan opened the message list and sent a message to Vice President Yunli. "How long will it take?" "About half an hour. Wait for you." After closing the message list, Yuan started to study the obsidian door frame with the other players. About half an hour later, Yunli finally arrived. Yuan conveyed the players' descriptions to Yunli. "What do you think?" After Yunli came over, he carefully observed the obsidian door frame and thought for a moment. Then analyzed. This obsidian cannot have grown on its own. It must have been man-made. That means this person already has a diamond pickaxe, otherwise he would not be able to obtain obsidian. He took great pains to dig up so much obsidian and build this thing. It must be useful. I see this shape, it feels like a door. Yunli is Yunfan's younger brother and the vice president of the Yuntang Guild. Yunli is a talented player with a deep understanding of the game. He is like the brain of the Yuntang Guild. The growth and development of Yuntang Guild is inseparable from his contribution. Naturally, no one would object to his analysis. Yuan nodded upon seeing this and then asked, "If it is a door, where does it lead to?" "We just tried it and walked through it, but nothing happened." Hearing this, Yunli smiled. "It's probably some kind of space portal or something. It should need to be activated. As for the conditions for starting it, we'll have to try it slowly." After hearing this, Yuan nodded and patted Yunli on the shoulder. "Then I'll leave it to you." Yunli raised his chin, which was considered as agreement. Just as the players of the Yuntang Guild were studying the obsidian door frame, Su Yuan also successfully got the first kill of many monsters. Magma immunity, immune to damage from fire, magma, and magma blocks. Throw, the attack can throw the target into the air. Withering LV1, attacks produce a withering effect, health value turns black, blood loss is not noticeable, blood loss per second 5%. Consume 20,000 kill points to upgrade. Explosive fireball LV1, fires an explosive fireball that explodes after touching the target. The explosion power is 1. Blocks with a hardness less than 1 will be blown up. After the explosion, the surrounding 3x3 blocks will catch fire. Consume 20,000 kill points to upgrade. Fireball launch level 1, launches 3 fireballs, with a fireball accuracy of 50% and a fireball attack range of 30. Consume 20,000 kill points to upgrade. Group attack level 1, when a target is designated for attack, piglins and piglin barbarians within a 15x15 range will become hostile to the target. Consume 20,000 kill points to upgrade. The skills of these monsters in the nether are also pretty good. The 2 fireball type skills are naturally provided by the evil spirit and the blaze. I have to say, these 2 skills are quite useful. This is equivalent to Su Yuan having 2 more long-range attack skills. The exploding fireball provided by the evil spirit is equivalent to a long-range area damage skill, and should still be very powerful after upgrading. It is directly equivalent to a long-range artillery shell. The skills provided by the Blaze Man are more like long-range machine guns. After upgrading, the number, accuracy and distance of fireballs fired should be significantly improved. With these 2 skills, Su Yuan no longer has to rely solely on explosions for close combat. Next, the withering effect provided by Wither is also a pretty good skill. It is equivalent to a black screen and blood deduction. After upgrading, the blood deduction rate should increase a lot. Needless to say, attacking in groups is a skill naturally provided by the piglins. This skill is useless to Su Yuan. After all, Su Yuan can control monsters. Other monsters like zombie piglins and lava slimes did not provide any skills to Su Yuan. The zombie hoglin itself doesn't have many skills, and the lava slime is not much different from the slime. It was probably a skill that provided clones, which Su Yuan had already acquired before, so it was directly offset. Although this trip was fruitful, Su Yuan still felt a little disappointed. What he wanted most when he came to the underworld this time was the skill of flying. "I thought I would gain the ability to fly by killing evil spirits, but things did not go as I wished." The evil spirit did not provide Su Yuan with the flying skill. It seems that the evil spirit is also a monster that can fly autonomously. Su Yuan can only place his hopes on the Wither and the Ender Dragon. After all, both of them are boss-type monsters, so it shouldn't be too much to give them a flying skill, right? After thinking about this, Su Yuan also had a plan for his next step. Let's talk about the first kill of Withering first. To kill the Wither, you must collect the heads of 3 Wither skeletons. Then place it on soul sand to summon the Wither. The drop rate of Wither Skull is only 2.5%, which is quite touching. Anyway, the official rate is 2.5%. Su Yuan has been playing the game for so long, and without using the monster spawner, he has killed tens of thousands of Wither skeletons. The drop rate at Su Yuan can basically be moved 1 decimal place back. Anyway, when it comes to collecting Wither Skulls, Su Yuan can be considered a complete loser. Before, Su Yuan usually made a Wither skeleton spawning tower to spawn Wither skeletons. But now Su Yuan only needs to gather 3 Wither skeletons to get the first kill, so there is no need to go to the trouble of building a monster tower. Just brush it honestly. Anyway, if you encounter a Wither skeleton now, you can kill it instantly. Coupled with the teleport skill, the monster spawning rate is still very high. Even if your luck is bad, you can probably collect them all in an hour or two. After thinking about this, Xu Yuan immediately started collecting wither skeleton skulls. Yunfei spent most of the day studying and finally figured out how to open the obsidian door frame. It turns out that all it needs to be activated is fire. The moment the flame ignited the obsidian door frame suddenly seemed to be activated. The space in the middle of the door frame immediately began to distort and emitted a strange purple light. Yunli was excited when he saw this. It's done. After seeing the obsidian door frame being set on fire, Yunli was not in a hurry to go in. Instead, he suddenly turned around and glanced at the players present. Yunli felt a little relieved after seeing that all the players present were familiar faces. You are all members of the elite group and veterans of the guild. I believe you all understand the rules of the guild, right? Yunli has always been cautious, and the discovery of this obsidian portal is a major discovery for the guild. If you want to develop rapidly ahead of other guilds, the people around you must keep their mouths shut. Yunli has also set rules, and everyone in the elite group knows what to do. Don't worry, boss. We understand. We, the elite group, all have the same tongue and will not tell anyone. We are all old people, so we naturally know the rules. The reason why this group of players can enter the elite group is naturally because they are people whom Yunli and others can trust. They are all veterans of the guild, so Yunli still trusts them, but he just gives them a reminder in advance. Well, let's go in and take a look. After hearing this, the players immediately followed Yunli and stepped into the doorframe. The players of the Yuntang Guild immediately disappeared into the doorframe. Everyone in Yunli felt the world spinning around them, and then a wave of heat hit them in the face. When everyone opened their eyes, they were stunned by the scene before them. What the hell? Where is this? Why is it so red and eerie? It's so hot and stuffy? What a lousy place. Yunli and his group took a look at the map and finally knew where they were. The Nether World? Is this another world in the game? What the hell? There's something like this in this game. Hiss, the monsters here must be very powerful, right? If we come in like this, we might not be able to return alive. It was the first time for Yunli and his group to come to the underworld, so they were naturally nervous. They were not familiar with the terrain and monsters here. After Yunli took a look around, he gave an order to everyone. Everyone, be prepared to explore the new land. There are probably a lot of good things in this underworld. After all, it is a new map, and it is a place that requires opening a portal to enter. The supplies here are definitely better than those in the main world. Now that he's here, Yunli is ready to start new development. After everyone was fully armed, they began to slowly explore the lower world. Although Yunli and his people are not familiar with the lower realm, but fortunately, the players in the elite group are still quite strong. During the exploration along the way, I encountered many monsters that I had never seen before. But once I got familiar with their skills, I was able to get the hang of it right away. Everyone moved forward steadily step by step. After walking for about an hour, I saw a magnificent building in front of me. As we approached the building, the name of the building finally appeared on the screen. Hell Fortress. Wow, this building looks amazing. Could this be some kind of boss lair? Look, is there a treasure chest over there in that corridor? Indeed, but the dark skeleton next to it looks a bit difficult to deal with. Boss, shall we go? When the elite group members saw such a magnificent building standing in the lava pool, they could feel the danger inside even without going in. But when everyone saw the treasure chest appear in the corridor outside the building, they couldn't move their feet. After they entered the game, they currently only had access to one treasure chest. It is the treasure chest next to the doorframe of the Netherworld. There are a lot of good things in that treasure chest. Now that they have finally seen another one, they naturally don't want to give up. Seeing this, Yunli thought for a moment and made a decision. Let's go check it out. Although Yunli didn't have much confidence, fortunately he was leading an elite group of people, and their operations were still okay. At that time, even if you encounter danger, even if you can't win, you can still run away. After Yunli gave the order, everyone immediately entered the Hell Fortress. After arriving at the outer corridor, everyone worked together to kill the withered skeleton guarding the box. As soon as the withered skeleton fell to the ground, the sharp-eyed Yunli discovered that it seemed to have dropped a strange thing. Yunli immediately stepped forward and picked up the fallen items. Wither skeleton's head. What is this? Yunli couldn't help but be surprised when he saw the items dropped by the wither skeleton. Although he didn't know what it was, Yunli could tell that it should be a good thing. Because the color of the introduction font of this wither skeleton's head is different from that of other dropped items, it looks like a good thing. Xu Yuan spent more than an hour killing wither skeletons, but ended up with a head explosion. If he knew that Yunli and the others had killed one and only one head appeared, he would probably be so angry that he would die. Fortunately, Xu Yuan was lucky enough. When he was visiting the Nether Fortress, he casually touched a box and took out an enchantment book of looting too. Xu Yuan decided to possess a demon and fight again. However, there are still a few iron ingots needed to make an anvil, so Xu Yuan decided to go to the main world, dig some iron ingots, enchant them and then continue to fight. After thinking about this, Xu Yuan teleported to the Netherworld portal, only to find that it had been activated. Xu Yuan immediately realized that something was wrong. He remembered clearly that he destroyed the teleportation space after entering the Netherworld. Now that the Nether portal is lit, there is only one possibility. Someone lit it up from the overworld? It looks like someone has been here. Su Yuan himself remembered very clearly that when he came in, he deliberately destroyed the transmission channel. But at this moment, the transmission channel was opened again. That definitely means a player has come in. There are players around here. Su Yuan was also a little surprised. He didn't expect that there would be players in the place he was looking for. But it's okay, as it saves Su Yuan the trouble of looking for it. After thinking about this, Su Yuan also summoned a clone. Then he let his clone hide in the surrounding hell rocks. If a player sets foot here, he will definitely go back along the same route. As long as you monitor the nether portal, you can find clues about the player. Anyway, these players are like kill points delivered to your door, so why not take them? After placing the clone, Su Yuan did not delay his own business and went directly to the main world to start collecting iron ingots. Boss, there are a lot of good things in this box. An enchanted book, 2 diamonds, and a few iron ingots? This trip is a big win. The treasure chest outside this porch is so good, the things inside this fortress. I can't even imagine it. The players of the Yuntang Guild were excitedly discussing the various supplies that had been opened from the boxes. Yunli was holding the head of the withered skeleton that had just fallen and was studying it. Although the supplies in the treasure chest were indeed very good, Yunli felt that the withered skull in his hand was the biggest gain of this trip. After all, the color of its item name is different from the others. Yunli was just thinking about it when he saw another withered skeleton appear in front of him. Upon seeing this, the players from the Yuntang Guild immediately surrounded them. The withered skeleton was killed in no time. After the wither skeleton dies, only a piece of coal is dropped, and no wither skeleton head is dropped. Seeing this, Yunli immediately became excited. It seems I guessed right. This wither skeleton's head should be considered a rare item. It doesn't seem like it's something that will necessarily fall. After thinking about this, Yunli immediately gave orders to everyone. Leave 4 of you here to kill wither skeletons, and the rest of you to explore the fortress. Yunli and the others had only been standing here for a while when the wither skeletons refreshed. From this, we can judge that this should be the refresh point of the wither skeleton. Although Yunli didn't know what the use of this withered skeleton's head was. But now at least he can be sure that this must be a good thing. It never hurts to brush more. After Yunli gave the order, the players immediately got busy. Yunli placed the withered skeleton's head on the ground and took a screenshot. Then he sent a message to Yunfan. We have researched the obsidian door frame and it is a portal to the netherworld. We are in the netherworld now, and we got this thing. In my opinion, it should be a good thing, but I don't know what it is used for. You ask the higher UPS to research this. I won't go back for the time being. There are too many people and too many gossips. After Yunli sent the message, he sent the screenshot to Yunfan. Yunli was also quite cautious. After all, this is a major discovery of the guild, so Yunli must keep it secret and seize the opportunity to develop it quickly. At this moment, inside the Yuntang Guild's headquarters, the company's top executives were sitting together. The senior executives looked at the photo of the withered skeleton head sent by Yunfan thoughtfully. That's all I found during this trip to the netherworld. This wither skull must be very useful. Its drop rate is very low, and the color of the item is different from the others. Yunfan told all the guild leaders about what Yunli saw and heard when he went to the lower world. The purpose of gathering everyone for this meeting is to study the use of the wither skeletons exploded by Izumoli. In general, heads in games seem to be used for sacrifice or summoning. I guess summoning will be more effective. Didn't someone in our guild use that pumpkin head to create a snow golem? Really? This head is probably used to summon monsters. I just don't know what to put under the head. The top leaders of all guilds are core players, and their understanding of the game and their skills are naturally top-notch. They soon came to a rough conclusion about the uses of the wither skeleton skull. After hearing what everyone said, Yunfan nodded in agreement. Well, let's study along this line of thought. Anyway, there must be various solid blocks placed underneath. This stuff was obtained from monsters in the nether. I guess it's more likely that there are solid blocks from the nether placed underneath. Then bring more elite members over there to collect some blocks from the netherworld and open up some new land. The top leaders were discussing when to set foot in the underworld again. I saw a player rushing into the meeting room. Yunfan was dissatisfied when he saw this and was about to lose his temper. The player said breathlessly, "President. Oh no, that white eye. Him is coming." After hearing what the player said, all the senior executives were shocked. "He's here? Where is he? Has he discovered us? Has he discovered our base? Have they already attacked the base?" All the senior executives looked at the reporting player with nervous expressions. Seeing this, the player took several deep breaths before finally recovering, then shook his head. "No, we didn't attack the base. It's like this. I'm going to the open-air cliff mine in the north with a few other players to start mining. It turns out him is there too." After hearing the player's words, the senior executives breathed a sigh of relief. However, they did not dare to relax completely. After all, the mining area was only an hour away from the base. Now that him is around, it's only a matter of time to find them. After thinking about this, the senior executives immediately asked the players, "Have you been discovered by him?" After hearing this, the player shook his head. "No, we didn't dare delay after we found him, so we hid immediately. We waited until he left before rushing back." After hearing this, Yunfan asked again, "Are you sure he's not following you?" The player shook his head affirmatively and then said, "After we dug 3 parts and filled 1 part, we kept digging tunnels underground, and everything we did was underground. I walked around for about half an hour and only came out after I made sure he was not nearby. The players of the Yuntang Guild were also very cautious. Naturally, all the players of the Yuntang Guild had watched Steve's previous live broadcast. Afterwards, Yunfan and Yunli repeatedly reminded them to be careful if they met him. It doesn't matter even if he commits suicide and explodes his equipment, we must not lure him to the base. The players of the Yuntang Guild also always keep Yunfan Yunli's words in mind. After meeting him, I hid myself immediately after making sure that he had not discovered me, and they directly dug a tunnel to evacuate, which can be said to be very cautious. Yunfan finally felt relieved after hearing the players' words. But since him was already nearby, they had to be on guard. After Yunfan told Yunli the news he received, the two discussed it and then made a risky decision. Let's move the guild headquarters underground first. Although the safest way at the moment is to evacuate quickly. However, the temptation of the materials in the Netherworld is too great for the Yuntang Guild. Moreover, the Yuntang Guild currently has no knowledge of the Netherworld. They also didn't know that the Hellgate could be built using the casting method. Even if they knew the casting method, they couldn't be sure whether they could continue to find the Nether Fortress after reaching the Nether. They naturally don't know that there are actually many Nether Fortresses in the Netherworld. Currently, this Nether portal is their only way to reach the Hell Fortress, so they can't leave at the moment. They still wanted to stay and explore the fortress first. After all, the supplies in the fortress were really tempting. The gains from just one treasure chest were worth what they gained from playing the game for such a long time. As the saying goes, fortune and honor are achieved through risk. Yunli and Yunfan will definitely not give up the supplies in this Hell Fortress. After Yunfan and Yunli finished the discussion, Yunfan organized the players to move their base underground. That way, the target won't be so obvious. Even if him found the area nearby, he probably wouldn't be able to find any flaws. Afterwards, Yunfan arranged for several high-level players to bring a group of elite players who had signed the agreement to the underworld. As soon as they set foot in the Netherworld, Su Yuan's clone who stayed beside the portal to the Netherworld noticed them. After everyone left the vicinity of the portal, the clone slowly appeared. Seeing the guild names above the players' heads in the distance, Su Yuan couldn't help but feel excited. Is there a guild around here? Su Yuan originally thought that the people who set foot in the Netherworld might just be some individual players, but he didn't expect it to be a guild. It looks like we can get another large wave of kill points. These people definitely cannot be killed now, it is not cost-effective to kill them. They have to help Su Yuan find the location of the guild headquarters. After thinking about this, Su Yuan continued to drive his clone to follow the members of the Yuntang Guild. After following for about an hour, the members of the Yuntang Guild finally stopped in front of a Hell Fortress. The coordinates given by the Vice President are here, right? It's here? Damn, this building is pretty awesome. No wonder we can find so many good things in here. After everyone from the Yuntang Guild arrived at the Hell Fortress, the top leaders also sent a message to Yunli. After a while, Yunli walked out of the Hell Fortress. Seeing all the players just coming over, Yunli was a little displeased. What took you so long to get here? This Hell Fortress is much more dangerous than Yunli imagined. Yunli originally thought that the people he brought could at least explore the area a little bit, but he didn't expect that they would be surrounded by monsters as soon as they entered. Fortunately, they ran fast and then found a place to hide in the Hell Fortress and wait for support. There's nothing I can do. This lower world is too difficult to navigate, and there are so many monsters. After all, it was the first time for the senior executives to come to the underworld. They were unfamiliar with the place and were very cautious along the way. Yunli didn't say anything else when he saw this. There are several spots for spawning wither skeletons here. I've marked them with stones. I've also built pedicure sheds around them. I'll assign some people to spawn them. The remaining people will be divided into two groups. One group will go to collect various bricks in the Netherworld, and the other group will follow me to open up the Hell Fortress. After the members were divided into groups, the players began to get busy with their own work. After hearing Yun Li's words, Su Yuan also sighed. It seems that I won't be able to get this kill value for a while. It was obvious that Yun Li and his group came here to open up the wasteland. It will definitely take a few hours to finish. There was no way Su Yuan would kill them just for this kill point value. We can only wait until they finish clearing the land and return to the base and then follow them. After controlling the clone to hide, it didn't take long for the original body to finally collect the necessary materials. After making a random iron sword, I enchanted the iron sword with the enchantment book of looting 2 on the anvil. Then Su Yuan came to the nether again and started to farm wither skeletons. Fortunately, the place where Su Yuan spawned monsters was in the opposite direction from where Yunli and the others spawned monsters. Su Yuan doesn't have to worry about being discovered by the people from the Yuntang Guild. I have to say that with the advent of looting 2, the drop rate has indeed increased a lot. Su Yuan probably spent another hour on it. Finally, I have collected the heads of 3 withered skeletons. Can't you let me do it once? With this much monster spawning time, I can build a wither skeleton spawning tower. Su Yuan couldn't help but complain. My luck in getting wither skeleton skulls by myself is really terrible. I spent an hour grinding for the sword from looting 2 and only got 2 heads. It took Su Yuan nearly 3 hours to carve up the 3 heads. This is completely the reverse of being the European emperor. Hey, it's not easy to acquire flying skills. MC, placing 3 wither skulls on soul sand in a T-shape will summon the wither. As the boss in the game, wither is still very powerful. The main thing is that he can fly, and the withered heads he throws are not only powerful but can also destroy the terrain. And after attacking a player or creature, it will heal itself. This is also where it is more difficult to hit. It is difficult for players to aim at it while it is in the air. Furthermore, when facing it, the terrain will always be bombed into pits. This makes it harder to hit. And its skills also have the effect of restoring blood. Even if players work hard to reduce it to half health, it is still difficult to beat. After reaching half health, Wither becomes immune to ranged damage. It can only attack at close range, and when it takes damage, it will destroy a 3x3x3 block centered on itself. It is equivalent to a small explosion skill. Therefore, many people think that the Wither is stronger than the Ender Dragon and more difficult to defeat. However, no matter how powerful the monster is, it cannot defeat the wisdom of the players. MC players also figured out a way to kill Wither without taking any damage. The easiest way to survive withering without taking any damage is to simply dig a tunnel that is deep and long enough, and summon the Wither in a very small space. It is best if this space is made up of more explosion-resistant blocks such as obsidian or endstone. This way, the Wither cannot destroy the surrounding rocks, nor can it take off. It is equivalent to completely restricting the Wither's actions. Then prepare a bow and a sword, and it would be best to bring a shield if conditions permit. If the enemy's health is above half, use the bow to shoot at a fixed point. If the enemy's health is below half, switch to the sword, cut once and retreat once to prevent the enemy from exploding. This will kill the Wither without causing any harm. Su Yuan naturally doesn't need to use such methods. Su Yuan had previously upgraded the deadly axe to level 5. The level 5 fatal axe can directly cause 100% of the enemy's maximum health damage. Su Yuan only needs to wait for Wither's invincibility time to pass, and then teleport over to kill Wither instantly before it takes off. Su Yuan arranged the soul sand into a T shape, and then placed 3 Wither skeleton skulls on top. As soon as the withered skull was placed on the ground, the 3 withered skulls placed in front of it instantly came to life. Then, the soul sand under the 3 heads slowly transformed into withered torsos. After the transformation was completed, the withered body immediately began to swell and grow. Its health also expanded, slowly growing from half health to full health. At this moment, withering is in an invincible state, and even Su Yuan can't do anything to it. Seeing this, Su Yuan was not in a hurry and waited quietly by the side. When Wither's health reached full, a familiar sound came from its body. After the sound effect is played, withering officially enters liberation mode. In this mode, the Wither will begin to fly and launch Wither skulls to attack. A creature killed by it will leave a withered rose at the spot. I killed you but still put a flower on your grave. This is the tenderness of withering. After withering is activated, it will prioritize locking onto players and start attacking. After the surrounding players die, it will indiscriminately attack all non-undead creatures within its field of vision. Su Yuan was obviously the first target of withering's attack. As Wither was about to take off, Su Yuan was also quick-witted and came to Wither's side in an instant. He took out an iron axe out of thin air and chopped it towards the withered head. Su Yuan's axe instantly made the health bar disappear. Wither was killed instantly less than 5 seconds after he was born. Skills acquired: flying. Flying, gain the ability to fly, and can fly in any space. Obtained skill: withered head. Withered head LV1, you can launch the withered head to attack, with a flight speed of 1m/s. After attacking the target, a 3x3 explosion range is created, and the explosion can destroy obsidian. Consume 100,000 kill points to upgrade. Life absorption LV1, absorb the life of killed creatures to heal yourself, and restore 5% of life for each kill. Consume 100,000 kill points to upgrade. Finally got the flying skill. Su Yuan was so happy to see the flying skill obtained by killing Wither. Although the other skills provided by Wither are also very powerful, but for Su Yuan, just the flying skill is worth a fortune. With the flying skill, Su Yuan's work efficiency will be greatly improved. After acquiring the flying skill, Su Yuan took another look at the clone's perspective. After seeing that the Yuntang Guild had no intention of returning home, Su Yuan began to busy himself with making various large monster-killing towers. The best choice for a monster spawning tower is naturally the zombie piglin monster spawning tower. The main thing is that the refresh conditions of zombie piglins are very simple. Any 2 high places in the nether can be refreshed, and there is no brightness requirement. Therefore, zombie piglins spawn more frequently than any other monster. Naturally, it becomes the best choice for monster tower. It is also very simple to make a zombie pigman spawning tower. You can attract the zombie pigman by simply taking advantage of the fact that they are attracted to turtle eggs. Then just mass execute them. This time Su Yuan was more careful and decided to build the monster spawning tower on the bedrock layer of the upper layer of the nether. After all, there are already players who have set foot in the nether, and it would be easy to be discovered if you do it in the nether. Hey, it's another big project. Thinking of this, Su Yuan couldn't help but let out a long sigh. Although I already have the skill of flying, it is still very cumbersome to build a monster tower. But there is no other way, no matter how complicated it is, we have to do it. After all, the deterrent provided by the previous small monster killing tower is no longer enough. Since the last upgrade of the monster control range, the deterrent force required for the next upgrade has directly reached a high number of 1 million. The previous monster tower's output of 50,000 per hour was really not enough. For the sake of development, Su Yuan had to do it even if he didn't want to. After adjusting his mindset, Su Yuan devoted himself to his work. At this moment, somewhere thousands of miles away from the Yuntang Guild's headquarters, a group of players from the Brilliant Guild accidentally broke into a stone chamber while mining. The stone chamber is very large and looks like a military fortress. After walking around the fortress, the players also discovered a very strange stone chamber. There is a row of stone stairs in the center of the stone chamber, leading directly to a strange square pattern surrounded by 12 yellow-green altar-like blocks. Below the square pattern surrounding the altar is a pool of lava. Although these blue-green altars are generally the same, there are 4 that have some subtle differences from the other altars. There is an eyeball placed in the center of each of the 4 altars. Moreover, these eyeballs are not facing the same direction. It looks extremely weird. After the players of the Brilliant Guild discovered this strange altar, they immediately told the news to the president Kang Long. In less than half an hour, Kang Long arrived here with a group of people. After seeing the scene in front of them, although everyone didn't know what was in front of them, they were all very excited. This looks like some kind of sacrificial ceremony. Indeed, do you see those eyeballs up there? I guess if we fill the altar with eyeballs, something will be unlocked. This eyeball looks a bit like something dropped by the Enderman. They are quite similar, but the eyes dropped by the Enderman are round, and this one is a vertical cat's eye. Where can I get this thing? The guild leaders were discussing the matter when the player who had just discovered the stone chamber stood up. Then he took out 2 eyeballs from his backpack and handed them to Kang Long Deo. This was found in a box inside the stone chamber when we were searching it. Kang Long took the eyeball and observed it carefully. Eye of Ender. The Enderman dropped the Ender Pearl. Could this Eye of Ender be a combination of Ender Pearl and something else? After hearing Kang Long's words, everyone in the guild shook their heads to indicate that they didn't know. This was also the first time they encountered this thing. This is also what makes this game love-hate. The game has no crafting list and no walkthrough. Everything depends on players to experiment slowly. After thinking for a moment, Kang Long came to the altar and reached out to take the Eye of Ender that was already placed on the altar. Kang Long originally wanted to give it a try, but he didn't expect that the Eye of Ender on the altar could actually be picked up. Upon seeing this, Kang Long immediately gave instructions to the senior executives. You guys go study the synthesis method of this Eye of Ender. The rest of you search the stone chamber again, then expand the search range to look for other stone chambers. If this thing is in the stone chamber, it should be available in other places as well. At the same time, in a dense forest in the game world, a zombie covered in diamonds and a wolf wearing a black collar were strolling side by side in the dense forest. I only saw the zombie pulling an eyeball out of its eye socket. Then he threw the eyeball away. Seeing this, the wolf cub on the side flew out in a flash. Before the eyeball hit the ground, it jumped up and held the eyeball in its mouth. After the wolf cub put the eyeball in its mouth, the next second a swallowing movement was seen in its throat. Seeing this, the zombies immediately panicked. Roar. He immediately ran to the wolf cub, grabbed it and shook it. Seeing the zombies panic, the wolf cub's face was full of smugness, and his tail was shaking like a propeller, almost taking off, and his tongue was sticking out with joy. The zombie was trying to pry open the wolf cub's mouth to find his own eyeballs. I only saw the wolf cub twitching his tongue. The eyeball that was hidden somewhere in the mouth rolled out instantly. The zombies were so happy when they saw the eyeball. Roar. After putting the eyeball back into the socket, the zombie reached out and touched the wolf cub's head. The wolf cub was also happily rolling on the ground, turning over its belly and letting the zombies tickle it. The 2 monsters were playing the eyeball throwing game, making some strange noises from time to time, like they are communicating. Although I couldn't understand what they were communicating, I could see that they were having a lot of fun. The 2 monsters were walking, and suddenly they stopped. They seemed to have noticed something. The zombie and the wolf cub immediately hid among the low leaves. They had just hidden for a while when they saw a group of players coming over. This dense forest is great. It's a great place to spawn monsters. Indeed, if the pedicure shed is built here, we can spawn monsters during the day. Then tell the president and get ready to start work. This group of players belongs to the Eternal Guild. They are a subsidiary guild of the current #1 guild, the Eternal Glory Guild. As the first guild, it is natural that many subsidiary guilds will be established. Currently, the Eternal Glory Guild has 2 affiliated guilds, one is the Eternal Guild and the other is the Glory Guild. The headquarters of several guilds are not together. Instead, they were separated into 3 places, east, west, and north, and developed and grew independently. As the #1 guild in the game, their strength is naturally extraordinary. The Eternal Glory Guild has been promoted to a level 3 guild, and the number of guild players has directly reached 50,000. The Eternal Guild is slightly worse, and was previously a level 2 guild. It will take some time to be promoted to a level 3 guild. This is also the reason why players from the Eternal Guild would choose locations everywhere and build a large number of pedicure sheds. The dense forest here is the perfect place to build a pedicure shed. After the players chose a location, they immediately went back to report to their superiors. Not long after the players left, zombies appeared with wolf cubs at the place where the players were just now. Looking at the players leaving backs, the zombie seemed to be thinking about something. After a moment, he bent down and took off the black collar of the wolf cub beside him. Roar, roar. The zombie seemed to be communicating something with the wolf cub. The wolf cub seemed to understand what the zombie meant and responded to him. After the two monsters communicated for a while, they saw the wolf cub sniffing the smell on the ground and running in the direction the players left. The players of the Eternal Guild chatted as they headed towards the guild headquarters. After walking for half a day, they were about to reach the guild headquarters. A few players suddenly sensed something and turned to look towards the dense forest. When everyone turned around, they saw a wolf cub wandering around the entrance of the jungle. Huh? Are there still wolves in this dense forest? I've been here several times before, but I don't think I've seen any wolves. It seems that there are indeed no wolves in this area. Do you have any bones? Tame one and take it back. I happen to have some here, take it. It so happened that there were no wolves near the Eternal Guild's headquarters. Wolves are considered a scarce resource in this area. The players decided to tame the wolf they saw. A player with the ID Peng Peng walked towards the wolf cub with a bone. Seeing this, the wolf cub subconsciously prepared to escape, but suddenly he stopped where he was as if he remembered something. Then he immediately showed a wandering state. Come on, eat some bones. Peng Peng handed the bone to the wolf cub. The wolf cub sniffed it and ate it directly, then continued to wander. Seeing this, Peng Peng took out another bone and continued feeding the baby. The wolf cub repeated its previous behavior, sniffing and then eating. About 2 minutes later. Shit, am I that dark? I've fed it 30 bones? And it's still not tamed. When the wolf cub heard this, he thought Peng Peng was going to give up, so he immediately forced himself to eat the 31st bone that Peng Peng handed to him. The wolf cub had just finished eating when he saw Peng Peng took out another bone. Fortunately, I brought enough. There are still 20 left. If it still hasn't been tamed after feeding it, forget it. When the wolf cub heard what the player said, his whole body froze. After forcing itself to chew the last bone, it could not eat any more and sat down on the ground. Then he wagged his tail at Peng Peng desperately. At this moment, Peng Peng was a little confused when he saw this. Is this tamed? Didn't they say that a collar would appear after the tamed animal was tamed? Seeing this, other players came over curiously. It's sitting down and wagging its tail. It must be tamed, right? Maybe there's a bug, and the collar can't be displayed. Just give it orders and see. If it obeys, then it has been tamed successfully. After hearing what everyone said, Peng Peng also gave a few orders to the wolf cub. The wolf cubs did the same. If she's so obedient, she must be tamed. I guess you fed it too fast and the collar got stuck and didn't come out. Seeing that the wolf cub was very obedient, Peng Peng no longer worried about the collar. Suck, suck, suck. From now on you will be called Little Bug. Do you hear me? Everyone brought the wolf cub back to the Eternal Guild headquarters. The sky gradually darkened. In the dense forest, the zombies kept staring at the entrance of the forest, looking very anxious. At this moment, a wolf howl was heard in the distance. The zombie immediately ran in the direction of the wolf's howl. Not long after he walked, he saw a wolf cub with a big belly, running towards him, panting. Roar, roar, roar. The zombie immediately picked up the wolf cub and looked around, as if he was afraid that it was injured. Ah! The wolf cub also licked the zombie's face in response. After making sure that the wolf cub was fine, the zombie seemed very angry and lectured the wolf cub. The wolf cub, however, was arguing about something with a look of grievance on his face. Roar, roar, roar. Roar. Ah. They communicated again, and it seemed that both sides had an argument. The two sides had been arguing for a long time. Seeing the wolf cub was so persistent, the zombie sighed loudly, as if he had compromised. Roar. When the wolf cub saw the zombie compromise, he wagged his tail faster and seemed very happy. After jumping up and licking the zombie's face, the wolf cub ran towards the direction of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. Looking at the wolf cubs departing back, the zombie seemed to be thinking about something. He looked at the black collar of the wolf cub in his hand, then let out a long sigh. His hands unconsciously gripped the collar tighter. It was obvious that he was concerned about the wolf cub's safety, but he seemed to have to let it go. You can see that it seems to be struggling with something in its heart. He looked up at the sky. The moon in the night sky was blocked by clouds, and most of the stars were also covered. Only 2 stars very close to each other shine unusually brightly, like a pair of glowing eyes. The zombie looked at the 2 shining stars in a daze, as if he was thinking about something in his mind. After a moment, he finally made up his mind and let out a firm roar towards the night sky. Roar. Su Yuan was busy making the monster tower, and before he knew it, a day had passed. 1 day is equal to 6 in-game hours. In other words, Su Yuan spent more than 6 hours on this monster tower. Su Yuan thought that with the flying skill, it would be quite fast to build a monster tower. But it was obvious that Su Yuan was overthinking it. To build a large monster-killing tower, the materials needed were far beyond Su Yuan's imagination. Previously, when Su Yuan made large monster towers, he basically did it in creative mode. Just take all the materials directly from the backpack. As for survival mode, Su Yuan doesn't have such a big demand, so he can just make a small monster tower each time. I didn't expect that the workload of building a monster tower in survival mode would be so huge. But finally, hard work pays off. The monster tower has finally reached the stage of completion. All we need is another killing device. Originally Su Yuan hadn't thought of making an execution device, but then he thought, since he had already done it, he might as well make a collection device. Gold nuggets and gold ingots dropped by zombified piglins are still useful. You can take it to the piglin to exchange items for goods. When the time comes, tame a piglin, raise it to the primary or intermediate level of consciousness, and then let it come to you to exchange items. The main reason is that Su Yuan has not yet encountered any villages or villagers. There is no way to obtain supplies in large quantities, and the best choice at the moment is the piglin exchange. In the past 2 days, Su Yuan has been paying attention to the news from the Yuntang Guild. I didn't expect that they were all such hardcore gamers. After 6 hours, they were still wandering around in the Hell Fortress. Su Yuan couldn't help but complain. It will take 6 hours to tear down and rebuild this Hell Fortress, right? As an old player, Su Yuan is naturally familiar with exploring the Nether Fortress. But for the players of the Yuntang Guild, every step needs to be taken with caution. Furthermore, this Hell Fortress is really huge and full of twists and turns. Players from the Yuntang Guild got lost many times while exploring, let alone exploring quickly. Seeing that the Yuntang Guild showed no signs of leaving, Su Yuan continued to use his clone to stay there. The main body came to the main world to look for materials to make the execution device. After spending more than an hour collecting supplies, Su Yuan began to repair the monster tower. More than an hour passed before Su Yuan's monster tower was completed. There was finally some movement from the clone's side. Finally the exploration is over. This Hell Fortress is so FG huge. There are so FG many monsters inside. Although I'm almost exhausted, the harvest this time is indeed not small. I really made a fortune? I just don't know if this is the only Hell Fortress. If I can still find it, I can't even imagine it. After clearing the Hell Fortress, the players were discussing excitedly. I saw Yunli coming over and smiling. Thank you all for your hard work. This time we have achieved a lot, and it's all thanks to everyone. These supplies will be distributed to the brothers as needed when the time comes. As the vice president, the skill of making promises is fully maxed out. After hearing Yunli's words, the players were extremely excited. Thank you, boss. Boss, should we continue to open up Wasteland in the lower world or return to the base? Let's go back first. Everyone's stuff is full. It would be a waste if we bring so many things to open up the Wasteland and they explode. The players were all exhausted and naturally wanted to go back and rest. After hearing what the players said, Yunli thought for a moment and said, let's put the things in the outdoor laboratory first, and then everyone can rest there for a while before continuing to open up new land. Since the establishment of the Yuntang Guild, the guild has always maintained confidentiality very well. They also set up an outdoor research room far away from the guild headquarters. The research laboratory is equivalent to a secret base of the Yuntang Guild. Some of the think tanks in the guild live in the outdoor research room. The most fundamental difference between a large guild like Yuntang and an individual guild is that they have good confidentiality. If they developed a pedicure shed, they would definitely not publicize it as much as Xiaopo did. They would definitely develop it quietly first. After hearing Yunli's words, the players of the Yuntang Guild had no objection. This has always been the rule of the guild, and these core players are well aware of the importance of confidentiality. After hearing Yunli's words, Su Yuan wanted to die. So cautious. I have to say that there is a huge difference between a solo guild leader who changed his career halfway and the guild leader of a big guild. From the perspective of information confidentiality, Yunli is already far ahead of Xiaopo. Although Xiaopo knew to keep the guide to the pedicure shed secret after getting it, he still publicized it on the forum. Yunli was much more cautious and kept the secret so tight that he even kept it a secret from the people in the guild. Only the core members of the guild know, but Su Yuan could understand it, because he had founded a guild when he was playing games before and had encountered spies from various other guilds. If the guild wants to grow and develop, the strength of its members is important, but confidentiality must also be maintained. Before this, Su Yuan had only come into contact with individual guilds like Triumph, and he thought that other guilds were similar to Triumph. But I didn't expect that I was too naive. Yunli and Xiaopo are completely two extremes. One is thinking nothing, the other is thinking too much. After thinking about this, Su Yuan sighed. Kill points are hard to earn and shit is hard to eat. I can only follow. Su Yuan also heard what the players of Yuntang Guild just said. They will not return to the base at this moment, but will go to some outdoor laboratory. Although there is no way to find their base at the moment, Su Yuan is determined to follow them. After all, it is impossible for them to never return to the base for the rest of their lives. Although Su Yuan knew that their guild headquarters was nearby, it would still be difficult for him to find it if he went there himself. After all, the base may be in the east, west, south or north. The entire search area is too large, and blindly searching will only waste time. It would be better to just follow this group of players, they will naturally lead the way. Su Yuan has been controlling his clone and tracking the players of the Yuntang Guild. The main body came to the frame of the netherworld portal in the main world and found a place to hide. After walking for more than an hour, the players of the Yuntang Guild finally arrived near the portal to the nether. Su Yuan watched as the players from the Yuntang Guild entered the portal to the nether. He was not in a hurry. After waiting for a while, he drove his clone into the portal. As soon as he appeared in the main world, Su Yuan immediately drove his clone to hide underground and continue to follow the group of players. The main body was looking for cover and continued to monitor the people in the Yuntang Guild. Su Yuan followed this group of players for more than an hour. Finally, I saw the outdoor research room they mentioned. It's said to be an outdoor research room, but it's actually just a plane with a few matchboxes built on it. It looks like it should be a temporary residence for players. There are also some pedicure sheds around the matchbox. On the north side of the plane, there were a dozen players gathered together. They were all huddled together and seemed to be discussing something. Seeing Yunli and his group coming over, the other players immediately surrounded them. Vice President, you are finally here. We have studied the withered skeleton's head for a long time after looking at the photo. We think it should be a summoned creature. It's just right that you are here. We can start the experiment right away. Have you collected most of the blocks in the netherworld? I think you can use those things. The think tank had also received the news from Yuan a long time ago, but they could not do any research with just a photo. I'm just looking forward to Yunli bringing the real thing. Yunli nodded upon seeing this, and then handed over the wither skeleton's head and the collected nether blocks to the group of players in the think tank. You guys take your time to study, we'll take a break first. After hearing what the Yuntang Guild members said, Su Yuan couldn't hold it in anymore. It seems that we have to make two plans. Judging from the situation, they won't be returning to the base for a while. After thinking about this, Su Yuan left his clone here. The main body began to look for the Yuntang Guild's base nearby. His days, Su Yuan has been searching around for the Yuntang Guild's base. But no clues were found, it was as if they had disappeared out of thin air. Just when Su Yuan was about to lose his patience, the clone finally made some progress. Has the guild supported you guys in vain? After so many days, you still haven't figured out this crappy thing. Can you guys use your brains? Do all monsters have snow golem-like lower bodies? Are there no other possible combinations? There are only a few blocks in the underworld. Is it difficult to arrange them in different combinations? While Yunli was lecturing the guild leaders, he did not stop placing the wither skeleton heads on various nether blocks. Originally, Yunli thought that this thing could be developed very quickly, but I didn't expect that after spending so much time on it, I still haven't figured it out. Use your imagination? That is the underworld, or hell. What kind of monsters are there in hell? That who, you tell me, Yunli said, pointing at a high-ranking player in the guild, and the player was stunned when he saw this. Then he scratched his head, thought for a while and said, Hell, the three-headed dog of hell. When the player said this, he looked at Yunli nervously. After hearing the player's words, Yunli gave an affirmative smile. That's right. Everything before was based on one head, so isn't it reasonable for a monster to have three heads? As Yunli was speaking, he stopped in front of a piece of soul sand arranged in a T-shape. There is only one head placed on this T-shaped soul sand. Originally, the players in the guild used the scarecrow as a prototype to test whether this combination would work. Yunli saw this and didn't think much about it. He directly took out two withered skeleton heads and placed them on both sides of the middle head. Seeing that there was still no reaction, Yunli instantly changed his attitude. Damn it! What the hell is the three-headed dog? This is a skull. Think about it again. After Yunli finished speaking, he turned around and prepared to leave. The players behind him looked as if they had seen a ghost, their eyes wide open as they stared in the direction behind Yunli. The boss, is alive, is alive. It's done? It's done. What the hell? It really has three heads. After hearing what the players said, Yunli turned around again. I saw that the head of the withered skeleton that had just been placed was slowly waking up. The soul sand beneath the head also began to slowly change shape. In just a few seconds, a few blocks turned into a white sternum with half a spine. Then the whole body rapidly grew larger at a speed visible to the naked eye. After all the transformations are completed, the entire body is 20 blocks high. Only at this point did the monster stop growing, and its name finally appeared on its head. Wither. At this moment, Wither is still in the form of being summoned, with only half health. But although he couldn't move at this moment, he was invincible. After slowly recovering to full health, he will explode once and then enter flight mode. Yunli obviously didn't know the characteristics of withering. He was a little surprised when he saw that Wither didn't attack him immediately after being summoned. This monster looks so strong. A purple name? Isn't it a neutral or hostile creature? In general, the colors of the names above the heads of neutral creatures and hostile creatures are different in the game. Neutral creeps have yellow names above their heads. Hostile mobs have their names above their heads in red. And at this moment, the withered name is purple-red. As a boss, withering must be distinguished from other monsters. But Yunli didn't know this. The players were also a little surprised when they saw this. We summoned this thing. Could it be considered our pet? It's possible. It didn't even attack us. No wonder this head is so hard to explode. The summoned creature is so cool. I just don't know how strong it is. It looks pretty strong. Just based on its appearance and size, it can't be weak. The players were discussing and saw that Wither's health was slowly recovering. This group of players had no idea that danger was coming and even gathered around Wither to observe it carefully. When Su Yuan saw the current situation, he panicked for a moment. These players obviously don't know the strength of Withering. Withering is not attacking at this moment only because of his characteristics. Once his health is full, he will start to kill everyone. Facing the upper Wither, there is no doubt that none of these players will be able to escape. The explosion after the health is restored is enough to wipe them out. Su Yuan certainly couldn't accept the players being wiped out. I've been following them for so long, if they were wiped out, the clue would be lost. I want to keep this group of players without exposing myself. There is only one way, which is to control the Wither and make these players think it is a summoned creature. Thinking of this, Su Yuan immediately opened the system panel. Do you want to spend 2 million deterrent power to unlock the control authority of Wither? Yes. Unlocked successfully? Fortunately, the monster tower that Su Yuan spent more than a day to build was quite efficient. Basically, the output per hour is 100,000 deterrents, which means the efficiency is 10,000 monsters per hour. With this kind of efficiency, the deterrent effect is just barely enough. After unlocking control of Wither, I watched as Wither's health was restored to full. It was about to explode, and Su Yuan immediately controlled his clone to control the withering on the plane. After withering was controlled, Su Yuan also released its self-destruct mode. It can be considered that Yunli and his group have been saved. When Yunli and his group saw that withering had no intention of attacking them, they moved closer. They carefully looked at the huge creature in front of them, and voices of praise rang out one after another. This monster is so majestic. It feels like a boss. Is it really a summoned beast? Did the vice president get any hints or something? Yet, there seemed to be prompts for taming animals. Hearing the players' questions, Yunli shook his head. I didn't receive any taming reminder. I guess the taming methods for monsters and animals are different. Yunli is a cautious person. But at this moment, he saw that he had summoned such a huge creature, and it had not attacked him yet. He also let down his guard. How cool would it be to take this summon out? After thinking about this, Yunli also became a little curious. Although this monster looks cool, Yunli still doesn't know its abilities. If it's just an empty frame, it's useless. After thinking about this, Yunli suddenly felt at a loss. After summoning this monster, there was no summoning beast panel or anything like that. He really didn't know how to control this huge monster. Yunli looked at the monster, pointed his finger at a sheep wandering nearby, and gave a tentative order. Attack. Not long after Yunli issued the order, he saw withering slowly flying into the sky. A black wither skull-like object shot out from the mouth of one of the three heads. The head flew quickly towards Yanjiangjun. The moment it touched Yanjiangkan, it exploded. Before Yang Yang could react, the lamb had become a roasted whole lamb. A deep pit was blown out where it was, and a bunch of black roses appeared in the pit. When all the players in the guild saw this, they all exclaimed in surprise. What the hell? So strong. Awesome. This monster can actually fly. I am so sad. It is so gentle and even knows how to send flowers. Wither's attack undoubtedly shocked the players of the Yuntang Guild. It can be said that this is the most powerful monster they have encountered since entering the game. It can fly and has strong attack power. The players also didn't expect that such a powerful monster would actually be a summon. With this summon, not to mention the main world, even the monsters in the underworld would probably not be its match. Thinking of this, Yunli was so happy. He immediately continued to order Wither to demonstrate his skills. Withering was also very cooperative and kept showing off his various skills. A few minutes later, the outdoor research room of the Yuntang Guild was already full of holes due to the bombing. Yunli and the other players were not displeased at all. Too strong? Its attack can actually suck blood. Although it didn't lose any blood, I just checked and it seems to be sucking 5% of the blood each time. That's ridiculous. Such a powerful monster is actually a summon. With this thing, I can walk sideways in the main world and the underworld. Who do you think will win if this Withering fights against him? I think it should be Wither. They both have explosive skills, but Wither is ranged and can fly. I think it's Wither, too. After all, it can restore health. The players' discussion naturally fell into Yunli's ears. If the players hadn't reminded him, Yunli would have almost forgotten that him had appeared near the base before. After thinking about this, Yunli glanced at the Withering floating in the air. Then, as if he suddenly thought of something, he asked Xiao Wen beside him. How many Wither skulls do we have now? Xiao Wen counted for a while and then answered. There are 27 more. These days, Yunli has been sending people to the Hell Fortress to collect Wither skeleton skulls. The hard work these days has paid off. Yunli became excited instantly when he heard this number. So much. This battle should be winnable. After hearing this, Xiao Wen was a little confused. Ah, what kind of war? Yunli saw this and smiled. Didn't someone say before that him was near our base? After hearing Yunli's words, Xiao Wen was completely stunned. Ah, Vice President, do you want to fight him? Xiao Wen was not stupid either. He immediately understood what Yunli meant. Yunli just nodded, then glanced at Withering beside him. With Withering here, and if I can control it, this battle should be a sure win. Yunli is still very confident in his own abilities. Furthermore, Yunli had also studied him in detail before. Him's own strength is actually not very strong. What we know now is that he can control monsters, teleport, and has explosive skills. That's all. In terms of strength, I'm afraid it's not as good as the Withering one next to it. The fact that Wither can fly alone is enough to restrain him. The reason why him is feared is because of his strategy and his ability to guess people's minds. Yunli believes that he will never lose to him in this regard. If he had the same ability as him, he would definitely be able to do what him did. Currently, he no longer has such special abilities, but he does get a Wither that has powerful abilities of its own as a summon. With such a powerful summoned creature, plus my own brain, Yunli felt that he could definitely defeat him. As long as they capture him, they won't have to move away and can continue to study the monster tower with peace of mind. Su Yuan heard Yunli's plan clearly. After hearing Yunli's words, Su Yuan was immediately amused. Interesting. Su Yuan really admired Yunli's arrogant and daring character. If this game was full of people like Yunli, Su Yuan wouldn't have to worry about kill counts at all. The main reason is that Su Yuan currently does not have the ability to detect the player's locations. Therefore, we have always been in a relatively passive situation in terms of obtaining kill points. Su Yuan also didn't know whether he would gain the ability to hack into data like him. The main thing is that looking at the entire game, there doesn't seem to be any monster that can invade the data. If there are monsters with this ability, Entity 303 is one and 0 value null is another. But at present, Su Yuan is not sure whether they will appear, how they will appear, and where they will appear. Furthermore, even if they showed up now, it would be difficult for Su Yuan to deal with them given his current strength. Therefore, Su Yuan could only use some tricks and not miss any opportunity to gain kill points. Then I'll spend some time playing with you. At present, Su Yuan has obtained the first kill of monsters in the netherworld, and basically all the things that need to be done have been done. If I have to say it, it's that I haven't gotten the first kill of the Ender Dragon yet. However, there is no need to rush about this matter, as players' current progress is unlikely to allow them to defeat the Ender Dragon. Even if it is defeated, Su Yuan can still use the End Crystal to revive the dragon. So Su Yuan is not in a hurry. At present, it is definitely more important to grasp the kill value in front of you. After hearing Yun Li's words, the senior executives were a little unsure, but when they looked at the powerful Diaoling in front of them, their confidence instantly swelled. There are still 27 heads left. 39 is 27, which means I can summon another 9 withers? With this one, that's 10. I think there's hope. More than just a chance? 10 withers? If him dares to come, we'll just bombard him together and blow him to pieces. I feel like if we can design a perfect layout, it should be a sure win. After all, he hasn't discovered us yet, and doesn't know we summoned the Withering. Although the senior executives were praising him, Yun Li did not get carried away. He naturally believed in his own strength, but after all, he was fighting against him, so it was better to be cautious. After thinking about this, Yun Li said to everyone, "It's better to stay away from the battlefield. It's better to be safe than sorry." Then pick out 9 members of the elite group and have each of them summon a Wither. After Yun Li said this, he turned around and glanced at the players present. "You are the only ones who know about the guild's discovery of the nether portal and the summoning of the Wither. You are all veterans of the guild, so you should know what to do, right? Basically all large guilds have an unwritten rule. That is, the guild will consciously keep confidentiality when conducting confidential activities, prove its innocence and clear all suspicion. The old members of the guild also know this. Since all the major guilds are involved in the development of various games, as long as games are involved, there will definitely be various strategies. These strategies are undoubtedly the core of the guild's development. Although the various large guilds appear to be at peace on the surface, they are all competing against each other secretly. Basically, there are some spies sent by other guilds in every guild. Gather information, pass on intelligence and strategies. Just like the number 1 ranked Eternal Glory Guild, it was promoted to a level 3 guild long before Steve revealed the Pedicure Shed strategy on his live broadcast. As the first guild, their strength should not be underestimated, but promotion to the 3rd level guild requires a large amount of player kill points. Even if players look for monsters to kill day and night, they may not be able to advance so quickly. The reason they were able to advance to level 3 so quickly was naturally because they had already arranged for people to infiltrate the Triumph Guild to explore the secrets. After Yun Li discovered the portal to the netherworld, he has been sending some core members to deal with this matter. The other members of the guild were completely unaware of the information about the nether and the summoning of the Wither. Big guilds won't advertise and recruit people as soon as they get a strategy, like Xiaopo did. This behavior is equivalent to giving away the strategy that you have worked hard to research. The senior leaders of the Yuntang Guild naturally understood this. Understood. The online status has been changed to offline. Don't worry, Vice President. I understand. We all signed a confidentiality agreement, so I understand this. We are all veterans of the guild, and everyone understands that we will just stay here temporarily for the next few days. I'll trouble you, Vice President, to come in person to coordinate with the base. The friend system in the game automatically adjusts its status. When it is adjusted to offline status, you can receive messages but cannot reply. The high-level players of the Yuntang Guild are also very self-conscious. With this set of procedures, there is no need to worry about secrets being leaked. Seeing that everyone was very conscious, Yun Li nodded with satisfaction. This group of players are all veteran players of the Yuntang Guild, and Yun Li still has great trust in them. But it is better to be safe than sorry, so it is still necessary to get a preventive measure in advance. The 2 guides of nether information and withering are not as good as the pedicure shed. These 2 strategies will undoubtedly bring huge improvements to the guild, so they must not be leaked. Okay, thank you for your hard work. Gather everyone here in a moment and start deploying the encirclement and suppression plan. Once we finish this, we will be able to return victorious. After hearing Yun Li's words, Su Yuan finally smiled. I've finally waited for it. At this moment, inside the Eternal Guild's headquarters, the senior executives sat together, all with worried looks on their faces. When President Tianheng saw the senior executives like this, he could no longer bear it and became furious. I asked you to find a place to build a pedicure shed, but you didn't finish it after 2 days, and you lost 300 sets of iron sets. Damn it, you guys can't even deal with those ordinary monsters? Don't ever say you're from the Eternal Guild again. The guild can't afford to lose face like this. After hearing Tianheng's words, the senior executives also looked aggrieved. President, I really can't blame them. They are very strange and specialize in sneak attacks. Yeah, those monsters are really not ordinary monsters. It feels like those monsters are under control. Could it be that him is causing trouble? In order to accelerate its development, the Eternal Guild has recently been looking for places to build pedicure sheds. After all, the Eternal Glory Guild has already reached the level 3 guild, and as a subsidiary guild, we have to speed up our progress as well. Furthermore, the Eternal Guild and the Glorious Guild are both affiliated guilds of the Eternal Glorious Guild. Although the two guilds seemed to be getting along well with each other, they were secretly competing with each other, trying to determine who was superior. Tianheng had been thinking about expanding some more pedicure sheds these days so that he could become a level 3 guild before the Brilliant Guild. But I didn't expect that strange things would happen so frequently when building a pedicure shed. Whenever players go to the forest near the base, they will be attacked by monsters. These monsters suddenly became much smarter overnight. The thieves were defeated in tunnel warfare and sneak attacks. The pedicure shed is simply not equipped to handle them. Every time it was built, it would be blown down by creepers. These monsters are like an organized and disciplined army, and they don't look like ordinary monsters at all. Players have encountered many setbacks because of these monsters. Even the iron sets were sold out in more than 300 sets. All these equipment were picked up by the monsters. As time went by, the monsters became better and better equipped, and became more and more difficult to deal with. This is also the reason why the Eternal Guild held this meeting. What happened these past few days is really weird. This also made the senior executives feel that him seemed to be behind this matter. Those monsters seemed to be under control. This trick is obviously what him is best at. After hearing what the senior executives said, Tianheng shook his head in anger. The food is the food, him can't take the blame for it. Him has been hanging around Yuntang Guild recently. Yuntang Guild is thousands of miles away from us. How can he get here? Unless he can flash. Besides, if him really came, with his means, would he hide like this if he found us? Tianheng had already received news that him was lurking near the Yuntang Guild. That's why he got so angry after hearing what the senior executives said. If it was really him coming, it wouldn't just be a matter of losing 300 sets of iron sets. Therefore, Tianheng could be sure that what happened here was definitely not done by him. But this approach is indeed somewhat similar to the previous him. After Tianheng thought about this, he asked the high-level players. When we first chose that forest as the site, did anything strange happen? After hearing this, all the senior executives shook their heads. It seems not. We have sent players to explore that forest before, and there is nothing suspicious. Yes, although the players were besieged by monsters when exploring, they were easily defeated. After hearing this, Tianheng frowned, but then continued to ask without giving up. Nothing weird happened. Think about it again. After hearing Tianheng's question, all the senior executives began to recall carefully. After a while, a high-level player seemed to have thought of something. Yes, there really is something. Seeing this, Tianheng raised his chin and signaled the senior management to continue speaking. It's like this. There's a player named Peng Peng in the guild. I sent him out to survey the forest terrain. Nothing happened when they were checking, but when they were leaving the forest, they saw a wolf. As everyone knows, we have never encountered wolves around here. We have been to the forest many times and have never seen one. Peng Peng thought it was curious, so he went to tame the wolf. But what's strange is that even though it's tamed, there's no collar around the wolf's neck. Logically speaking, if the taming is successful, a collar should appear. Peng Peng also felt strange at the time, but the wolf actually obeyed orders, including sit, stand, and attack. Peng Peng thought it was a bug, so he didn't think much about it and brought it back. Since there were no wolves in the Eternal Guild before, Peng Peng bringing back this wolf would indeed attract some attention. Furthermore, it didn't have a collar on it, and this high-level player had some impression of this. When Tianheng heard this, he immediately became alert. When Steve Liv broadcasted the Battle of the Triumph Guild, Tianheng also watched the entire process. Him can control wolves. It just so happened that their guild had tamed another wolf with a bug. This is too much of a coincidence. After thinking about this, Tianheng immediately gave orders. Call that Peng Peng. Remember? Avoid that wolf. After a while, Peng Peng was called over. Seeing the atmosphere in the room, Peng Peng thought he had committed a crime, so he lowered his head and dared not breathe. Tianheng saw this and smiled to liven up the atmosphere. Don't be nervous. I asked you to come here this time because I heard that you tamed a wolf before. There are no wolves near the guild. Wolves are a scarce resource. You have done a great service to the guild. I heard this wolf is a little special. After hearing Tianheng's words, Peng Peng finally breathed a sigh of relief. After hearing Tianheng asking about the wolf cub, Peng Peng started to speak freely without any reservations. Yes, the little bug ate more than 30 of my bones before it was tamed. It's different from other wolves. It doesn't have a collar. They said it was a bug, so I called it Little Bug. It's so smart. It can even play the frisbee game. Once I was with it. Seeing Peng Peng talking attentively but not getting to the point at all, Tianheng felt helpless and interrupted him immediately. Is there anything else special about this wolf? After hearing this, Peng Peng thought for a moment and then nodded. Come to think of it, it seems like there is something special about it. After we were farther apart, it seemed like it couldn't teleport to me. They said it might be because of a bug in the collar. Then it is very playful and always likes to sneak out to play. Many times I couldn't find it after searching for a long time. However, it still misses home and will go back home. Maybe it is because it was used to being outside and suddenly it is not used to having a home. Also, it seems to be very afraid of monsters. When I encountered a monster before and asked it to attack, it just hid behind me. After hearing Pengpen's description of the wolf, Tianheng finally confirmed his guess. It seems that the problem lies with the wolf. What can be confirmed now is that there must be something wrong with the wolf that came from nowhere. Thinking of this, Tianheng smiled at Pengpeng. Okay, there's nothing for you to do now, go down first. After Pengpeng left, Tianheng gave a wink to the senior executives. The senior executives immediately understood Tianheng's idea. Send someone to keep an eye on the wolf, and notify me immediately if there is any movement. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell from Pengpen's words that there was something wrong with the wolf. But Pengpeng was kept in the dark. He just thought that this wolf was very special. Maybe it's because this is the first wolf he has tamed, and this wolf is not as formulaic as other animals. That's why Pengpeng doted on him so much, and he didn't realize that there was anything wrong with this wolf. After Tianheng arranged things, many veteran players in the guild immediately received orders to keep an eye on the small bug. Tianheng also deliberately gave the order in front of Xiaobug to clear out the monsters in the forest early tomorrow morning. Tianheng is also a case of fishing enforcement, just waiting for small bugs to take the bait. The sky gradually darkened. The players of the Eternal Guild also began to take turns to go to the pedicure shed to get pedicures as usual. Pengpeng was originally scheduled for the day shift, but the player on shift suddenly said he had something to do. Although Pengpeng was reluctant, he had no choice but to help take over. Be good and behave yourself at home, and I'll bring you some spicy noodles when I come back. After Pengpeng and Little Bug spent some time together, he went out to work. Not long after Pengpeng left, he saw Little Bug sneaking out. It looked around, and when it saw that no one was paying attention to it, it quietly moved towards the entrance of the camp. It skillfully bypassed the patrolling players and crawled along the wall. It looked so familiar with the route that you could tell it wasn't the first time it had slipped out. It may also be because it has slipped out many times without being discovered, so its vigilance has decreased a little. It was only thinking about how to avoid the danger in front of it, but it didn't notice that there were several people following it. Damn, there's something wrong with this wolf. Look at how skilled it is at hiding from people. This must not be the first time it has escaped. It's hard to guard against a thief in your own home. Who the hell knew that the spy was actually a wolf cub? SHH. Keep your voice down and follow us to see what's going on. This group of players from the Eternal Guild naturally received orders from Tianheng to monitor the small bug. When they received the task, they thought Tianheng was being a little suspicious. But I didn't expect that the problem actually came from a small bug. The players slowly followed behind the wolf cub, crawling all the way, for fear of alarming the wolf cub. Although they encountered some monster attacks along the way, fortunately this group of players were still quite skilled. After defeating the monster, he quickly hid himself and was not discovered by the small bug. After following for about half an hour, we finally arrived at the forest. Seeing the small bug running into the forest, the players followed closely in. Not long after entering the forest, the players saw the small bug stop. Upon seeing this, the players of the Eternal Guild immediately hid behind some trees. Little Bug stopped and looked back. After making sure that no one was following him, he raised his head and began to howl. Ouch, ouch, ouch. The howling of the little bug is very regular, as if it is conveying some kind of secret code. Its sound also echoed in the forest. Not long after, a zombie wearing a diamond suit slowly walked out from the depths of the forest. After seeing the small bug, the zombie first bent down and observed it carefully. After making sure that there were no scars on Little Bug's body, he reached out and touched Little Bug's head. Roar. Little Bug was also wagging its tail quickly and licking the zombie's cheek with its tongue. When the players of the Eternal Guild saw this scene, they were all stunned. If I'm not mistaken, this zombie is wearing a diamond suit, right? Hiss, this seems to be the blackskin gym student zombie wearing a diamond suit next to him. What the hell? Could it be that him sent him? Looking at the way he gets along with the wolf cub, it seems like he has his own thoughts, right? It's outrageous. I never thought I'd see a zombie petting a dog in my lifetime. The diamond suit on the zombie is so dazzling. Looking around the game, only him's subordinates have such treatment. Besides, 007 does look different from other zombies, so he is still very recognizable. The players of the Eternal Guild recognized 007 at a glance. The little bug stayed with 007 and let it play with him for a long time before he calmed down. Naturally, it has not forgotten its mission. Little bug called out to 007, as if telling 007 some message. After 007 understood what the little bug meant, he couldn't help but frown. Roar. He thought about it for a long time, and finally seemed to have come up with a solution and communicated with Little Bug. Roar. 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 After the two monsters communicated with each other, they played for a while. Only then did Little Bug say goodbye to 007 reluctantly. After saying goodbye to 007, Little Bug also returned to the base. After Little Bug left, all kinds of red eyes were seen in the forest surrounding 007. The number of monsters is about 300 to 400. These monsters include zombies, spiders, creepers, white monsters, black monsters, and little zombies. Among these monsters, basically all those that can wear equipment are wearing iron equipment. Roar, 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 roar. When he saw the monsters surrounding him, 007 seemed to be giving them some instructions. After receiving 007's message, the monsters all responded to it with all kinds of strange noises. They looked like a well-trained army. The players of the Eternal Guild felt their scalps tingling when they saw this. What were they just plotting? Let me translate for you. What should the players eat tomorrow? Braised. Steamed is better. Let's keep the original flavor. This is FG outrageous? This is the first time I've seen monsters hold a meeting in a game. Those people were killed by them before. No wonder, they have a leader named Diamond Suit Zombie. As expected of him's chief disciple. Okay, let's go back and report. If the players of the Eternal Guild had not seen this scene in person, they would not have believed that monsters had thoughts. At this moment, only by seeing this scene with their own eyes did they know how shocking it was. This is when they are in the dark and the monsters are in the light. They couldn't help but start to put themselves in the shoes of the players from the previous triumphant guilds. When they know everything, how shocking would it be when it was all planned by him? After thinking about this, the players of the Eternal Guild suddenly felt a chill. I hope this incident was not planned by him. After seeing this scene, the players of the Eternal Guild who were tracking the small bug did not dare to delay. He immediately returned to the base and told Tianheng what had happened in detail. This is what happened. We saw the Diamond Suit Zombie clearly. It was the one that appeared next to him when he attacked the city before. After hearing this, the guild leaders all felt nervous. Boss, are you sure him is near the Yuan Guild? This is very much like him's style. Could this be a trick? From what they said, it seems that the diamond-clad zombie also has thoughts. This is going to be difficult. After hearing what the senior executives said, Tianheng contacted his informant in the Yuan Guild again. After confirming once again that him was indeed lurking near the Yuan Guild, Tianheng finally spoke. This incident should not be done by him. If it was him, after using the wolf cubs to find out the location of our base, he could have used the same method he used to deal with the Triumph Guild to deal with us. There would have been no need to grind us down so slowly. Steve's previous live broadcast also made it very clear that the reason why him acted with the people from the Triumph Guild was to gather more people to that grassland. But the situation of the Eternal Guild is different from that of the Triumph Guild. They will not accept players casually. If him did it, he would have known this after he sent the wolf cub over. So he didn't need to act or do any of that, he could just attack directly. After Tianheng thought about this, he analyzed it carefully and then said, I feel that the monster's actions this time were probably done by the zombie in the diamond suit. He also evolved thoughts and consciousness along with him, so his behavior is more similar to him. After hearing this, the senior executives had no objection. Since it's not him, we should be able to deal with him, right? We are in the dark and he is in the light. Although he can control monsters, it seems that he can't control as many monsters as him. Only about 300 to 400. We were caught off guard before, but now that we know he's the one behind it, it's easier to deal with. We just need to devise a plan to encircle and suppress him. Well, even though he is well equipped, we are not pushovers. We can still deal with a little luo. The senior executives were discussing how to deal with diamond suit zombies, but one of the senior players seemed to be thinking about something. Seeing that the discussion among the senior executives was becoming more and more intense, he finally couldn't help but speak. Do we really want to touch him? As the saying goes, you have to look at the owner before you beat the dog. His owner is him. The high-level player's words caused the room, which had just been bustling with activity, to instantly fall silent. The high-level players then realized that they seemed to have missed the point. The point of the problem now is not how to kill diamond suit zombies, but whether we can kill him. It is well known to everyone that the diamond zombie is him's little brother. Moreover, since him put a diamond suit on him, it means that him values him very much. If someone from the Eternal Guild touches the diamond suit zombie, it means directly becoming an enemy of him. Him will definitely find a way to find them when the time comes. Facing the diamond level zombie, the Eternal Guild is still very confident that they can deal with him. But facing him, the Eternal Guild doesn't have that confidence. After hearing this, Tianheng also frowned. This is indeed a difficult problem. Although the players of the Eternal Guild were quite strong, they were indeed unsure of their chances against him. Next, there is Eternal Glory on top of the Eternal Guild. Tianheng does not have the power to make important decisions for the guild. If Tianheng decides to move the diamond suit zombies without authorization, then him will come to the door and the guild will be wiped out. Tianheng would not be able to complete the task. If this matter affects Eternal Glory, then Tianheng's position as the president may not be kept. After thinking about this, Tianheng also had a headache. If we don't kill them, the diamond suit zombies will continue to cause trouble and affect the development of the guild. If we kill him, we will offend him. Then the guild will not only not be able to develop, but will have to start from scratch. The only compromise is to find a way to drive away the diamond-suited zombies. But this is obviously impossible to achieve. The diamond suit zombie has thoughts, how could he just leave so easily? Damn it, I have to look at a monster's face to play a game. It's so frustrating. Tianheng has played so many games, but has never encountered a situation like this. It was also the first time that he experienced the feeling of having to do things according to the monster's mood. Don't even mention how fed up that feeling is. When the high-level players saw that Tianheng didn't say a word, they all became anxious and angry. So what should we do now? If we don't do it, how much equipment will we have to sacrifice? The key is that we can't control it. If him comes looking for us, the whole guild will be ruined. Damn it. We are being bullied by a monster and there is nothing we can do. The high-level players argued for a long time but could not come to any conclusion. Tianheng thought for a long time, then let out a long sigh. Now we have no choice but to abandon that forest and find another place to build a pedicure shed. Let's strengthen the defense of the base. I guess this diamond suit zombie is not strong enough to attack the city, so it will launch a sneak attack. We should still send some players to the forest as usual. Don't wear iron equipment. Just treat it as a free gift to him. We should stabilize him first. After hearing Tianheng's words, all the senior executives were stunned. They never imagined that the always arrogant Tianheng would one day bow to a monster. But if you think about it carefully, Tianheng's approach is indeed the best solution at present. The diamond suit zombie cannot be moved, and he cannot take any further action, so he can only send some players to kill him every day. In this way, the Eternal Guild can develop well in other places. As for whether to attack the diamond zombie and how to attack it, Tianheng still has to ask for instructions from President Yang Hui of Eternal Glory. Tianheng couldn't make this decision, and he didn't want to take the blame. This is the safest method at present. Although the senior executives understood Tianheng's idea, they all felt very aggrieved inside. Damn it. This is the first time I play a game where monsters treat me like masters. This diamond zombie set is really well treated, it's like a buffet delivered to your mouth. Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I won't lose anything if I don't bring any equipment. Being him's little brother and still being treated like this, I almost want to defect. A little impatience can ruin a great plan. Oh, just be patient. Compared to Yunli, Tianheng is much smarter. He knows that he is not a match for him yet. But it is also because Tianheng does not have any powerful trump cards in his hand now. If it was Tianheng who summoned Withering, then the decision he would have made today would have been completely different. He might also try to challenge him's prestige like Yunli did. After Tianheng's order was issued, the players of the Eternal Guild heard this outrageous decision. They were all very angry. However, they dare not speak out. They can only do what their superiors assign them to do and have no right to express their opinions. Because of Tianheng's decision, the Eternal Guild also established a self-service feeding team. The players who join this team are carefully selected, and they are required to have good acting skills. Moreover, the members of the team are not fixed, and they will be replaced after a while. This is enough to show how much importance Tianheng attaches to this matter. Just as the players of the Eternal Guild were improving their acting skills every day, the Yuntang Guild is also rehearsing a big show. At this moment, on the plain of the Yuntang Guild's outdoor research laboratory, the terrain in this area has been bumped beyond recognition, with gullies and ravines everywhere. 10 huge withered creatures floated above the plain. Under each wither, there is a player standing. You all know these skills of withering, so you must use them flexibly. Him is very cunning. We must be more comprehensive and more thoughtful than he thinks. So we cannot appear within him's field of vision during the entire battle. Once we show up, he will immediately realize that these witherings are controlled by us, and his attack target will turn to us. Once we die, the witherings will no longer pose a threat to him. Yunli taught the elites of the 9 elite groups in front of him by words and deeds. He also understood it very clearly. He knew very well that apart from Wither, they were no match for him at all. Only with the brains of these elite members and the strength of Withering can they have a chance to defeat him. Therefore, this battle must be planned very well. They have to hide in the dark and kill him quickly without him finding them. Otherwise, if him finds out that Wither was manipulated by them, he will definitely attack them first. So they have to hide where him can't find them. The members of the elite group are no pushovers, so there is naturally no problem with their operations. They also knew that this battle was a gamble for the entire guild. Either you die or I die. Naturally, the members of the elite group did not dare to be negligent and kept every word Yunli said in mind. Seeing the determined eyes of the elite players, Yunli felt more confident. The members of this elite group were carefully trained by the guild. Those selected by Yunli from the elite group were naturally the elites among the elites. Yunli still believes in their strength. After negotiating with the elite group, Yunli also came to the remaining high-level players. Although we are few in number in this battle, every one of us is important. I also have a mission for you. You guys, form groups of 2 and pair up with the elite group. When the battle begins, we will hide under the rocks. You will be our eyes. We will rely on you to observe the enemy and control the withering to attack him. Remember, you must pass on information quickly and accurately. Yunli's strategy is actually very simple, similar to the trick Su Yuan used before. Su Yuan's main body hid in the rocks to control the monsters, while his clone went to the commanding heights to survey the field of vision. Yunli cannot do what Su Yuan did, so it can only rely on the advantage of numbers to achieve this layout. The high-level players found commanding heights and hid in their positions, observing the entire battle situation, and then issued attack orders to the elite players. The elite group hid in a safe place where him could not find them, and controlled monsters to attack him. I have to say, this plan is perfect. After Su Yuan heard Yunli's plan through his clone, he was full of praise for him. Not bad, you are quite capable. Su Yuan didn't know whether he was praising Yunli or himself. It was obvious that Yunli used this trick all the time. Su Yuan used his clone to eavesdrop on Yunli's layout while his real body was searching the outdoor laboratory area, trying to find the headquarters of the Yuntang Guild. If he could find a base, Su Yuan wouldn't have to bother with that. He could just get the kill points and leave. However, things did not go as planned. Su Yuan expanded the search range to 10,000 blocks with the outdoor laboratory as the center, but he still could not find the headquarters of the Yuntang Guild. Not to mention the base, when Su Yuan was searching, he didn't even see half of the players from the Yuntang Guild. It's as if they don't exist at all, which is outrageous. It seems that I can only put on a show with them. Seeing this, Su Yuan no longer expected to find the Yuntang Guild headquarters on his own. From observing Yunli, Su Yuan found that Yunli was a cautious person. We can also learn from Yunli that they had discovered me a long time ago. It is estimated that the base has been hidden and is not on the surface. If it was underground, the possibility of Su Yuan finding it would be almost zero. So he could only rely on Yunli and the others to lead him in. I must have been an award-winning actor in my previous life. There will undoubtedly be another drama this time. If we want Yunli and the others to return to their base, we must let them win the war. Moreover, this victory is different from the one of the Triumphant Guild. Yunli was much more cautious than the group of players on the grassland before, and the escape trick he used last time could no longer be used. This time, I have to act more realistically. Looks like I have to fake my death. If they want to dispel the suspicions of the Yunli people, they have to make them think that they killed him. This matter is easy to handle. Fortunately, Su Yuan has a clone. The death of the clone will not have any impact on the original body. Just let the clone die. After thinking about this, Su Yuan slowly began to plan. I still need to find some good-looking drops. Since we are all going to die, it would be unreasonable not to reveal anything. This definitely won't fool Yunli and the others. So you have to find some dropped items. Get some enchanted books, some diamonds, a nether star. It should be enough to make a treasure map. Su Yuan also made clear arrangements for his funeral. The drops he arranged for himself were so good that even the Ender Dragon exclaimed awesome when seeing them. This explosion rate is quite explosive in the entire MC world. Since we have to choose the drops, we must choose those that players have never seen before. Enchanted books are relatively rare, and players have not yet come into contact with the enchantment table, so this thing must be a good thing for them. Diamonds are naturally needless to say. As a demon king, he must have a treasure to protect, so at least he has to arrange a treasure map to support his appearance. Furthermore, Yunli and his team did not kill Wither, so they did not know that Wither would drop the nether star. So it is also suitable as a drop item, and Su Yuan just happens to have a nether star that dropped when he killed Wither before. After thinking about this, Su Yuan immediately started to collect the dropped items. After collecting almost all the information, Su Yuan began to deliberately wander around the outdoor research room of the Yuntang Guild. Soon, the players of Yuntang Guild discovered him. Vice President? Good news, we found him's location. Where is he? After hearing the players' reports, Yunli was also a little nervous. Although he already had a perfect plan, Yunli still felt a little weak when the fight was about to start. However, Yunli quickly adjusted his mentality. Even if they lost this battle, Yunli and his men would only lose these few withered. At worst, they will lose their lives. Anyway, the battle site will not be chosen near the guild headquarters, so even if we lose, the possibility of affecting the guild is very small. It can be said that the Yuntang Guild invested very little in this battle. If you win, you will make huge profits and bring honor to your family. If you lose, the loss won't be big. Furthermore, this matter is kept completely confidential and no one will know about it. It's not shameful even if you lose, so Yunli dares to gamble. When I saw him, he was in the nearby jungle. After hearing the words of the senior players, Yunli continued to ask, "Did you see what he was doing?" The high-level player shook his head. "I didn't dare to look closely, for fear that he would find me, so I hid immediately." Yunli nodded upon seeing this, and then continued to ask, "Is there any monster around him?" Everyone has seen the previous battle of the Triumphant Guild, and everyone knows that him has a lot of monsters under his command. It would be best if we could wipe out this group of monsters in one fell swoop. After hearing this, the high-level players still shook their heads. No, just him. Yunli was a little confused when a player from the elite group next to him spoke up. Him should have released all the monsters around him. The president just received news when we arrived, saying that the diamond suit zombie next to him appeared near the Eternal Guild. After hearing this, Yunli finally put aside his doubts. After the elite group player said this, he couldn't help but laugh. I heard that the diamond suit zombie killed a lot of people from the Eternal Guild, and a lot of equipment was dropped. But Tianheng didn't dare to attack the diamond suit zombie, saying that he was afraid that him would seek revenge on them. I heard that a special self-service feeding team has been set up. Every day, players come to feed the zombie and treat him like a master. After the player from the elite group said this, everyone couldn't help but burst out laughing. What the hell? Really? Isn't the Eternal Guild a subsidiary guild of the First Guild? What the hell? Are you scared like this by one of him's minions? Ha 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 ha. I can't hold it in anymore. These people are really cowards. They treat him like a boss. If they knew that we were about to deal with him, I wonder if they would still have the nerve to say that they are the #1 guild? Ha 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 ha. After hearing this, the senior executives felt a sense of superiority. Although the Eternal Guild is a subsidiary guild of the First Guild, its strength is definitely above that of the Yuntang Guild. The Yuntang Guild is about to go to war with him, and there is a high chance that it can defeat him. On the other hand, the Eternal Guild was groveling before one of him's minions. Everyone in the Yuntang Guild naturally had a smile on their faces. It was precisely because of this incident that the fighting spirit of the Yuntang Guild's senior leaders became stronger. If him really fell into their hands and the news got out, the Eternal Guild would be completely embarrassed. Brothers, we must win this battle. This is a matter of honor for the guild. That's a must. Let those little brats from the Eternal Guild see who the father is. After this battle, I guess the position of eternal glory as the number 1 will be lost. The words of the players of the Yuntang Guild were heard clearly by Xu Yuan's clone hiding nearby. After hearing their talk about the diamond suit zombies, Xu Yuan was also very pleased. Xu Yuan naturally knew that it was 007. After Xu Yuan released the monsters, he was actually still very worried about their safety. Although Xu Yuan could see whether they were alive, he had no way of monitoring their location. Now that he heard the news about 007, Xu Yuan finally felt a little relieved. It seems that this kid lives a pretty comfortable life, even having a buffet. However, 007 is doing well now, also because of Xu Yuan. The Eternal Guild was concerned about him, so they did not take action against 007. But if Xu Yuan faked his death, Yuntang Guild would definitely spread the news. By then, the Eternal Guild might take action. After thinking about this, Xu Yuan couldn't help but feel a little conflicted. If I hadn't faked my death, all this time would have been in vain. If he faked his death, 007 might be in danger. Xu Yuan thought about it for a long time before finally making up his mind. 007 also needs experience. He can't live under my protection forever. Xu Yuan decided to follow the previous plan. Although this would put 007 in danger, Xu Yuan had to do it. It's not that Xu Yuan is selfish. Xu Yuan still has feelings for 007. But Xu Yuan cannot protect 007 forever. He must become stronger in order to face all dangers and survive better in this world. This can also be considered a test for 007 by Xu Yuan. He must become strong on his own and must have his own title, instead of always living under him's protection and being called him's little brother. Having made up his mind, Xu Yuan didn't think any more about it. Instead, he began to plan the things at hand. After Yunli and the others chatted and laughed for a while, they began to make their plans. First, clean up the bumpy areas here. Then grow some vegetables, get some animals to raise, and make it look like someone is living here. Under Yunli's command, all the players immediately got busy. In less than half an hour, the players had finished renovating the place. Seeing this, Yunli nodded with satisfaction and continued to give instructions. The 5 of you, form a team and go for a walk in the woods. Remember, you must pretend to be going over to open up the wasteland, and don't reveal any flaws. Don't be afraid. Him won't touch you. He will definitely follow you. You just come back directly then. Yunli still put a lot of effort into studying him. He knew very well that him had a wide range of tastes. I really like to play the long game and catch big fish. That's why he used the same method to deal with him. But he didn't realize who the fish was. He didn't even realize he had already taken the bait. Everyone in the guild also began to head into the woods as Yunli requested. Yunli took 9 elite members and hid in a secret place. To be on the safe side, they even surrounded themselves with a circle of hell rock that was more resistant to explosions. Wither was hidden in the matchbox they had just built. After all the players were ready, Yunli also set up a private voice room to facilitate communication between everyone. Attention, those who are following, report the situation at any time. When he comes, attack immediately. Seeing that Yunli had arranged it so well, Xu Yuan immediately started acting according to the script arranged by Yunli. After several high-level players of the Yuntang Guild arrived at the forest, they began to wander aimlessly in the place where they had previously found him. Seeing this, Xu Yuan also deliberately revealed a flaw. He immediately teleported into the sight of one of the players. Xu Yuan was some distance away from the player, with his back to the player. Players can see him at a glance, but both sides are at a very safe distance. As soon as Xu Yuan teleported to the location, the high-level players of the Yuntang Guild discovered him. He's there. What should I do now? Make some normal noise, then turn around and leave. When the senior executives saw him, they immediately started acting. They immediately raised their voices, chatting and chopping at the surrounding trees. This place is great, there are a lot of resources. Yes, this place is very close to our guild headquarters. Oh, my backpack is full, is yours full? Mine is full too. How about going back and making some space before coming back? Okay, let's go back to the base. These guild leaders were afraid that him couldn't hear them, so they would unconsciously raise their voices every time they mentioned the guild headquarters. Seeing their poor acting skills, Xu Yuan couldn't help but hold his forehead with his hand. Only someone like Xu Yuan who knows the script would be fooled by such awkward acting. After hearing the players' voices, Xu Yuan pretended to turn around and look towards the players. Xu Yuan also didn't expect that the player who discovered him was still looking at him. The two looked at each other instantly. Upon seeing this, the player immediately and very deliberately avoided his gaze. I can't stand watching Xu Yuan's poor acting. But it doesn't matter. We are all acting anyway, and it's fine as long as we achieve our goal in the end. When the players of Yuntang Guild saw him turning around, they also gave a look to the people around them. I've been fooled. Go back. The players of the Yuntang Guild immediately began to return to the outdoor research room. Along the way, the players of the Yuntang Guild were reporting the situation to Yunli and the others. About 10 minutes later, the players of the Yuntang Guild finally arrived at the outdoor laboratory. After arriving here, they immediately entered into each matchbox. Not long after the players entered, the player in charge of surveillance saw him. Here he comes? He's following us. Upon hearing the news, Yunli and the other members of the elite group swallowed nervously. Although he was nervous, Yunli did not panic and immediately gave orders. Report his exact current location. As soon as Yunli's order was given, the players who were following him immediately responded. It's about 50 meters away from the location where Wither number 1 is. 40 meters, 30 meters, 20 meters, 10 meters. As him got closer, he could clearly feel the voice of the stalking player becoming increasingly trembling. It seemed that him was about to approach the location where Wither number 1 was. Yunli immediately controlled Withering and used the explosion skill. With a loud explosion, the Withering hidden in the matchbox rushed directly into the sky. Him is at the bottom right of Wither no 1. When the stalking player saw Wither coming out, he immediately reported him's location. Yunli also raised his voice immediately. Wither, lock on to the target. After summoning Wither, although Wither is under Yunli's control, Yunli does not have a system panel or anything like that. Withering seems to only accept voice information. In preparation for today's battle, Yunli spent a long time experimenting on how far away he should be from Withered and how loud his voice should be in order for Withered to receive his commands. Yunli also carefully calculated the distance and his volume. At this distance and the volume of the orders he gave, Withering was just able to hear them. But other people can't hear it. That's why Yunli dared to control the Withering underground. After Yunli gave the order to Wither, the players who were following him immediately gave Yunli feedback. Wither is already facing him? It should have been aimed at. After hearing the news, Yunli finally breathed a sigh of relief and then gave instructions to the elite members. Let all the Withers come out and lock onto him. As soon as Yunli finished speaking, he heard several loud bang 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 noises on the ground. The remaining 9 Withers all appeared in the air, their eyes all fixed on him. All 10 Withers have been successfully locked. The stalking player also immediately passed on the information. Hearing the news from the stalking player, Yunli gave the attack order immediately without any hesitation. Aim at him, attack. Following Yunli's order, all 10 Withers were activated. They all aimed at him beneath them and began firing Withering skulls. At this moment, him saw this, but did not show any panic on his face, but teleported to avoid the Withering head thrown by Withering. Him was seen dodging the dense rain of Withering heads while using fireball-like skills to counterattack the Withering heads. He looked calm and fearless. The players who were watching suddenly became nervous when they saw this. Boss, he has a ranged skill, he can cast a fireball. Wither number 1 was attacked by him. Yunli was also a little surprised when he heard the reports from the players who were following him. He didn't expect that him could use long-range skills. However, Yunli was not too panicked. After killing the players from the Triumph Guild, him's strength must have increased. It's not uncommon to have more skills. Even if him has ranged skills, it's no big deal, because Wither can restore health. Yunli had previously asked the players to prepare some livestock and raise them in captivity. On the one hand, it is to deceive people and make him mistakenly believe that this is the player's residence. Another aspect is to use these livestock to replenish blood. Report Wither's health at any time. Report to me immediately if it's half health. Everyone else, while he's counterattacking with the fireball, lock on and attack him. After Yunli gave the order, the results were seen immediately. Boss, good news? It was attacked. It's losing blood. This news about stalking the players undoubtedly gave everyone in Yunli great confidence. It would be easy if I could hurt him. What Yunli and the others fear most is that him is immune to the damage of the Withering Lord. After all, in the previous battle with the Triumph Guild, him was immune to the damage from arrows. Seeing that his attack was effective, Yunli was full of confidence. Don't worry about anything, just bomb me. Following Yunli's order, the 10 withered creatures floating in the sky immediately began bombing mode. One after another, the withering heads flew towards him at a rapid speed. Him dodged one with teleportation, and the next one immediately attacked him in the face. Faced with such a dense mass of withering heads, him had no time to dodge. Basically, him will be eaten by at least 1 to 2 withering skulls in every round of attack. Under such a dense rain of withering heads, him didn't even have time to counterattack. The withering attack made him breathless. Him's health was gradually reduced to half. The stalking players were also reporting the news on the battlefield factually. The current situation clearly shows that Yunli has the upper hand, but Yunli is somewhat confused. You're already half dead and you're still fighting? Why don't you run away? Yunli also expressed his thoughts aloud. As soon as he finished speaking, a message came from the player he was following. Boss, this is bad. Him seems to be running away. After hearing this news, Yunli finally dispelled his doubts. Don't let him get away. Attack with all your strength. Seeing that the battle was about to be won, Yunli was overwhelmed by the victory that was so close, and he was no longer suspicious. 10 withers locked onto him and tracked him all the way. The road along the way was blown to pieces. Him's health was also rapidly decreasing. Seeing that withering was getting farther and farther away, the people of Yunli suddenly became a little panicked. The withering was beyond their control. Yunli immediately asked the player who was following him, "What's going on outside?" Although the stalking player is outside, the specific situation over there is not clear as the battle line has been stretched far away. Only 10 withered creatures stopped tracking and floated in the air on standby. A brave senior executive quietly moved over there. All I saw was a huge deep pit on the plain caused by the withering, which was about 30 meters deep. And in the deep pit lay a corpse. The high-level players who were keeping watch were stunned when they saw this. When he saw the appearance of the corpse, he was a little bit unbelievable. Dead, dead. Him is dead. After hearing this, everyone in Yunli was stunned for a long time. Although this was indeed the result they wanted to hear, when they actually faced it, everyone found it a little hard to believe. Is he really dead? Are you sure? Is it that easy? Did he pretend to be dead on purpose? You didn't see it wrong? That's really him. The high-level player who was following was a little unsure himself, so he moved closer. At this time, him's body in the pit had begun to slowly dissipate. The high-level player's heartbeats quickened when they saw this. Really? It's true, boss? His body is slowly dissipating? He is really dead. After hearing the news, Yunli started digging out of the ground while talking to the senior executive who was following them. Quick, record it now. It was obvious that Yunli was the winner in this battle, although the battle process was not broadcast live. But Yunli must announce the results of the battle. You know, this is him, the big devil him, an existence that players try to avoid. But he was defeated by the Yuntang Guild. Just based on this battle, the Yuntang Guild will become famous overnight. After hearing this, the high-level player who was keeping watch immediately started recording. After Yunli and his group dug up, they immediately gathered at the deep pit. At this moment, him's body has completely dissipated. Suddenly, there were some dropped objects in the deep pit. 5 diamonds, a nether star, a treasure map, and several enchanted books. Yunli still couldn't believe that him died like this. But after seeing these dropped objects, all these doubts were dispelled. So many things exploded. After all the players gathered together, they were extremely excited to see the dropped items. 5 diamonds popped up. He's worthy of being the Demon King. Look at what you have accomplished. Diamonds are the least valuable of these things. Look at that star-like thing. It's definitely a good thing. There's actually an enchanted book. I think I've only seen people from Eternal Glory post this thing on the forum, and they only have 1 copy, I think. I think the most valuable of these things is the treasure map. That is the treasure of the devil. Indeed, we are going to be prosperous. It can be said that none of the dropped items in the deep pit have ever been seen by the players of the Yuntang Guild. Although they had seen pictures of diamonds and enchanted books, they were all on forums. Things like treasure maps and nether stars aren't even on the forum. This shows how rare this drop is. Seeing this, Yunli completely dispelled his doubts. Did you take pictures of what happened just now? Yunli asked the high-level player who was watching from the side. The senior player nodded, and then sent the video he had just recorded to Yunli. Boss, can you see if this is possible? Yunli took a look at the video and saw that him's body in the deep pit was also covered with a layer of mosaic. Even in death, the camera could not capture his appearance. But this is also good, as it proves that Yunli and the others did kill him. If Yunli could see him's appearance clearly in the video, he would have some doubts. Yunli collected all the dropped items in the deep pit with satisfaction, and then opened the forum. Just posted the video. The title is also very simple and direct. The devil has fallen, and there is no him in my world anymore. After releasing the video, Yunli directly closed the forum. Yunli doesn't need to do much promotion for this post. I believe it will become popular soon. Everyone has worked hard in this battle. Let's go back and celebrate. But I still want to say one more thing. Regarding the matter of withering and the information about the netherworld, everyone should keep it secret. After hearing this, all the high-level players nodded. Don't worry, boss. We understand. Why isn't your post popular yet? I really want to see people's reactions. Why rush? It will probably be pinned to the top soon. With this post, our Yuntang Guild will consider itself second, and no one will dare to claim first place, right? Of course you have to. Ha 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 ha. The players walked towards the Yuntang Guild headquarters while chatting and laughing. They didn't realize that there was a pair of eyes emitting white light staring at them from behind. The fish has taken the bait, and we can finally reel in the net. Su Yuan put a lot of effort into this battle. I have to say that people like Yunli are still very difficult to deal with. Too suspicious, so Su Yuan must do everything to the extreme. Otherwise, it would be difficult to hook the old fox Yunli. Fortunately, hard work pays off, and Su Yuan finally made it. Finally, we were able to close the net. Su Yuan also followed Yunli and his group carefully, fearing that he would be exposed. Less than 5 minutes after Yunli's post was published, the click rate exceeded 1 million. It can be seen how important an attractive title is. After seeing the post, the players thought that someone was trying to get traffic. But after seeing that the poster was the vice president of the Yuntang Guild, they all clicked on it out of curiosity. When they saw the video in the post, they were all stunned. What the hell? Is this video real or photoshopped? Him is dead. No way, no way. Could the mosaic in the pit be photoshopped? This doesn't look like him. No, I roll. Are you stupid? Damn. Your eyes are closed. What's the use of rolling your eyes? This video should not be photoshopped. It shows the game screen recording, which was recorded and uploaded in real time. Hiss. In other words, him was killed by the people from Yuntang Guild. What the hell? Let me take my time. Could this be another conspiracy of him? Him died so easily. I think it's a conspiracy too. That's him, the big devil him. I advise you not to deify him too much. Aren't there many big guys who have studied him? His own strength is actually not that strong. He is just scheming. I heard before that the vice president of the Yuan Guild is a ruthless person with many evil intentions. Don't even think about it. It's really possible that him will fall into his hands. According to rumors, the senior members of the Yuan Guild and the elite players have not returned to their base in the past few days, and their status is also offline. Basically, this means that they are carrying out secret activities. So this is true. Him is really dead. It's pretty close, right? Didn't you see all the things dropped in the pit? Many of them are things we haven't seen before. Yunli's post undoubtedly shocked the players speechless. At first, after seeing this video, players all thought that the video might have been photoshopped. Many professionals have also spontaneously begun to identify whether there are signs of photo editing in the videos. The results of the appraisal also made many players give up. The video is the original image directly, without any trace of photo editing. It is a video recorded in real time during the game. Furthermore, him will drop items when he dies. There are indeed many drops that players have never seen before. Although the players couldn't believe this fact, they had no choice but to believe it. The terrifying demon king him who was good at guessing people's minds and had an army of monsters had fallen from the altar. He is indeed dead. No matter how powerful he is, no matter how horrific his previous deeds were, at this moment, it has all become the past. There will be no more stories about him in the game. Although the players have not yet recovered from the shock, they are slowly beginning to accept this fact. That's it. That's it. You dare to call yourself the Demon King with this strength. It's good that it's gone. It's good that it's gone. I don't have to worry anymore. Oh, what a pity. I haven't even met him yet, and he died just like that. I was planning to persuade him to join him, but I didn't expect that. Damn it, the group of him, the devil's little follower, who I worked so hard to run, finally reached 500 people, and you tell me that him is gone. Huh? I've already written the outline for my FG fan fiction, and you're telling me him is gone. The one above, it's better not to start writing than to end it. Think positively. From the comments of the players, we can see that there are actually quite a few players who feel sorry for the death of him. Although him is a villain, his personal charm is indeed very strong. Although players have never seen him, they can still be infected by his charm. He does have the aura of a great devil, but the players never expected that such a cruel demon king would just disappear like this. Less than an hour after Yunli's post was published, it was pinned to the top of the list. More and more players are also aware of him's death. The reputation of the Yuan Guild naturally rose. Just because of killing him, the guild's popularity directly dropped to second place. Guild popularity is based on player votes. The higher the popularity, the more players want to join that guild. The Yuan Guild has undoubtedly become a hot commodity. After all, it was the guild that killed him, and relying on the items dropped by him, the guild's future was bright. Many players also want to join the Yuan Guild. Since the Yuan Guild is considered a large guild, the recruitment standards are very high. They will not announce the location of the guild casually. Players who want to join the guild can chat privately with the senior management, and then they can enter after passing the assessment. The players all know the membership process of the Yuan Guild, and have privately chatted with the top leaders of the Yuan Guild through various channels. But they found that these senior executives did not respond to them at all. Seeing this, many players couldn't help but start complaining in the forum. This Yuan Guild is so arrogant. They don't even reply to private messages. They posted the video just to recruit people. Why are they pretending? It turns out I'm not the only one here. The entry level to Yuan Guild is really high. My brother and I were all covered in irons. We chatted with them privately, but they didn't reply to me. Who cares if it's just a pretense? Forget it. At this moment, in the jungle more than 5,000 yards away from the Yuan Guild headquarters, several players wearing full body armor were discussing with each other. Along, has Yunli replied to your message? No, I saw a lot of people complaining on the forum that Yuan Guild didn't reply to their messages. Aaron said, closing the forum. After hearing this, the players couldn't help but complain. This Yuan Guild killed him and is showing off. That's right. You've been trying every possible way to recruit us. I couldn't stand your despicable behavior. Why are you pretending to be noble now? So what do we do now? Should we look for another guild or go and have a look? This place doesn't seem far from their base. Why don't we go take a look? Aaron and his group have always been expert players among the independent players, and the Yuan Guild had intended to recruit Aaron and his group before. So Aaron and his group knew the location of the Yuan Guild. But Aaron and his friends had looked down on the Yuan Guild before, so they had never reached an agreement. After seeing the post published by the Yuan Guild, Aaron and his group changed their minds. But they couldn't contact anyone from the Yuan Guild. After hearing his friend's suggestions, Aaron thought for a moment and then agreed. Okay, let's go to their base and take a look. The Eternal Guild headquarters. What? Him was killed by Yunli. Tianheng looked at the high-level players in disbelief. Yes, Yunli posted a post an hour ago. Now that post has been selected as the featured post. The players in the guild who can verify the authenticity of videos have all verified it, and the video is indeed not fake. That guy hasn't returned to the base in the past few days. He seemed to say that they had developed some killer weapon. Him actually died in their hands. I've also read that post. When him died, a lot of stuff dropped, including a treasure map. Him's treasure must have a lot of good stuff. Damn it, it's because of this incident that the Yuntang Guild is now ranked above us. The meeting room of the Eternal Guild was filled with sour air. I don't know if it was just a few bottles of vinegar being poured. When Tianheng heard what the senior executives said, he became furious. Damn it! Hurry up and gather everyone to kill that diamond suit zombie. When him was there before, Tianheng had to give him face. The diamond suit zombies have not been touched and are being treated with delicious food and drinks. Now him is gone. If the news of them feeding diamond-suited zombies gets out, the Eternal Guild will be completely disgraced. Tianheng has been very angry these days because he has been feeding diamond suit zombies every day. Not to mention Tianheng, even the players in the guild are like this. But they dared not speak out. For the sake of the overall situation, they could only appease the diamond suit zombies first. But it's different now, him is dead. There is no one protecting the diamond suit zombies. Naturally, they don't have to endure it anymore. With the strength of the Eternal Guild, it is more than enough to deal with diamond suit zombies. After hearing Tianheng's words, the senior executives were eager to try. I've been holding this breath for so long, and now I can finally let it out. Next, if they kill the diamond suit zombies, they can get back some ground. No matter what, the diamond zombie is still him's #1 little brother. Okay, I'll arrange it right away. Killing him will earn you a set of diamond suits? I guess it will also drop a lot of stuff. Let's control the wolf first, and then we can slowly deal with the diamond suit zombie. After receiving Tianheng's order, the Eternal Guild immediately took action. First they must deal with the problematic wolf. At this moment, Peng Peng is having fun playing with the little bug in his matchbox. I saw several high-level players suddenly rushing in. Without saying a word, he pinched the back of little bug's neck and pulled it out. What are you doing? Don't pull it like that. It will hurt. Where are you taking it? Under normal circumstances, Peng Peng would definitely not dare to speak to these high-level players like this. But at this moment, seeing them treating his little bug so rudely, Peng Peng didn't care anymore. The high-level players ignored Peng Peng's obstruction, pushed him away, and forcibly took the little bug out. Seeing this, Peng Peng hurriedly followed. The senior executives came to the square with the small bug. At this moment, all the players of the Eternal Guild have gathered here. When Peng Peng saw this scene, although he didn't know what was going on, he felt something was wrong. The high-level players dragged the small bug to the center of the square. Seeing this, little bug seemed to sense something. He bit the high-level player who was dragging him in one bite. The high-level player was bitten by the small bug and it hurt so much that he just raised his hand and threw the small bug away. The little bug fell heavily to the ground. Seeing that the situation was not good, it immediately stood up and prepared to escape. The players of the Eternal Guild immediately surrounded it. Ugh, ah. Although the little bug bared its teeth and roared at the players, its tail was tightly tucked between its legs. You can tell at a glance how nervous it is at the moment. At this moment, Tianheng, who was standing in the center of the square, finally spoke. Did everyone see it? If it is a tamed wolf, will it bite people on its own initiative? Will it bar its teeth and roar at us? Tianheng said as he slowly approached the small bug and continued. I believe everyone knows that strange things have been happening frequently in the forest north of our station. The monster seemed to have become a spirit and killed many of our brothers. A lot of the equipment we worked so hard to get was lost. Having said that, Tianheng came to Little Bug and stared at the trembling little bug. A few days ago, we finally found out that this wolf and him's zombie brother hiding in the forest were responsible for all this. This beast sneaked into our guild and tipped off our group, so him's zombies attacked us in secret. The players of the Eternal Guild were a little surprised when they heard the news. Tianheng also intentionally kept this matter secret, so only a small number of players knew about it. Players were previously curious as to why pedicure sheds were no longer built in the forest, but it was simply stated that the location was not suitable. After hearing Tianheng's words, the players finally understood the reason. Shit, this BD is trying to play a sour trick. Damn it, is it this beast that caused me to explode a whole set of iron sets? This is not a wolf at all, it's a real dog. Now him is dead. What's him's little brother? Let's go, kill him. Damn it, break this wolf cub's legs. See if he dares to tip off the police again. Kill this beast. The players' anger was instantly aroused. The reason why they were so angry was that they were angry that they fell into the hands of a wolf. If it was him, it would be fine. Him's younger brother could still accept it. It turned out to be the pet of him's younger brother. Doesn't this prove that they are not even as good as pets? How could the players bear this? They were all furious and immediately wanted to get back at this little bug. Seeing the players' anger, Tianheng nodded with satisfaction. He came over to Little Bug and then pulled out a diamond sword from his backpack. He chopped directly at the two front legs of Little Bug. Ah! With a terrible roar, the diamond sword instantly cut off the two front legs of Little Bug. Kill it! Kill it! We need to teach these beasts a lesson about the consequences of going against us players. Damn it! This is so satisfying. Are you going to tip off the police now? Amid the players' cheers, Tianheng surrendered again. Little Bug's two hind legs were also chopped off. The little bug was in so much pain that he couldn't even scream. The blood instantly soaked the surrounding soil. Tianheng picked up the dying little bug, lifted it up, and then said to the players, "Let's go, everyone, follow me and kill its owner." The people of Tianheng Guild have perfectly demonstrated the saying bully the weak and fear the strong. When him was here, they didn't dare to touch it even if a small bug peed on their heads. Now that he had learned of him's death, he immediately took his anger out on a powerless wolf. Peng Peng was heartbroken when he saw little bug being destroyed like this by Tianheng. Although he knew the truth of the matter, he could not empathize with the players of the Eternal Guild. He was really happy during the days when Little Bug was with him. Moreover, although Little Bug is a spy of him's younger brother, Little Bug has never done anything to harm Peng Peng. There were even a few times when Peng Peng was sent out hunting, and when he was besieged by monsters, it was the Little Bug that saved him. Although this is just a game, Peng Peng really felt the vitality of the small bug. He could feel that it was not just a set of data, it was flesh and blood. It can express its emotions, it has joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness. Its eyes light up when it sees fresh meat. When playing frisbee, its tail shakes like a propeller. When Peng Peng touches it, it always turns its belly up towards Peng Peng. Peng Peng could also feel that Little Bug trusted him very much and had no ill will towards him. Looking at the dying Little Bug picked up by Tianheng, Peng Peng really wanted to rush out to save it. But he didn't dare. He was the one who brought back the minor bug, and the guild suffered so much loss because of his decision. It was already a special favor that Tianheng did not settle the score with him. Peng Peng never dared to contradict Tianheng. Small bug. Sorry. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have brought you back. As soon as Tianheng finished speaking, the players of the Eternal Guild responded to him with high morale. Brothers, let's kill him together. As him's younger brother, you must be prepared. Him is already buried. We will send you down to accompany him. Let's go, get back all those iron sets we lost. The players of the Eternal Guild were immediately deployed. They immediately formed a team and began to head towards the forest in the north. The northern forest of the Eternal Guild. 007 glanced at the sky through the gaps in the leaves. It was noon at this moment. Every day at this time, a group of players from the Eternal Guild would come to build a pedicure shed. This group of players have also learned to be smart, and they don't wear expensive equipment. But when they were attacked by the monster, they had no power to resist and were quickly killed. This happened for several days in a row, which made 007 start to become suspicious. He always felt something was odd, although he couldn't quite put his finger on what was odd. Although Su Yuan had taught him various ways to deal with players before, but he was not taught to read people's hearts. 007 faces very few players, so naturally he doesn't understand these things. So, even if it felt something was wrong in its subconscious, its cognition was limited and it could not figure out where the problem lay. 007 was thinking, but his thoughts were interrupted by unusual movements in the distance. In the distance, I saw a team of players from the Eternal Guild walking towards this side. Just like a few days ago, they should be here to build a pedicure shed. Seeing this, 007 didn't think any more about it. Roar. He growled towards the forest in the distance. After a while, the monsters were gathered together. These days, the monsters have formed habits and know how to deal with this group of players without 007's command. The players gradually approached, and the monsters used the tree trunks to hide their bodies, waiting for them to come over and kill them in one fell swoop. As the team of players from the Eternal Guild got closer, the monsters also gathered closer. At this moment, there were some rustling sounds coming from the leaves above the monsters' heads. Upon seeing this, 007 immediately felt that something was not right. Just about to summon the monsters to disperse. But they found that the leaves above their heads were knocked off in an instant. All I saw were players from the Eternal Guild jumping down from the treetops, and then quickly gathering around the monsters. In less than half a minute, all the monsters were surrounded by Eternal's group of players. The Eternal Guild has a huge number of players, approximately more than 10,000 people. They broke out from the top of the forest and surrounded 007 and his monsters. Seeing such a large number of players, 007 panicked instantly. He understood instantly that the players who had been sent to him for easy kills were just a trick. It was also because of his own negligence that the entire monster team was plotted against by the Eternal Guild. The players of the Eternal Guild obviously did not give the monsters time to react. Go. At a command, the players rushed towards the monsters all at once. Although many of the monsters under 007 have awakened their primary consciousness, but they only evolved a brain, their strength did not increase much. Faced with so many players, they became panicked in an instant. Although they put up a desperate resistance, due to the absolute numerical pressure, these counterattacks turned into a desperate struggle. Brothers? Kill them all. Get our equipment back. You are the only one who is qualified to wear a metal suit? Here you go. Are you scared now? Weren't you so arrogant before? It was you, the spider, who killed me 3 times. I'll give them all to you. Today I'll let you experience the taste of death too. The total number of monsters present was no more than 400 at most, but more than 10,000 people from the Eternal Guild came to this battle. And the monsters were ambushed and suppressed by such numbers. No matter how powerful the monsters are, they cannot withstand the human wave tactics. They are not him, so naturally they don't have him's abilities. Besides, even with him's great abilities, he still died at the hands of players. What's more, these little ones are. The players of the Eternal Guild were as excited as if they had been injected with chicken blood. They have no tactics at all, they just rush in. The monsters died one by one under the chaotic sword attack. Seeing the monsters he had trained falling one by one, 007 was completely enraged. Roar. With a roar, he immediately rushed into the crowd. Take down a group of players with one swing. I have to say that 007's combat effectiveness is still very strong. With the blessing of the diamond set, plus its own powerful strength attribute, working among the players of the Eternal Guild is like cutting melons and vegetables. The players of the Eternal Guild were also defeated again and again. I didn't dare to get close to 007 at all. What the hell? This diamond suit zombie is so reckless. Hiss. He seems to be stronger than in the battle with the Triumph Guild. His diamond suit is too resistant to damage? There's no way to break his defense. I just don't believe it. Can't more than 10,000 of us defeat one of him's little brothers. 007 was so bloodthirsty that his fighting ability became stronger and stronger. Wherever he went, a group of players fell down with just a wave of his hand. Even the players who were wearing full body armor were killed instantly. But what's strange is that while attacking the players, 007 was also checking the soles of their feet, as if he was looking for something. Tianheng also noticed this detail immediately. Just when 007 was about to break through the encirclement and escape, Tianheng finally stood up. He threw the little bug, who had a broken leg and was dying, in front of 007. Are you looking for it? 007 only saw Tianheng throwing out a bloody thing. He immediately stopped attacking, and when he got closer and took a closer look, he found that it was actually a wolf with a broken leg. Although the wolf's body was completely stained red with blood, 007 still recognized it at a glance. Roar. A deafening roar echoed throughout the forest. Seeing his dying partner, 007 has completely lost the desire to fight. He immediately came to the little bug and picked it up. At this moment, the little bug was already very weak. After being picked up by 007, its nose moved, as if it was trying hard to distinguish the smell. After smelling the scent of 007, it forced itself to open its eyes. When it saw 007 right in front of it, even though its body was completely exhausted, its tail still subconsciously shook a few times. Roar, roar. At this moment, 007's voice began to tremble. He could feel that the little bug's life was about to dissipate. The hands holding little bug began to tremble. To him, the little bug is a partner, a good friend, a relative, and also the hope given to him by his master. Seeing that the little bug was getting weaker and weaker, 007 suddenly felt helpless. He didn't know what to do, and he didn't have the ability to do anything. Thinking back to the time he had spent with little bug, 007 actually let out a whimpering sound from his throat. This scene undoubtedly caused a great shock to the players of the Eternal Guild. It's so pitiful. Is it okay to say this? Damn it, why is there sand in my eyes? I can't be a saint, I can't be a saint. They killed quite a few of our players. We can be resurrected after death. It's nothing more than dropping some equipment. This. People who raise animals themselves really can't stand seeing these things. Little bug used up his last bit of strength and stuck out his tongue. As usual, he licked 007 on the face. Just this one bite had already exhausted all its strength. The trembling tongue fell down immediately after touching 007's cheek for a moment. Roar, roar. Little bug has held on for so long just to see 007 again. Lick his cheek again. Of course, if he had the strength, he would like to play the eyeball throwing game with 007 again. It wanted to see 007's panicked expression again when he thought his eyeball had been eaten directly. It wanted 007 to touch its belly again. But it can't do it. At this moment, 007 seemed to see through Little Bug's thoughts. He dug out his eyeballs and stuffed them into Little Bug's mouth. Roar, roar, roar. 007 shook the Little Bug's body vigorously, as if to get it to get up and play with him. The eyeballs fell down again and again, and 007 stuffed them back in again and again. Just keep repeating this action. Roar, roar. Don't you like my eyeballs? I'll give them to you. You don't have to give them back to me. He seemed to be saying this. At this moment, 007 finally felt the heartache. He has no sense of pain. Even if a sharp weapon pierces his heart, he will not feel anything. But at this moment, he felt a dull pain in his left chest. I've never felt this way before. 007 held the little bug motionlessly, and the eternal players next to him seemed to be touched as well. They also did not take the opportunity to launch an attack. Only at this moment did they truly feel that these two monsters were alive. And the life of one of the monsters was dissipated because of them. 007 held Little Bug tightly in his arms the whole time, until its body lost its temperature. After Little Bug completely lost his vital signs, his body gradually began to dissipate. Seeing this, 007 suddenly became a little flustered. He couldn't accept the death of Little Bug, but he had to accept it. Because he had no way to save the Little Bug. But he can no longer allow little bugs to disappear from this world. After thinking about this, 007 immediately made a bold decision. He stood up and suddenly put his hands to his mouth. Crack, crack. Following two tearing sounds, 007 was seen tearing his own mouth open alive. Then there was another loud click. He forcibly pried open his jaw. The players of the Eternal Guild were all stunned when they saw this. They all don't know why 007 is committing self-harm at this moment. Is it because he was too sad after losing the little bug? The players were confused. I only saw 007 pick up Little Bug's body and start stuffing it into his mouth. At this moment, he was eating like a snake. It swallowed the Little Bug's body alive? When the players of the Eternal Guild saw this situation, they were all stunned. What the hell? Swallowed alive? What happened? Wasn't he so reluctant to part with the wolf just now? Why did he start chewing it? I was wondering how a monster could understand emotions. It was so affectionate just now, but now it's still eating. I think he might want to keep the wolf. Yes, the wolf's body has slowly begun to dissipate. If it is not eaten, it will be gone. Zombies don't have a digestive system, so if they eat the wolf will remain in their stomachs forever, right? That's true. He tore his mouth and fractured his jaw in the beginning, just to be able to swallow the wolf whole and preserve it intact, right? He should have found another way to stay with the wolf forever. 007's behavior undoubtedly brought great shock to the players present. Seeing this scene, many players of the Eternal Guild wiped away their tears silently. Although they are enemies, the relationship between 007 and Bug does touch them. Although these two monsters have their own thoughts, they are different from the players. Their thinking is simple. They have their own missions and they have their own partners. They have chosen each other, and that is a lifelong commitment. Even if you die, I will always protect you in my own way. 007 endured great psychological torture and ate the corpse of Little Bug. After swallowing the Little Bug whole, it suddenly felt dizzy. It was as if a switch was turned on in my body, and my body suddenly began to go out of control. The whole body suddenly became extremely weak. In an instant, he completely lost his combat effectiveness. Although he didn't know why he became like this, he had a feeling that it seemed to be related to the small bug. After eating the little bug, 007 was so weak that he couldn't even stand up. Tianheng also immediately noticed the changes in 007. Good opportunity. Tianheng is not like other players. He has no sympathy towards 007 and the little bug. No matter how tragic their stories are, Tianheng will not be moved, because he knew very well that this was just a game. As the president of the Eternal Guild, he naturally puts the interests of the guild first. He looks weak. Everyone, attack him together. After Tianheng gave the order, the players looked at each other, seeming to be a little hesitant. Seeing this, Tianheng was about to start cursing. At this moment, he received a message from Yonghui, the president of Eternal Glory. You didn't tell me about this big thing where there are diamond suit zombies near your guild's base. You still want to kill him? Do you have a pig brain? Stop it now and control that diamond suit zombie. Seeing Yonghui's barrage of curses, Tianheng was also a little confused. He indeed hasn't told Yonghui about this yet. Originally, Tianheng was thinking of killing the diamond suit zombie and then looking for Yonghui to make a contribution. But I didn't expect Yonghui to know the news in advance. In fact, Yonghui knew about this as early as when Tianheng and others discovered 007. At that time, Yonghui also felt that it was not easy to deal with. After all, him was there. If Tianheng and the others really touched 007, the Eternal Guild would be in great danger. Yonghui also agrees with Tianheng's approach. The reason why we pretend not to know is simply because of face. It was too embarrassing to deliver rations to monsters, so Yonghui just pretended not to know. But Yonghui never expected that Tianheng would actually have the idea of killing 007. Yonghui also knew the news about him's death. Tianheng's idea is to quickly get rid of 007 and develop rapidly. And after getting rid of 007, the guild can save some face. Although it is not as good as the Yuntang Guild killing him, it is still the case that him's #1 subordinate was killed. Tianheng's idea is indeed reasonable, but he only looks at the immediate benefits. Didn't think long term. This is also the reason why Tianheng is only the president of an affiliated guild. Yonghui's view on this matter is completely different from Tianheng's. Now that him is dead, the Yuntang Guild is in great glory because of this incident. If Tianheng killed him's younger brothers, it would seem that this matter had saved some face for the guild. But in fact, the opposite is true. As a subsidiary guild of Eternal Glory, the Eternal Guild is also ranked among the top 5. No matter what happened before, it was always above the Yuntang Guild. But because of the him incident, Yuntang Guild suddenly became the second most popular guild. Tianheng thought that by killing him's younger brother he could bypass the Yuntang Guild again, but that was definitely impossible. Can him's younger brother compare with him? Even if him's brothers were killed, the popularity of the guild could not be restored. The Yuntang Guild still has the upper hand over the Eternal Guild. Furthermore, if Tianheng really killed him's little brother, then it would prove that he had fed him before. There was already some gossip outside, and some big guilds knew about it. They had already been secretly making fun of the Eternal Guild. If Tianheng really killed 007, it would prove that he was timid when him was around, but struck hard when him was gone. Although if this happened to all guilds, they would probably do the same. But feeding monsters is really embarrassing. No matter what, you'll be laughed at if you tell others about it. Moreover, it is not difficult to find that the feeding of monsters and the killing of him by Yuntang Guild were carried out at the same time. Before, the Yuntang Guild was not as strong as the Eternal Guild. When they met him, they fought hard and killed him. The Eternal Guild was so scared of encountering him's little brothers that they would feed them on their own. If this were to be true, then no matter how well the Eternal Guild developed, it would become a laughingstock among other guilds. It was because Yonghui was considering the long term that he did not let Tianheng kill 007. The best way at the moment is to find a way to imprison 007. In this way, if there are any gossips from the outside world, the Eternal Guild can directly say that the previous feeding was to make him relax his vigilance, and then arrest him. This justifies the previous embarrassing behavior. It also wouldn't be a problem that other guilds would catch and laugh at. As for what to do after 007 is imprisoned, we can make plans later. It has to be said that Yang Hui, as the president of the first guild, thinks much more long-term and thoughtfully than Tian Heng. In the current situation, we definitely cannot kill 007, otherwise the image of the guild will be ruined. After Tian Heng saw Yang Hui's news, he was a little confused. But he still didn't dare to disobey Yang Hui's words. Tian Heng glanced at 007 in front of him. He didn't know why, but after he swallowed the little bug, he became so weak that he couldn't move. At this moment, 007 is completely at the mercy of others. After Tian Heng thought about this, he pondered for a moment and then said to the players, "Send someone with an iron bucket to get some magma, and then build an obsidian cage at the base. Take him back and lock him up first." Although 007 is currently at the mercy of others, it does not mean that he will always be like this. Tian Heng also needs to be a little more cautious. The safest way at the moment is to build an obsidian cage to lock him up, and then wait for Yang Hui's instructions before seeing the situation. After Tian Heng gave the order, the players began to prepare. Although 007 was too weak to move, it still took a lot of effort for the players to move him. Fortunately, there were no setbacks along the way, and 007 was safely transported back to the Eternal Guild headquarters. The obsidian cages of the players at the base are also ready. After putting 007 in the cage, Tian Heng also sent a message back to Yang Hui. "Boss has imprisoned him. What should I do next?" After seeing the news from Tian Heng, Yang Hui finally breathed a sigh of relief. "I heard that this diamond suit zombie is very special." Yang Hui had seen the video of him leading monsters to attack the city. "My previous impression of this diamond suit zombie was that it was very fierce and powerful, and it could take away a group of players in one go. Even players covered in iron armor can be killed instantly with one strike." Later, Yang Hui learned from the high-level players of the Eternal Guild that this diamond suit zombie, like him, has thoughts. But Yang Hui didn't ask for the specific details, so he asked Tian Heng. After seeing Yang Hui's reply, Tian Heng told Yang Hui the whole story. It is undeniable that his fighting ability is indeed very strong. If it weren't for that wolf, we wouldn't have been wiped out, but if he wanted to escape, more than 10,000 of us might not be able to stop him. Fortunately, Tian Heng was careful enough to fix the small bug before the fight with 007. Otherwise, with 007's strength, he wouldn't be able to wipe out all the people in the Eternal Guild. But it is still possible to break through the siege and escape. This is enough to show his extraordinary strength. After what happened just now, Tian Heng was even a little scared. If he hadn't brought the little bug with him, the guild would have lost both the wife and the army. After seeing Tian Heng's reply, Yang Hui thought for a moment. He originally thought that this him's little brother was only slightly stronger than an ordinary monster, and that was why he looked so powerful because of the equipment. It seems that he is still very strong. And it's not hard to see that he's definitely a growth monster. His strength before was totally not on the same level as it is now. On top of that, he can also control monsters like him. If you can use him for your own benefit and train him to become the second him, then there is no need to worry about the development of the guild. Since he has his own thoughts, we should do everything we can to persuade him to rebel and make him work for us. If 007 is a mindless monster, and his previous behaviors are only due to the control of him, then Yang Hui will definitely not have this idea. But after hearing what Tian Heng said, Yang Hui felt very surprised. If 007 had ideas, then they could indeed find ways to make 007 work for them. Naturally, Yang Hui was just trying it out. If it really succeeds, 007 will definitely become the second devil. But this Demon King is subject to the Eternal Glory Guild. Then wouldn't the Eternal Glory Guild be able to dominate the game? This is indeed the truth, but it may take some effort to put it into practice. Tian Heng was instantly enlightened after hearing Yang Hui's words. This method works. Before, Tian Heng had always sent players to feed 007, so he felt very frustrated about this matter. That's why I want to get back at him. He also never thought that he could recruit 007. Although it sounds ridiculous to recruit monsters, isn't it even more ridiculous to have a thinking monster like him appear in the game? So, there should still be some possibility. Anyway, him is gone now, maybe he can brainwash 007 and arrange some social insurances and housing fund for him. Maybe he can be in the Eternal Guild 996. After Tian Heng thought about this, he immediately planned two plans. One is a toast and the other is a penalty drink. If there is no way to negotiate with 007 in a friendly manner, then the only option is to make him drink a penalty drink. After Tian Heng closed the chat window, he immediately made arrangements. We should first give 007 some reformatory education. If that doesn't work, we can only torture him mentally. After Yang Hui finished chatting with Tian Heng, he opened the chat box of Kang Long, the president of the Brilliant Guild. How's it going? Have you dealt with the Ender Dragon? Long before, the Glorious Guild discovered the End Fortress. I also know that I need to collect the Eyes of Ender to open that strange sacrificial device. The Brilliant Guild has also been asking players to search everywhere these days. Finally, I have collected all 12 Eyes of Ender. After they placed all the Eyes of Ender on those strange altars, only then did they realize that this was not a sacrificial device, but a portal. The space in the door frame is like the vast starry sky, with no end in sight. No one knows what is inside. The players of the Glorious Guild also closed their eyes, kicked their legs, took off their equipment and jumped in. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in the end of the world. As soon as they arrived at the end, a dragon roar was heard not far away. Looking up, I saw a huge flying dragon soaring in the endless void. However, the flying dragon did not attack them, but just hovered around several obsidian pillars. There are some iron cages on the obsidian pillars, and inside the cages are things that look like amethyst. The flying dragon seemed to be attracted by these crystals and kept hovering around them. The players of Yonghui Guild are still very sensitive to the game. In general games, dragons exist as bosses. As soon as the players arrived at the end, the name of the dragon, Ender Dragon, appeared above their heads. There is also a long purple tube of blood below. From these factors, it can be judged that this dragon is definitely not simple and is definitely a powerful boss. This is also the only boss that players of the Brilliant Guild encounter after entering the game. Kang Long immediately told Yonghui what he had discovered. Yonghui will naturally not miss this good opportunity. He immediately ordered the Azure Dragon to kill the Ender Dragon. When the Yuan Guild killed him before, so many things dropped. Yonghui was very envious. If Kang Long and his men can kill the Ender Dragon, they will probably get a lot of good stuff. After receiving Yonghui's message, Kang Long also sighed. At this moment, he is in the end of the world. Seeing the players' equipment dropped all over the ground, he was speechless. Yonghui only knew how to give orders, but he didn't know how difficult it was to kill the Ender Dragon. They fumbled for a long time before they discovered that the amethyst on the obsidian pillar needed to be knocked off. Otherwise, it will restore the Ender Dragon's health. After finally defeating those purple crystals, the players discovered that this boss was extremely strong. With hard dragon scales as protection, bows and arrows cannot cause any damage to it at all. The players finally waited for it to land and settle on the ground. But it will flap its huge wings, and players will not be able to get close to it at all. Moreover, even if the player finally gets close to it, it will spray dragon breath again. The players were tortured by him terribly. It was obvious that this Ender Dragon was not something they could deal with their strength. Originally, Kang Long also wanted to challenge, but after being wiped out several times, Kang Long gave up. He also reported the situation to Yonghui truthfully. Boss, this thing is really invincible? It's immune to ranged damage. It was so hard to get close to it, and after finally getting close to it, it spat out a mouthful of dragon spit and I was gone. As Kang Long spoke, he also sent the previous battle video to Yonghui. After watching their battle video, Yonghui also had a general understanding of the Ender Dragon. Although the Ender Dragon is very powerful, it is not completely impossible to defeat it. Ranged attacks really can't hurt it, but Yonghui also discovered that when the Ender Dragon was crawling on the ground, after the players approached it, one of them hit it with an iron sword. Yonghui also noticed that after the player hit it, its health changed slightly. In other words, the player caused damage to it. As long as you can hit him, you can kill him. Yonghui has always maintained this principle in all its games. Since among 1,000 people, only one person can take away a little blood from the Ender Dragon, then we increase the base number. With 10,000 people, we can definitely cut off 1 point of its health, right? If that doesn't work, then 50,000. If that doesn't work, then 100,000. There are more than 50,000 people from Eternal Glory, more than 20,000 people from Eternal Guild, and more than 20,000 people from Kang Long Guild. Can't 100,000 people take down an Ender Dragon? The Eternal Glory Guild has never been short of people. Furthermore, to fight a boss, it is not necessary to mobilize all the members of the guild. Players can hurt the Ender Dragon, but the damage is too low. If that's the case, why not just increase the damage? If I can't cut it with an iron sword, can I use TNT to blow it up? The players of the Glorious Guild have been repairing their feet for a while, so they definitely have no shortage of things like gunpowder. Just get some TNT and fight the Ender Dragon head on. The Ender Dragon is not like him, which has thoughts. It's nothing more than a string of data. There are many ways to deal with it. After thinking about this, Yonghui replied to Kang Long, increase manpower and mass-produce TNT. No matter what, I'm going to kill it. The headquarters of the Yuan Guild. Aaron and his group walked for more than an hour and finally arrived near the Yuan Guild headquarters. Are you sure this is the place? There's not even a building anywhere. This is what he told me before. There's no need for him to lie, right? This is weird. Why do the people from the Yuan Guild seem to have disappeared? They don't reply to my private messages, and I can't find their base either. Aaron and his group chatted while searching the area thoroughly. Suddenly, the player searching the north side started to scream as if they had encountered something terrible. Aaron and his group immediately came to where he was. I saw a huge deep pit appearing in front of me. Inside the deep pit were various debris that looked like matchboxes. Equipment and supplies were scattered everywhere in the wreckage. Although this place has been bombed beyond recognition, it can still be seen that there must have been people living here before. And there are a lot of players. Judging from the patterns on the decorations on the flags scattered on the ground, this is the headquarters of the Yuan Guild. Or, it is said that this was once the headquarters of the Yuan Guild. When they saw the scene in front of them, they were all stunned. Hiss, what the hell is going on? This place, what on earth has happened? If I'm not mistaken, this is the headquarters of the Yuan Guild, right? Well, it's just a battle-damaged version. When Aaron and his group saw this scene, they were all stunned. They even forgot to collect all the equipment and supplies on the ground. Seeing this scene, Aaron was also very puzzled. Didn't they kill him? Then who is responsible for this situation at the station? When the friends heard this, they all shook their heads. Could it be that the other guilds are jealous of what they did? How is that possible? They killed him, which means they have a very powerful trump card in hand. Add to that him's drops and treasures, who would dare to touch them at this juncture? Indeed, looking at the damage, it couldn't have been done by a player. After hearing what his friends said, Aaron thought for a moment, and then he was shocked. I have a bold idea. Could this be done by him? After hearing what Aaron said, his friends thought about it and were all stunned. Hiss. No way. Wasn't he killed by the Yuan Guild? Don't scare me, hasn't that video been proven to be real? Yes, there are also drops. Although his friends were refuting Aaron verbally, they were shocked by the scene. The thoughts in their minds are actually very similar to Aaron's. It seems that him is the only one who can do this in the whole game. But him was clearly killed, and the video was proven to be real. Are there two hims in this game? After hearing what his friends said, Aaron shook his head. Who else can do this except him? Think about it, I started contacting Yuan Guild within an hour after they released the news. But they didn't reply to the private message. So many people have complained on the forum, which proves that no one from the Yuan Guild has responded to the players. That is to say, at that time, they might be experiencing something, or have already experienced something. If they were going through something, that's what we saw, being massacred, they didn't have time to respond. If they've been through something, it means they don't have the face to reply. Then why don't they have the nerve to reply? They just killed him, it's so glorious. The biggest possibility is that they were slapped in the face. I got slapped in the face by him. After hearing what Aaron said, his friends could no longer find any reason to refute him. In fact, they had long felt that this matter might be related to him. But they didn't want to believe it. Aaron's analysis is indeed well organized. Although they were reluctant to accept the fact that him was not dead, everything before them pointed out this fact. If it's really him, would he still be around? What the hell? Are they watching us from somewhere? Don't be so surprised. Does him think highly of our little piece of meat? Indeed, they probably left after killing the people from the Yuan Guild. So what should we do now? Grab some equipment and leave. After hearing his friend's words, Aaron thought for a moment and then said, you guys grab it, I'll start a live broadcast. Aaron must tell the players about this. The players of the Yuan Guild have remained silent, which means they will definitely hide this matter. Players will always mistakenly believe that him is dead and will let down their guard. Aaron actually still agrees with Steve's point of view. At this stage, players can only bypass him and restrict his development, so that they will have a chance to defeat him in the future. If this matter is not made public, then all Steve's previous efforts will be in vain. After Aaron opened the forum, he immediately started the live broadcast. The title of the live broadcast room is also simple and clear. Him faked his death, and the Yuan Guild was wiped out. The live broadcast room had just been opened and there were not many players coming in. Aaron's title was too much of a traffic-grabbing method, and players all came in with the intention of watching the fun. But after seeing the picture on the screen, everyone was dumbfounded. This? What is this? Don't tell me this is the Yuan Guild's headquarters. What the hell? This is really not Syria. What's going on? Is the anchor faking this just to get attention? The cost of his counterfeiting is quite high. If I have so much equipment, how can I get any attention? So this is really the headquarters of the Yuan Guild. Why is this happening? Didn't the Yuan Guild just kill him? How come his family is gone? You hit the nail on the head. Didn't you see the anchor's title? I told you, it's not that easy for him to die. Oh my goodness, no wonder no one in the Yuan Guild responded to my private message. Did they get slapped in the face? I was saying, he must have posted the video to attract attention, but it disappeared after he posted it. It turns out he was slaughtered. When players saw Aaron's title, many of them were ready to mock him. But after seeing the ruins of the Yuan Guild, he swallowed back the curse words that were about to come out of his mouth. Anyone with a brain can tell that this live broadcast cannot be fake. There are so many equipment on the ground, and there is also a flag with the Yuan Guild's icon. The cost of falsifying is too high. Combined with the fact that many people previously complained in the forum that Yuan Guild did not reply to messages, the players then realized that him's death was just a farce. At this moment, in the Yuan Guild's guild channel, the guild channel, which was usually very active, was now completely silent. The players were now scattered all over the place, even though more than half an hour had passed since the massacre. They haven't recovered yet. Isn't him dead? Isn't Wither a summoned creature of the vice president and his men? How could they obey him? Wasn't it the same thing with the triumphant guild last time? Weren't those wolves also tamed by the players? Didn't they say that we have countless chances and he only has one? This moment, the players of the Yuan Guild seemed to have lost their souls. They couldn't understand why Yunli had clearly killed him, but him showed up when they were partying at the residence. They also couldn't understand why those 10 withered creatures were clearly summoned by Yunli and the others, but they will obey him. Although they didn't understand it, they still remembered the smile him showed before they died. It wasn't the first time they had seen that smile. Before, when him led monsters to slaughter the Triumph Guild, he showed that kind of smile when he touched the wolf cub's head. After seeing that smile, even though they didn't know what had happened, but they guessed something from that smile. He's playing a trick on us. So it's the same as the Triumph Guild. It's all just an act. Why? The vice president had already seen his body disappear. Why? We did have countless chances, but we naively thought he only had one chance. From the time I started playing games until now, the person I admire most is the vice president. He is extremely thoughtful. I didn't expect that he would fall into him's trap. The players of the Yuan Guild don't know what the story is about, but they could guess that this must be him's plan. This is also what shocked them. If it was their guild leader, or the leader of another guild, they would be able to accept being framed by him. But they never expected that someone as meticulous as Yuan was framed by him. Moreover, after him appeared in the guild, the players remembered Yuan's appearance very clearly. Fear, horror, disbelief. The players have followed Yuan for so long, and this is the first time they have seen such an expression on his face. Yuan has always been the brain of the guild. He and Yuan also started from scratch and developed the Yuan Guild without relying on any consortium. And it developed very well. In less than 5 years, it became one of the top 10 guilds. All of this is thanks to Yuan's wisdom. The reason why we cannot compare with the top-ranked guilds is entirely due to hardware factors. We really can't compete with the consortium. The Yuan Guild has achieved such results, and most of it is due to Yuan's efforts, not all of it. This is also the reason why players are afraid of him. Even people like Li and Yuan were arranged clearly by him. Only before he died did he realize that he had been set up. At this moment, Yuan was staring at the guild channel in a daze. He kept thinking back to which detail went wrong, but he never thought of it. Because from planning to implementation, he didn't feel anything wrong in every process. He is such a cautious person that he considers everything carefully over and over again. In Yuan's opinion, this plan is also quite perfect. He couldn't figure out where the mistake had gone. This is what makes Yuan feel terrified. He didn't even know when him started planning all this. I fell into him's trap without realizing it. This was the first time he felt frustrated after playing the game for so long. And this feeling of frustration was brought to him by a monster. Damn it, I don't want to play anymore. Yuan really couldn't stand this feeling. As long as him exists, he will always remember the contemptuous look in his eyes when he faced himself. He was completely suppressed by him, whether in terms of strength, strategy, or intelligence. How could Yuan, who has always been proud, bear this? What's more, the other party is not a human being, but a monster? Furthermore, from the very beginning, he had been receiving private messages from various players. The content is pretty much the same. Huh? Didn't him die? Why is your house gone? You slapped me in the face a little too quickly. I don't know if it hurts you. Hey, why did you provoke him so badly? Yuan is a person who cares a lot about his reputation. In this way, I have completely lost face. Even if Yuan doesn't quit the game, he will never be able to hold his head up in the game again. After thinking about this, Yuan gritted his teeth and made a decision. Brother, I'm quitting the game. After Yuan sent a message to Yuan, he quit the guild and then went offline. To be honest, Yuan was not surprised after seeing the news about Yuan. Yuan has such a high moral character. If he continues to stay in the game, he will probably be suffocated to death. Yuan did not try to stop Yuan, because he knew that he could not stop him. Shortly after Yuan quit the guild, Yuan posted a message on the guild channel. Brothers, I'm sorry, see you later. After saying that, Yuan disbanded the guild. Without Yuan, there was no need for the guild to continue. Furthermore, all the equipment and supplies that the guild had accumulated with great difficulty were gone in an instant. All the efforts of these days have gone to waste. The game's reputation was ruined because of this incident, and the players became discouraged. There was no need for Yuan to stay any longer. Might as well just find another game and start over. After Yuan disbanded the guild, all the players were kicked out of the guild by the system. Although the players were somewhat surprised, it was actually within their expectations. The incident of him's death was known to the entire server. As a result, not long after, the Yuan Guild was wiped out. Even if Yuan and the others didn't disband the guild, they would have quit on their own. Mainly because it's so damn embarrassing. Fortunately, we disbanded. Otherwise, it would be difficult to withdraw and it would be embarrassing to leave. Oh, I don't want to play anymore. I have to start all over again. Why would the vice president want to provoke him for no reason? Isn't there a precedent before? Many old players of the Yuan Guild also quit the game along with Yuan and the others. The remaining players left and started over. After Yuan quit the game, although it was his own decision, he was still very angry and didn't know where to vent. He also immediately went to the official website of the game and began to report the problem to customer service. What kind of crappy game is this? What kind of monster did you create? Doesn't this destroy the balance of the game? I advise you to find out what him is right now. Otherwise, it's game over sooner or later. Under Yuan's persuasion, Yuan and the senior management of the guild also reported this issue to the game officials. Also included are pictures of him and a video of his previous siege. 0 Point Company Customer Service Department. After receiving the message from Yuan and others, Xiao Wang took a look at the video. Then I put Yuan and his team's feedback and videos into a folder called Him Feedback. The Customer Service Department will basically submit player feedback to senior management and technical departments once a week. It has been 4 days since the last feedback. You can submit again in 3 days. At this moment, the folder reported by him has reached more than 5 GB. Although there are videos and pictures in the folder, they only take up 2.5 GB at most. The rest is text feedback. In other words, text feedback takes up 2.5 GB. Seeing such huge data, Xiao Wang was also very surprised. Strange, why are so many people giving feedback on him? What on earth is this him? Xiao Wang didn't play this game, after all, working in customer service is very busy. Although he works in a game company, Xiao Wang is not very interested in games. So he has never come into contact with the game Minecraft. Although he is not interested in games, he still has to do his job well. In fact, feedback about him was received as early as a week ago. It's just that there weren't many before, and at that time, players reported that there were inexplicably powerful white-eyed monsters in the game. He also said that the monster had thoughts or something. Xiao Wang had previously packaged and submitted these materials to senior management and technical departments. But they did not take this issue seriously. After all, the game company doesn't rely on this one game to make money. Furthermore, the technical department also checked and found that there were no bugs in the game. So there was no further news. Xiao Wang originally thought that the matter about the white-eyed monster would just slowly pass. But I didn't expect that since then, many players would come to give feedback every day. The white-eyed monster gradually got a name and became him. Every time the players gave feedback, they were filled with indignation, but Xiao Wang was unable to give them a reasonable explanation. The key point is that this matter is not Xiao Wang's responsibility. In order to attract the attention of those above me, and also to avoid being criticized less in the future, Xiao Wang also specially created a folder for him, used to collect all players' feedback on him. As long as enough people give feedback, it should attract some attention from above. In 3 days, this folder will probably be 10G. What Xiao Wang didn't know was that his prediction was still a little too conservative. The news of the dissolution of the Yuan Guild quickly spread throughout the server. Their disbandment also confirmed the title of Aaron's live broadcast room. Him faked his death, Yuan Guild was wiped out. Originally, the players were a little scared after seeing the scene in the live broadcast room. Although no players' bodies were seen in the live broadcast room at that time, but from the equipment scattered all over the ground and the bases bombed into ruins, we can see how tragic the battle was at that time. Moreover, it is not difficult to see that it is a completely one-sided trend. The people from the Yuan Guild probably don't have any ability to fight back. Originally, players had a certain understanding of his strength, and everyone knew that he was very strong. So basically most players are afraid of his strength. But after this incident, players' fear of him has risen to the spiritual level. Him only fought with players twice in the true sense. One is the Triumphant Guild, and the other is the Cloud Soaring Guild. The endings of both times were eerily similar. The Triumph Guild was disbanded on the spot, and so was the Yuan Guild. Players have also heard that the president and vice president of the Yuan Guild have both quit the game. The Triumph Guild is fine, it's just a guild for individual players. President Xiaopo is just an ordinary person, without strategy or intelligence, he is just a chess piece of him. The dissolution of the Triumph Guild is inevitable. But Yuan Guild is different? Yuan Guild is one of the top 10 guilds. Most players know about Yunli's strength. He is brave, resourceful, and thoughtful. He is the brain of the Yuan Guild. Even someone like Yunli, after only one fight with him, just give up the entire guild and quit the game? Just imagine, a person who started from scratch and ran a guild successfully, and had a lot of fame and prestige, quit the game after that battle. How desperate must he have been to make such a decision? Him pushed him into such a situation that made him make such a decision? When the players thought of this, they all felt a chill. Although they didn't know what exactly happened between Yuan Guild and him. But what they could be sure of was that Yunli must have been extremely desperate at that time. This is really outrageous. I was kicked out of the game. That's Yunli. Yunli has always been the most powerful brain of the Yuan Guild. That's it. Zombies ate your brains. To be honest, although I'm very curious about what happened, I'm a little afraid. Every time something about him happens, it makes people think about it in detail. Rumor has it, him didn't bring any followers with him in this battle. He slaughtered more than 20,000 Yuan people by himself. What is his current strength? Is there anyone from the Yuan Guild who can speak out? I promise I won't laugh at you. I was a member of the Yuan Guild half an hour ago. Him's strength. To be honest, I didn't see it clearly, but from the time he appeared to the time he slaughtered the entire guild, it probably took only 1 minute. 1 minute. It turns out him is so fast, not. I don't understand, but I'm shocked. When the players were discussing enthusiastically, many players from the Yuan Guild came out to commentate. Although they didn't know what happened exactly, they knew the details of the massacre. Unlike the last Triumphant Guild, there was no strategy this time. I don't know how him found his way inside the base. Him didn't waste any time and just left after a burst of criticism. The entire battle lasted less than a minute. Because most of the players are basically the type that will kill them as soon as they see him. So I can't really explain it. But it is precisely this that shocks those players who want to know the details of the battle. Because there are no details in the battle, it is all one-sided slaughter. What on earth has he grown into? Don't you mean that if we avoid him, we will limit his development? What kind of limit is this? Killing more than 20,000 people in 1 minute. I can output tens of millions per minute, so I'm better than him? Funny. You're really fast upstairs. Players have gradually become numb to him's strength. I felt it was okay before, just a little bit strong. After the incident with the Yuan Guild, players once again refreshed their cognition. In the game now, it is estimated that no one will challenge him's prestige anymore. Anyone who goes against him is a complete traitor. Guild of the Wicked? Not. The Eternal Guild headquarters. What? Say that again. Tianheng looked at the guild leaders in shock. The senior executives were all feeling uneasy at this moment. Him is indeed not dead. The Yuntang guild has been disbanded. Yunli and Yunfen have both quit the game. I heard that it only took him 1 minute to kill Yuntang guild. Boss, what should we do now? We have captured his little brother, will he come looking for us? Boss, say something. When Tianheng heard the news, he sat down on the ground. This news was undoubtedly a bolt from the blue for him. After cheering himself up, Tianheng immediately opened Yang Hui's chat box. Boss, him is not dead. What should I do now? Boss, say something. Tianheng was also panicked at this moment. Originally, he and Yang Hui had a good plan to conquer 007 and dominate the entire game. But I didn't expect that him was not dead. Moreover, him is stronger than the last time he triumphed over the guild. This is when he is not controlling the monster. Tianheng was naturally worried that him would come to him because of 007. Yang Hui just received the news that him was not dead. He was always calm, but now he was a little panicked. He immediately sent a message to Kang Long. How's it going? Kang Long's reply gave Yang Hui a glimmer of hope. There is progress. TNT's damage is much higher than the players. I should be able to slowly kill it, but it will take some time. After Yang Hui gave the order, Kang Long tried to continue fighting the dragon using the plan given by Yang Hui. I didn't expect there would be any progress. TNT can indeed cause considerable damage to the Ender Dragon, but it is slightly more difficult to implement. Players must get close to the Ender Dragon when it flies down, escape the dragon's breath, and then place TNT to ignite it. Basically, if a group of people gather together, the number of people who can accomplish this operation is very small. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 people can succeed. But the amount of blood caused by the explosion is indeed much more considerable than that caused by cutting with a sword. Once you find the pattern, it's only a matter of time to kill the Ender Dragon. Yang Hui finally breathed a sigh of relief after hearing Kang Long's news. Okay, get rid of it as soon as possible. The reason why Yang Hui did not report back to Tianheng first was that he asked about Kang Long's situation first. Mainly because things like the Ender Dragon are really rare. And it seems that there is only one game world. The Ender Dragon is not like a him, it is a boss. And he is the boss who is sealed in the end of the world and rules the end of the world. Yang Hui has played so many games and is quite knowledgeable about them. Generally speaking, the things dropped by dragon boss-like creatures are definitely not bad. Moreover, many dragon bosses will drop dragon eggs. Maybe this boss is the same. In general games, dragon eggs can be hatched and then raised as pets. Since this game has a taming system and a pet system, if the Ender Dragon really drops dragon eggs, there is a high chance that it can be tamed. Although him is indeed amazing. But Yang Hui has also seen the power of the Ender Dragon in the video. It can be said that it is not inferior to him. In this way, even if him comes to kill them, Yang Hui and the others will be able to fight back. This is Yang Hui's backup plan, equivalent to a trump card. However, we will have to wait until the Ender Dragon is killed to know the result. After thinking about this, Yang Hui replied to Tianheng. How's the diamond suit zombie taming going? Tianheng was also a little surprised when he saw Yang Hui's message. There's still no clue. Is it still tamed? If him comes looking for it. Seeing Tianheng being so useless, Yang Hui also sighed. Do you want to hear me tell you to release the diamond suit zombie? Do you think if you let him go, him won't come looking for you? You killed the wolf cub, right? What did the zombie look like when he saw the wolf cub being killed? Even if him doesn't look for you, if you release that zombie, will he still look for you? When he comes to find you with him, what are your chances of winning? Yang Hui's information bombardment instantly woke Tianheng up. What Yang Hui said does make sense. Tianheng is now in a difficult situation. If a diamond-suited zombie is released, he will definitely retaliate, and may even come with him to retaliate. After all, the diamond zombies know the location of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. By then, Tianheng will really have no chance of winning. Eternal Glory will definitely not support them. If you don't let go, there is still a chance of survival. This diamond zombie has been here for so long, but him hasn't found it yet. Maybe they don't have a direct way to communicate. Therefore, it is definitely a safer choice not to let go at the moment. After Tianheng figured it out, he replied to Yang Hui again. So, should we continue to tame diamond suit zombies now? Seeing that Tianheng understood, Yang Hui told him his plan. Of course, speed up the process and tame him. I have a backup plan here, don't worry. If you can really deal with this zombie, and with my backup plan, even if him really comes looking for us, there's no need to worry too much. At worst, you can just use the diamond zombie as a hostage. Yang Hui's idea is that if Kang Long really kills the Ender Dragon and the dragon egg drops, it can be hatched. Then they have a powerful pet. Next, Yang Hui probably guessed that 007 and him are the kind of beings who need to kill players to become stronger. If 007 can be successfully persuaded to defect, Yang Hui can directly send the player to 007. The Eternal Guild has more than 20,000 players, and if they are killed by 007 every day, the growth rate must be astonishing. Maybe he can even surpass him? If Tianheng can successfully persuade 007 to rebel, and feed him for a while, 007's combat power plus the Ender Dragon's combat power should still be able to fight him. Of course, the prerequisite for starting a war is that him takes the initiative to come. If him hadn't come to him, Yang Hui would naturally be happier. After seeing the news about Yonghui, Tianheng felt a little more confident. He also immediately came to the obsidian cage where 007 was imprisoned. I saw a player pouring a bucket of lava directly into the obsidian cage. The magma poured down 007's head. Its body immediately caught fire. Although he couldn't feel the pain, he could feel his life slipping away. Roar. The player brainwashed 007 while watching him being roasted by the lava. If you don't accept my toast, I'll punish you. I told you your master is dead. From now on, obey us and you will be free. You can eat meat, kill players, and raise wolves as you like. Seeing that 007's health was almost running out, another player immediately poured a bucket of water into the obsidian cage and put out the fire. Then he waited quietly for 007's health to recover. Then continue to cycle the previous actions. The two players' operation was very skillful, and they should have tortured 007 like this for a long time. At this moment, the diamond suit on 007 has disappeared. It seems that the durability of the equipment has been reduced due to the long lava bath. His skin was all burned to charcoal black, but strangely, his skin was well preserved and was not burned. Even stranger was the fact that a black collar tied around his wrist had never been burned. Seeing the player's behavior, Tianheng shook his head. It seems that simple torture has no effect on 007. After all, he is a zombie and should have no sense of pain. Tianheng looked at 007's wrist, thought for a moment, and immediately came up with an idea. Then he instructed the player next to him. Try to tame some wolf cubs. Remember, dye all their collars black. Then put the wolf cub in and attack it. Tianheng also saw through 007's thoughts. Small bugs are undoubtedly very important to 007. So if you want to tame 007, you must work on this point. Tianheng also deliberately asked players to find the wolf with a black collar in order to stimulate 007. If it doesn't attack the wolf will kill him. If he wants to survive, he has to kill the wolf that enters the cage. But the wolf in the cage looks so much like the little bug, or rather, it's exactly the same. Once this happens, he will think of how little bug died again and again. Over time, his spirit will collapse. Then will be the best time to brainwash. I have to say that Tianheng really knows how to brainwash. He will first torture you until you have a mental breakdown, and then when you are unconscious he will instill the thoughts he wants in you. In this kind of mentally ill situation, there is indeed a chance of successful brainwashing. However, this method only applies to thinking creatures. If 007 was just an ordinary zombie, no matter how much Tianheng brainwashed him, it would be useless. Unless the data is tampered with. But 007 happens to be a thinking being, so this method might actually work. After hearing Tianheng's words, the players immediately began to implement them. Although no wolf cubs have been found near the Eternal Guild, it is actually not difficult to get one. The Eternal Guild has the strength. If they ask other guilds for two, and train them for a while, they will soon have a large group. Although the speed of breeding animals in the game is not as fast as in the original MC, a wolf cub can basically be bred in 1 hour. But this speed is enough. Less than 6 hours had passed since Tianheng's order was issued. There were already a dozen wolf cubs in the guild. The wolf cub also immediately began to stand by and work. At this moment, inside the obsidian cage, the wolf cub wearing a black collar entered the cage. 007, who had been slumped in the corner of the cage, immediately stood up. Seeing the wolf cub wearing a black collar in front of him, 007 seemed to be touched and let out a few whimpers from his throat. Roar. Monsters have their own ways of identifying each other. Although the wolf in front of him wearing a black collar looks exactly like the little bug, but 007 knew very well that it was not a minor bug. Although he knew this clearly, the appearance of the wolf cub in front of him reminded him again of the way Little Bug fell into his arms. The blood of Little Bug flowing in his hand, the touch of Little Bug's tongue touching his cheek for the last time. Little Bug wagged his tail as hard as he could, and the last temperature slowly disappears. He naturally also remembered how he felt when he swallowed the Little Bug. The smell of blood, the pain in his left chest that was about to explode, and the heavy feeling of the small bug in his stomach. He might forget many things in his life, but this is something he will never forget. Roar, roar. He kept roaring miserably, but the sound sounded like crying. Just when 007 was filled with grief and anger, the wolf with a black collar in front of him rushed over and bit 007's leg. 007's health also dropped a little with this bite. Roar. 007 subconsciously prepared to resist, but dropped his raised hand in midair. There were many emotions in his eyes. There is anger, sadness, and more importantly, reluctance. Even though he knew that the wolf in front of him was not a small bug, even though the wolf attacked him, but he still couldn't bear it. He knew that the little bug was gone and he would never encounter another little bug again. But he didn't want the wolf in front of him, who looked exactly like Little Bug, to die, because he didn't want to experience that heart-wrenching pain again and again. The wolf with the black collar never stopped attacking 007, but 007 never fought back. He kept dodging its attacks. But the cage is so small, where can he hide? With the wolf cub's attack again and again, 007's blood volume is getting lower and lower. After a while, 007's health was reduced to a trace. If the wolf cub attacks again, 007 will die immediately. At this moment, the player who was controlling the wolf cub outside the cage was also a little surprised after seeing this scene. You're not fighting back. The wolf cub's attack is controlled by the player. With Tianheng's order, the player will definitely not let the wolf cub really kill 007. This time it is also to test whether Tianheng's method is effective. Just when the players were worried, 007 finally took action. He seemed to have done a lot of psychological preparation and finally made up his mind. Roar. After a fierce roar, he waved his hand and killed the wolf cub. Killing the wolf cub seemed to have exhausted all the strength in 007's body. Seeing the wolf cub collapse to the ground, 007 also collapsed to the ground. He looked at the wolf cub's body and gasped. The originally dark eyes were tinged with a hint of red. At this moment, he was suffering from great torment in his heart. He had to keep his life because his master had told him so. Stay alive and come see me. The owner also told him to take good care of the wolf cub and return it to him later. He can no longer do this. So he wanted to keep his life and go back to atone for his sins. Even if I suffer torture, I must keep this life to atone my sins. Done. When the players outside the cage saw 007's extremely painful expression after killing the wolf cub, they immediately reported the news to Tianheng. Tianheng also immediately asked the players to continue implementing it. Players did not dare to neglect after receiving the order. Then he put another wolf cub with a black collar in. The end. Hurry, try harder. The Ender Dragon is running out of health. Where's the TNT? Hurry up and get some more TNT. Don't use TNT anymore. Charge forward, even if you have to use your bare hands, you must defeat it. Look at this Ender Dragon, it only has a little health left. Kang Long was so excited that he was almost speechless. It has been 2 FG days since they discovered the Ender Dragon. And it wasn't just 2 days in the game, it was 2 days in reality. That's 48 hours. More than 20,000 players from the Glorious Guild fought the Ender Dragon for 48 hours. Fortunately, their efforts were not in vain. Finally, we have to chew this tough bone. At this moment, the players are as excited as if they had been injected with chicken blood. You have to know that they haven't slept much in the past 2 days, and they go online every day to fight dragons. They were all about to vomit, but it was finally over. Damn it, let's fight. Hurry, hurry, hurry. He's been manipulated, hack him to death. Damn, this is so hard to beat. It would be unreasonable if you don't explode. I'm so excited. I'm about to slay the dragon. There will definitely be a lot of good stuff. As the players swung their weapons with all their might, the Ender Dragon's health finally reached the bottom. I saw its body slowly floating into the air. There seems to be some huge energy inside its body. Rays of purple light were bursting out from its disintegrating body. Then the whole body began to slowly dissipate and disintegrate. Then the whole thing exploded. Bright white light shot out in all directions. The Ender Dragon in the sky was like a brilliant firework, ending its life in such an explosive way. In MC, the Ender Dragon is the final boss, and its death effects are very impressive. And in this holographic mode game, it is even more gorgeous. The whole feeling was a big shock. There is an atmosphere of the fall of a generation of overlords. The players of the Brilliant Guild were stunned upon seeing this. Wow, this death effect is too awesome. Hiss. Looking at this card, it feels like we have really managed to get something incredible. This scene looks like a huge explosion. Rub my hands, I'm ready to pick up the equipment. Following the explosion of the Ender Dragon's corpse, there was a burst of brilliant fireworks. Then I saw green balls of various sizes falling from the sky. Because the distance was quite far, the players couldn't see clearly what it was. But I feel that the green ball that fell down has an inexplicable sense of familiarity. What is this? Why does it look so familiar? Is this what the Ender Dragon dropped? So many. What the hell? Green balls all over the sky? Could this be Dragon Crystal? Does your Dragon Crystal look like this? Although some players couldn't see clearly what the dropped objects falling from the sky were, but they are still looking forward to it. Judging from the number of green balls, the Ender Dragon must have exploded. If this green ball is really something extraordinary, then the Glorious Guild will definitely become prosperous. The players looked up, quietly waiting for the green ball from the sky to slowly float down. After a while, the first green ball finally fell to the ground. Seeing this, Kang Long was the first to run up. After approaching the falling green ball, the green ball was immediately absorbed into Kang Long's body. The experience bar below also rose accordingly. What the hell? When Kang Long saw this, he was completely stunned. Just as Kang Long was stunned, more green balls fell on the ground and on the players. When they realized that the green ball was actually an experience ball, they were all dumbfounded. This is just some experience balls. This is definitely a bug. This is definitely a bug. This is the Ender Dragon, the Lord of the End. This is what exploded. High EQ, Ender Dragon, Lord of the End, low EQ, experience baby. It really made me laugh. Is this reasonable? The players of the Kang Long Guild had been clearing the land for 48 hours, and they originally thought that the Ender Dragon would explode. I didn't expect it to be such a big explosion, with so much swearing. It took Kang Long a long time to come back to his senses. Seeing the experience balls all over the ground, he was so angry that he almost exploded. But he still didn't give up. He didn't believe that the Ender Dragon would just give him some experience. Find it for me. Damn it, there must be something else. Find them all. Everyone in the Brilliant Guild had the same idea as Kang Long. Before Kang Long issued the order, they started looking in advance. Not long after, they actually made a discovery. Boss, found it. It's a dragon egg. Hearing the player's words, Kang Long immediately came over. Sure enough, a black dragon egg was found lying on the end stone. Seeing this, Kang Long's heart beat faster. He immediately came forward and shook it. The dragon egg was immediately absorbed into the backpack. The settings of the dragon egg have been changed a little here. Ender dragon egg can hatch an ender dragon, and the hatched ender dragon is tamed. When Kang Long saw the annotation of the ender dragon egg, his heart beat faster. Nice one. Kang Long immediately told Yang Hui the good news. Yang Hui was also very excited after receiving Kang Long's news. Good. It's just as I expected. Now we just have to wait for good news from Tianheng. After Su Yuan slaughtered the Yuntang Guild's headquarters, he went to the Netherworld and demolished the Wither Skeleton spawning tower. Then the execution device of the Wither Skeleton Tower was moved to the Zombie Piglin Tower. After Su Yuan finished doing all this, he turned on the taming system and kept observing 007's vital signs. The monster's health can be observed in the taming system. At the beginning, 007's health was always stable and there was no problem. But recently, things started to go wrong. Recently, 007's health has been dropping to a very low level, and then slowly recovering. Then his health dropped to a very low level, and then slowly came back up. This cycle repeats itself over and over again. Su Yuan also quickly realized that something was wrong. This change in blood volume is so weird. In fact, when 007's health was almost running out for the first time, Su Yuan was really panicked. Because long before Su Yuan decided to fake his death, he had anticipated that 007 might experience a hardship because of his decision. When Su Yuan saw 007 was at the bottom of his health for the first time, he immediately set out to find 007. Although Su Yuan learned from the Yuntang Guild that 007 was lurking near the Eternal Guild, but Su Yuan didn't know the location of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. So these days Su Yuan has been searching on the map, trying to find the players and then force them to tell him the location of the Eternal Guild. But after searching for a long time, there was still no trace of the players. Fortunately, 007's health did not reach the bottom, but slowly recovered. Su Yuan also breathed a sigh of relief, which meant that 007 had survived. But before Su Yuan could completely relax, 007's health started to slowly decrease again. From then on, the cycle began to repeat itself. This is obviously a problem. And the problem must be with the Eternal Guild. The first words that came to Su Yuan's mind were torture. 007 is a thoughtful person. He would not put himself in danger again and again. The reason why his blood volume changed so much must have been caused intentionally. Moreover, the wolf that Su Yuan gave to 007 was also very brave in the battle against the Triumph Guild. Although there was suspicion of stealing heads, more than 10 players were still killed. It has also awakened its primary consciousness, and Su Yuan can also see it in the taming list. Just before 007's health changed, it died. With all these things happening before our eyes, it is hard not to suspect that this was done by the Eternal Guild. Su Yuan didn't know why the people from the Eternal Guild did this, but Su Yuan absolutely could not forgive their behavior. After all, this matter was caused by Su Yuan, and he will definitely not sit idly by. While thinking, Su Yuan searched for the players' traces on the map. Fortunately, hard work pays off after several hours of searching. Su Yuan finally found the player. On the endless snowfield, several players were chatting and fishing by the lake. Should we join a guild when the time comes? Otherwise it feels like development is too slow. The development of the guild is fast, but if him finds us, we will have to start from scratch. That's true. Hearing what his friends said, Tianli nodded in agreement. It has its pros and cons. Although adding a guild target will make the development faster, the target is large and can be easily discovered by him. Although not adding it will slow down the development, at least him will not be found. Before Tianli could finish his words, he froze in place. Him? Huh? Him what? Have you finished talking? I was talking halfway when my wife was, ahem, why don't you say something? The friends all had their backs to Tianli, and they didn't look up to see Tianli's expression. So I don't know why Tianli suddenly stopped. When Tianli saw him suddenly appear next to his friends, his brain froze. After a moment, he finally came to his senses and screamed. Ah! Tianli's scream immediately scared his friends. AFK? Are you crazy? What are you yelling about? Are you stupid? You're fishing? Be careful not to disturb the nest. Ouch! My fish has taken the bait, but you scared it away. After all the friends complained for a while, they saw Tianli standing there as if he was scared silly. Everyone also noticed the problem. Only then did they turn around and look behind them. I saw a person with eyes emitting blazing white light hanging in the air behind me. When all the friends saw this, they finally understood why Tianli was acting so abnormally. Him. This was the first time that Tianli and his friends saw the real person. I had seen it on the forum before, but the photos and videos about him on the forum were all covered with a layer of mosaics. Before, Tianli and the others didn't quite understand, but those players who had come into contact with him all looked scared to death. At this moment, they finally understood. The real person and the photos and videos are simply not on the same level. Him just stood there without saying a word, but the aura around him was enough to make people feel suffocated and oppressed. Tianli and everyone else didn't dare to move at this moment. They knew very well that resistance was futile and there was no way to escape. When him comes, there is only one way out for them, death. After thinking about this, all the friends had expressions that showed they were ready to die, but as fishermen, they still missed the fish they caught. Can we discuss this and not use the explosive skill? It would be bad if it startles the nest. I'll give you this life, but can you let me put the fish I caught in the box first? After hearing what his friends said, Tianli was dumbfounded. These friends are fishermen in real life, and they still like fishing in the game. But he never expected that when they were about to die, they were actually considering asking him not to use the explosion skill to kill them. The reason was to not scare the nest. At this moment, Su Yuan almost couldn't help laughing when he heard what Tianli and his group said. Fishermen are really awesome people. In their eyes, nothing is more terrifying than being startled. But Su Yuan is not planning to kill them for the time being. The monster tower I made before gave more kill values per second than these ones. This is nothing but a mosquito leg. There is something more important than killing them, which is to find out where the Eternal Guild is headquartered. Tianli and his group were confused when they saw him looking down at them. Just then, him finally spoke. Where is the Eternal Guild? Although the question was a question, him's posture and voice made Tianli and others feel that he was giving an order. When they heard him speak, Tianli and the others were all stunned. Aren't you going to kill us? Did I hear you right? Him is here to ask for directions. Tianli and the others were all unable to react to him's actions. They were in a daze, and saw him frowning, obviously looking impatient. When Tianli and his men saw this, their frozen brains instantly resumed functioning. Don't do it? Don't do it? We can discuss everything. Well, we don't know. The Eternal Guild is a large guild, and the guild's location is generally not disclosed casually. We, the independent players, really don't know. How about we post a message to ask for you? Tianli and his group naturally don't want to die. Now their only hope of survival is to reveal the location of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. But unfortunately, these powerless individuals would definitely not know the location of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. Seeing this, Su Yuan didn't waste any more time with them and directly threw a fireball at the crowd. The fireball exploded immediately after it hit the ground. He killed Tianli and his men instantly with one strike, and then set out on a journey to find the next batch of players. Since there would be no result from the question, Su Yuan would not waste time. Tianli and the others probably weren't lying. A group of individual players certainly wouldn't intentionally help the Eternal Guild conceal their location. While Su Yuan continued to look for players, he opened the taming system again. When he saw 007's condition, he was stunned. Evolved into a higher consciousness. Su Yuan was also a little surprised. 007 was obviously trapped, but he evolved into a higher consciousness. Did he escape? Upon seeing this, Su Yuan immediately began to observe 007's health status. After observing for a while, I became even more confused. 007's health condition remains the same as before, cycling from low health to full health over and over again. This also proves that he should not have escaped. Forget it, once we find it, everything will be clear. Su Yuan didn't think about it anymore. He would find 007 no matter what. Then you will understand what is going on. The Eternal Guild headquarters. Next to the obsidian cage, two players were discussing. I remember this zombie had black eyes before. Now they've turned red. Is it pink eye? You look like a pink eye to me. It's obvious that you've been driven crazy. Okay, then our mission is complete. Well, you go report to the president. I'm going to take a nap. Damn, I'm so tired. After Tianheng discovered that wolf cubs could stimulate 007, players began to put wolf cubs into cages. According to the frequency of players' deployment, there are at least 700 or 800 wolf cubs who died at the hands of 007, if not 1,000. What they don't know is that the wolf cubs tamed by the players can also be counted in the number of players killed by 007. If the player counts 1 kill, the wolf cub counts 0.5. 007 was only a few hundred kills away from evolving into a higher consciousness. It was also because of the feeding from the Eternal Guild that 007 was able to evolve directly to a higher level of consciousness. As soon as 007 evolved into a higher level of consciousness, he felt two forces surging and colliding in his body. Although he could feel that these were two very powerful forces, he didn't know how to use them. As 007 was thinking, the head of a player with the ID Peng Peng suddenly popped out from the window of the cage. Hello. SHH, don't make any noise, I finally found a chance to sneak over here. I have something to tell you. Ever since Little Bug's identity as a spy was exposed, Peng Peng's status has plummeted. Although Peng Peng was not considered a high-level member before, he could be considered an old player of the Eternal Guild. The welfare benefits provided by the guild are quite good. But after the minor bug incident, although the guild did not ask Peng Peng to quit the guild, it still gave Peng Peng some punishment. From then on, Peng Peng directly became the lowest level player. Every day I am responsible for logistical work such as planting crops and feeding livestock. Things like going out to open up new land and getting a pedicure are never Peng Peng's turn. That would be fine, the main thing is that Peng Peng can't stand the sarcasm and ridicule from those players. This happened so long ago, but there are still many players who are holding on to it. It's a harsh statement, they just lost some equipment. That is, it is an iron set, not a diamond set. With the pedicure shed and going down to the mine, a set of iron sets was quickly put together. Why do you have to be so persistent? Faced with the players' relentless sarcasm and deliberate provocations every day, The top management saw it but pretended not to see it, which was tantamount to approving the players' bullying of Peng Peng. The players who bullied Peng Peng became even more arrogant, and gradually the players began to distance themselves from Peng Peng. This is clearly blatant bullying, right? Peng Peng didn't expect that he would be bullied for playing a crappy game? Peng Peng won't stand this. It's better not to stay in this crappy guild? Peng Peng had wanted to quit the guild a long time ago, but he had never taken action. The main reason is that I have suffered so much. If I just quit like this, wouldn't it be a waste of my grievances? In order to make those people in the guild get retribution, Peng Peng thought of 007 first. In a sense, he and 007 are destined to be together. They are all related to small bugs. Peng Peng knows everything Tianheng did to 007. Even the task of breeding black-collared wolves was Peng Peng's responsibility. Peng Peng also used to have a dog. The dog he had raised for 7 years got lost when he was out one day. When he found it again, it had been skinned and bled by the dog meat vendor and hung on the dog head stall. All these years have passed, but Peng Peng still remembers that scene, and he has never dared to keep another one. But after entering the game, a small bug brought him out of the shadows. Unexpectedly, the previous tragedy happened again to Little Bug. It is precisely because of these reasons that Peng Peng really can't stand Tianheng's abnormal behavior. He can't take the dog dealer, what about the owner of the dog meat stall? But in the game, he could no longer tolerate Tianheng's behavior. He must be punished. This can be considered as revenge for my dog and the little bug. After Peng Peng had this idea, he has been secretly paying attention to the developments in the cage. As soon as he got the chance, Peng Peng slipped in immediately. 007 was also stunned when he saw the head suddenly sticking out. 007 was still on guard at first, but the moment the head came closer, however, he could sense the lingering trace of a small bug in this player. Obviously, after Little Bug entered the Eternal Guild, he should have had the most contact with this person. 007 also cannot judge whether the person in front of him is good or bad, but the strange thing at this moment was that he had no defense against this person at all. Although it was the first time I met Peng Peng, I felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity. Seeing this, 007 also sat down quietly. Roar, say. As soon as 007 finished speaking, he was shocked himself. He didn't expect that he could actually express himself, although what he said was still a little vague. Peng Peng was also shocked when he heard this, but he quickly recovered. After all, he was him's younger brother. Him can talk, so it's no big deal if 007 can talk. After thinking about this, Peng Peng slowly sat down and started chatting with 007. I'm Little Bulletin, that is, your wolf's master in the base. I named it Little Bug, I hope you don't mind. Peng Peng didn't know how to describe his identity to 007. After saying this, Peng Peng looked at 007, fearing that he might be unhappy. When he saw that there was no expression on his face, he finally felt relieved. I know everything they did to Little Bug before, but there was nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do. At this point, 007 could clearly feel Peng Peng's inner self-blame. This also shows that Peng Peng's feelings for Xiaobug are real. And 007 had also learned about Peng Peng from Little Bug before. Little Bug still likes Peng Peng very much and doesn't want to hurt him. For this reason, 007 also gave Little Bug a scolding, so that it would not forget its mission. Peng Peng saw that 007 was listening attentively, so he continued. I really can't stand seeing them using small bugs to torture you mentally, but there's still very little I can do. I can only come here to give you some advice. After hearing this, 007 nodded at Peng Peng, motioning him to continue. The most advantageous method for you at the moment is actually for you to give in. They treat you like this just to tame you and make you work for them. Why don't you just take advantage of their trick, just like you sent the little bug to lurk in the first place? The most important thing for you now is to dispel their guard. Once you get out of the cage and become strong enough, you can fight back. What Peng Peng said makes a lot of sense. This is indeed the best solution for 007 to escape from here and take revenge successfully. Just like when he sent Little Bug into the Eternal Guild, only by making the people of the Eternal Guild believe that he had been tamed could he give them a fatal blow at the best moment. Otherwise, the Eternal Guild will continue to use small bugs to torture 007, and 007 will never be able to escape from this obsidian cage. After hearing what Peng Peng said, 007 was thoughtful. He really hadn't thought of what Peng Peng said before. After repeated consideration, Peng Peng's plan is indeed feasible. Good. 007 was sure that Peng Peng had no ill intentions, so he was prepared to accept the advice given by Peng Peng. Peng Peng was so happy to see that 007 agreed. By the way, don't listen to them. Him, your master, that's what we all call him. He's not dead. I'll find a way to let him know you're here. Peng Peng was also afraid that 007 would be brainwashed by the players of the Eternal Guild and believe that him was dead. That's why I told 007 the news. 007 was not surprised to hear the news, even though the people from the Eternal Guild had told him thousands of times that him was dead. But 007 didn't believe it because he could feel that his master was still alive. Peng Peng had just finished speaking when he heard some noise outside. I'm leaving first. Take care of yourself. After saying that, Peng Peng dug 3 steps downwards and filled 1 step back and hit himself. Just as Peng Peng hit himself, Tianheng's voice came from above his head. Already crazy. The dozing player heard Tianheng's voice and stood up with a start. Yes, President. Look, his eyes are all red. After hearing the player's words, Tianheng looked inside the cage. At this moment, 007 seemed to be crazy, BG his head against the wall. Tianheng was also very satisfied when he saw this. Then the next step is to start brainwashing. Tell him that we are his masters, and his orders are to obey our instructions and swear allegiance to us until death. After Tianheng gave orders to the players, he immediately told Yang Hui about the progress of 007's taming. Yang Hui was naturally happy to hear the news. This is God's help to my eternal glory. Not long after Yang Hui received the news from Kang Long, he received the news from Tianheng. Progress on both sides was smooth. Yang Hui has already made arrangements for the Ender Dragon eggs, asking Kang Long and the others to find a way to hatch them as soon as possible. Yang Hui also immediately gave suggestions on Tianheng's side. It should be tamed in no time. After taming it, arrange more players for it to kill. According to my guess, both he and him need to kill players to become stronger. With more than 20,000 of you taking turns delivering several times a day, his development will probably not be much slower than him. After the incident with the Yuntang Guild, Yang Hui has been keeping an eye on him's movements. At present, him probably hasn't found the next batch of players yet. Therefore, as long as 007 is fed properly, his strength should catch up soon. Even if he can't defeat him, there is still the Ender Dragon of the Glorious Guild to back him up. The Ender Dragon is still very powerful, so this 2-on-1 fight should be no problem. After Peng Peng dug 3 parts and filled 1 part, he began to dig slowly underground. He immediately found the tunnel he had dug when he came here, and then returned to his post without anyone noticing. After arriving at his post, Peng Peng immediately opened the forum. Start searching for posts about him. The promise I made to 007 was not just a casual remark. Peng Peng had seen 007's strength before, and it was definitely not as good as him's. Therefore, if you want revenge to be successful, it will be safer if him comes. Peng Peng has also watched Steve's live broadcast before, so he knows that it is currently difficult for him to find players. Furthermore, the location of the Eternal Guild's headquarters is only known to insiders and a few guild leaders, so Peng Peng must spread this news. After searching the word him, more than 1,000 pages of posts immediately came out. This is enough to show how popular him is. Seeing this, Peng Peng immediately sorted them according to the latest release time. Surprised, him actually asked me for directions. Does anyone know where the Eternal Guild is based? I'm asking for him. Can you believe this? Him turned over my card, and he even asked me for information? When Peng Peng saw the titles of these posts, he immediately clicked on them. The content of the posts is surprisingly consistent. Basically, him would suddenly appear beside them or behind them and ask them about the location of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. They all said they didn't know and were then killed. After seeing these posts, Peng Peng's heart beat faster. There's a chance. It was only after seeing the post that Peng Peng realized that him was also looking for 007. This is much easier. Peng Peng only needs to reveal the specific location of the Eternal Guild under these posts, and then find a way to increase the popularity of this post. In this way, more people will know the location of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. And him is obviously looking for players to ask for directions. If he happened to meet someone who had read the post, maybe the player would tell him the address of the Eternal Guild? After thinking about this, Peng Peng immediately began to implement his plan. He was not stupid either. He first made his ID anonymous before replying to those posts. Although if the people from the Eternal Guild wanted to investigate, they would still be able to find out that it was Peng Peng who did it. But by then, him would probably have found him. By that time, none of this will matter. After Peng Peng's operation for several hours, the popularity of those posts finally increased. In addition, more and more people are discovering him. I believe that him will be able to get the address of the Eternal Guild's headquarters soon. Seeing this, Peng Peng finally laughed. It's not that I don't want to report it, but the time has not come yet. Little bug, just wait a moment, I will help you get revenge right away. Time flies, and 2 days have passed in the blink of an eye. 8 days and nights passed in the game. At this moment, Tianheng Guild Square. 007 was seen standing in the center of the square, while the players of Tianheng Guild took off their equipment one by one and lined up in front of 007 to die. In order to help 007 fight faster, Tianheng even gave him an iron sword. Allows him to perform ranged attacks. He really is, I'm crying. Although this time, like last time, it was self-feeding. But at this time, the players' faces were all filled with smiles. Kill more, and try to overtake him. Don't be soft-hearted, big brother zombie. Do you see my head? Smash it here. Hey, why don't you just give in earlier? Life would be so comfortable now. There are all these young handsome guys coming to your doorstep. Peng Peng, who was feeding pigs nearby, saw this scene and his hand holding hula bei couldn't help but tremble. The whole plan is going perfectly. Now we just have to wait for good news from him. Su Yuan never gave up looking for 007, even though he noticed these days that 007's health was no longer the same as before. But he still didn't relax. At this moment, no matter what situation 007 is in, Su Yuan wants to find out. Because 007 not only awakened a higher level of consciousness, but also continuously provided himself with kill points. It's like this every day. Up to now, after 007 broke through the advanced consciousness, in such a short time, the number of players he killed has reached more than 40,000. This number is a bit wrong. These days, Su Yuan has also learned something about the Eternal Guild. They are now a level 2 guild. There are only more than 20,000 people. Even if 007 escaped and massacred them all, the maximum number of kills he could achieve would be only over 20,000. But 007 killed so many in such a short time without losing any blood at all. This made Su Yuan suspicious. Isn't he being instigated to rebel? When Su Yuan thought of this, a figure immediately emerged in his mind, that is, the Drowned King. But when I think about it, it seems a little impossible. Although Su Yuan had felt that 007 gave people a very familiar feeling before, it was definitely not the Drowned King. He has nothing in his personality like the Drowned King. 007 is very calm and he is also very loyal. This is why Su Yuan began to become curious about what 007 had experienced. I guess he must have had a wonderful time these days. After thinking about this, Su Yuan also stepped up his search. On the endless grassland, several players were discussing the recent content in the forum. It seems like him is causing trouble for Yonghui Guild recently. Yeah, I heard from the grapevine that the Eternal Guild has instigated him to rebel. What the hell? Which one? The diamond suit zombie. Yeah, I heard they are training that zombie. That zombie seems very strong. What's the point of inciting rebellion? With his strength, he can kill more than 20,000 people in Yuntang in 1 minute. The players were chatting, when suddenly one of them saw a figure floating in the sky in the distance. The players recognized him immediately. What the hell? That's him. After they found him, they immediately began to take off their equipment, dug a deep pit, put down the box, and put the equipment in. Then he shouted at him. Hello? Him? Can you hear me? Him? The location of Yonghui Guild's headquarters is 241735,1140. I heard that your little brother was recruited. Go and save him. Well, we'll take the risk of telling you this location. Would you consider taking us in as your subordinates? This group of players are individual players, and they are just there to watch the fun and not mind getting involved. That's why I was so excited after seeing him. They also learned from the post that him had been looking for the Eternal Guild recently. Although there is an anonymous player commenting a coordinate under each post. But the players don't know the authenticity of the coordinates. But no matter what, they still passed this information to him with the mentality of giving it a try. Him turned around and glanced at the group of players. The players were ready to die at any time, but they didn't expect that him just looked at them deeply. The next second, he disappeared from the spot. What the hell? Why did he suddenly disappear? Is he planning a sneak attack? Wake up, how strong are you that you need him to launch a sneak attack? He should be going to that coordinate? Looks like there's going to be something interesting to watch. Even if there's a good show, we probably won't be able to see it, right? The Eternal Guild won't broadcast it live, right? Hurry up and post? We are the only lucky ones who encountered him and didn't get killed. Tianheng worked hard to train 007 for many days. Although there has been no qualitative change in 007's strength, it has improved a lot compared to before. However, these strengths are mainly reflected in the physical body. 007's physical fitness is much better than before, and his entire physique is much stronger than before. The blood volume also increased dramatically. The wolf cub was able to bite him before, but now the wolf cub's attack was just like a tickle to him. During this period, Tianheng also sent players to test his attacks. A player holding an iron sword can only do a few points of damage to him. Although 007 no longer has the diamond suit at this moment, his body has become strong enough to become the diamond suit. And 007's ability to control monsters has also been greatly enhanced. The number of monsters he can now control has reached more than 1,000. And he is also able to tame those monsters. Although Tianheng was quite satisfied with the result, he was still a little puzzled. Why didn't it evolve into any skills? You know, him has a lot of skills. Explosions, teleportation, stealth, throwing potions, and more. Apart from the enhancement of his physical body and his own strength, 007 has not evolved any skills from beginning to end. This is also a point that Tianheng is more worried about. Without skills, no matter how strong your body is, you will be manipulated by him. Seeing this, Tianheng had no choice but to increase the feeding efficiency. I just hope 007 can evolve his skills soon. Tianheng was thinking about this when his thoughts were interrupted by a player who hurriedly ran into the room. Boss. Oh no. On the forum, many people on the forum are saying that him is asking around for the location of our guild. When Tianheng heard the player's words, he jumped up immediately. What? As soon as he stood up, Tianheng seemed to have thought of something and sat down again with a sigh of relief. Tianheng was indeed worried that him would come looking for him. But after hearing the news, I felt relieved. Tianheng originally thought that him and 007 would have some bond, but he didn't expect that he was overthinking. Since him is asking around about the guild's location, it means he doesn't know where 007 is. After thinking about this, Tianheng's emotions gradually calmed down. Why are you panicking? Let him look for it. No one knows where our guild headquarters is. After Tianheng finished speaking, he prepared to send the players away. The players' words hit Tianheng on the head like a bolt from the blue. Someone anonymously posted the location of our guild headquarters. What? Tianheng's butt hadn't even warmed up yet when it bounced up again. After hearing this, Tianheng immediately opened the forum. At this moment, Tianheng didn't even need to search the forum specifically. As soon as he opened it, all he saw were posts about him looking for the location of the Eternal Guild. Click on any one of them and you can see the coordinates of the guild posted by an anonymous player pinned to the top of the comments. The more Tianheng read these posts, the more panicked he became. Although he knew that him would not hack into the network, he was able to get information from the players. In order to save their lives, those individual players will definitely tell the coordinates of the guild headquarters. When Tianheng thought of this, he became extremely panicked. I immediately sent a message to Yanghui. Boss, him is looking for the location of our guild. At this moment, Yanghui is at the headquarters of the Brilliant Guild. After Kang Long said that he had harvested the dragon eggs, Yanghui brought a group of people and rushed to the headquarters of the Brilliant Guild. Although the Eternal and Glorious Guilds both have powerful weapons, but it is obvious that Yanghui is more interested in the Ender Dragon. During the days he was here, he also helped Kang Long a lot. After getting the Ender Dragon egg, Kang Long didn't know how to hatch it. It was Yanghui who provided the solution of placing it on the lava, which allowed the Ender Dragon egg to be hatched. The Ender Dragon is still in its infancy at this moment, but its size is already as big as an adult cow. It's just that the appetite is too big. The people of the Kang Long Guild prepare a lot of animal steaks every day to feed the baby Ender Dragon. However, the Kang Long Guild can still afford it. Yanghui has also been paying attention to the growth of the Ender Dragon. Although the Ender Dragon is still in its infancy, its scales have gradually begun to harden. Yanghui also asked someone to conduct experiments. Even for a young Ender Dragon, bows and arrows cannot break its defense. It's just a little bit weak against close-range attacks. However, Yanghui is not worried about this problem at all. He just needs to wait until it grows up. Next, Yanghui also experimented with letting other monsters attack the Ender Dragon. The experimental results gave Yanghui some peace of mind. Even if the Ender Dragon is still in its infancy, other monsters cannot hurt it at all. Although the Ender Dragon is very powerful, Yanghui still has some doubts in his heart. Although monsters cannot hurt the Ender Dragon, Yanghui is still not sure whether him can hurt it. Logically speaking, him should also be considered a monster. Yanghui naturally couldn't use him for experiments, so he focused his attention on 007. In a sense, 007 and him belong to the same type of monster. 007 can't hurt the Ender Dragon at all. Then him probably can't do it either, so this battle is a sure thing? After thinking about this, he immediately replied to Tianheng Dao. Why are you panicking? Didn't I tell you I have a trump card? How strong are the zombies now? Tianheng responded immediately after receiving the message. Except for the fact that he hasn't evolved any skills, his body and strength are already very strong. Boss, what's your trump card? The guild's location has been exposed. He might come to find us soon. Tianheng was also very anxious. Yanghui had always said that he had a trump card but he never told him what it was. After seeing Tianheng's reply, Yanghui thought for a while and said to Kang Long beside him, "Gather everyone and follow me to the Eternal Guild. It looks like a big battle is about to begin." Kang Long also heard from Yanghui about Tianheng taming 007. But Kang Long naturally looks down on 007. No matter how powerful he is just a zombie minion of him. And I heard that it hasn't evolved any skills yet. But the Ender Dragon bred by your own guild is different. It took 48 hours of hard fighting with the Ender Dragon to defeat the Azure Dragon. Kang Long knows the strength of the Ender Dragon best. Kang Long is very confident that the Ender Dragon is definitely stronger than him. The Ender Dragon is currently in its juvenile form. If it can be grown to an adult state, then him is definitely no match for the Ender Dragon. Although Kang Long didn't want to get involved in the affairs of the Eternal Guild, Yanghui had already taken the initiative to step forward. He had no way to refuse. After thinking about this, Kang Long asked Xiang Yanghui, "Boss, how many people do you want to take with you?" Yanghui thought for a moment and said, "Leave 1,000 to 2,000 low-level players to maintain the guild's logistics, and take the rest with you." Yanghui brought nearly 30,000 people with him this time, including most of the members of the guild. In fact, he had already prepared for battle. After all, 007 from Tianheng is like a time bomb. You never know when him will come to you. Yanghui had never been sure before, and didn't know what would drop after Kang Long defeated the Ender Dragon. In fact, even after knowing that the Ender Dragon would drop the Ender Dragon egg, Yanghui still didn't want to fight this battle. Yanghui actually doesn't want to provoke him. Yanghui also knew about the previous events of the Yuntang Guild. Yanghui knew Yunli, and he was also very clear about Yunli's character. Even someone like Yunli was beaten out of the game, which is enough to show how difficult him is. But at this moment, him is already looking for the location of the Eternal Guild. Even if Yanghui wants to sit back and do nothing, it has to take care of it now. Once this happens, the guild's reputation will be lost. So this battle must be fought. Fortunately, the Ender Dragon is quite powerful, so we are confident of winning this battle. After Kang Long was ready, he and Yanghui immediately set out on the journey to the Eternal Guild's headquarters. At this moment, on the forum, a post titled "Come and See the Only Man in This Game Who Met Him Peacefully" became popular. The content of the post is very simple. It is about a group of people who met him, and told him the location of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. Then this time him actually let them go. After seeing this post, players immediately began to make all kinds of speculations. What the hell? The op is such a ruthless person, he really told him the coordinates. AFK, you beat me to it. I was thinking I'd tell him next time I see him. You are so brave, op. If these coordinates are real, will the Eternal Guild let you go? It's the eternal glory that comes to you. What are you afraid of? Him has already gone there. Who cares about the Eternal Guild or the Eternal Glory Guild? Aren't they all slaughtered anyway? That's not necessarily true. According to gossip, Eternal Glory is gathering its forces and heading towards the Eternal Guild. Him is actually looking for his diamond suit zombie subordinate. It seems that the zombie was locked up by the Eternal Guild. I heard that it has been tamed. Ah, they rebelled? No wonder him was so anxious to find them. It feels like there's another big battle going on. I just wonder if they'll broadcast it live. I really want to watch it. Probably not. Such a large guild will not broadcast live unless they are absolutely sure. Take Yuan Guild for example. Players can already know about the feud between the Eternal Guild and him by just browsing the forum. After all, there is no impenetrable wall in this world. The players also joined in the fun with a nonchalant attitude, as if it had nothing to do with them. What is certain is that there will be a battle between the Eternal Guild and him. But players are not sure whether the Eternal Guild will broadcast this battle live. And players heard that him's diamond suit zombie minions were turned against by the Eternal Guild. It would be a shame if this battle was not broadcast live. In recent days, Peng Peng has been paying attention to the developments in the forum. After learning that some players had already passed on the guild coordinates, Peng Peng was extremely happy. My layout was quite successful. I believe that him will come soon. Seeing that players all commented that they wanted to watch the live broadcast of this battle, Peng Peng really wanted to reply to them. This battle will definitely be broadcast live? But he couldn't reply. He had to stay in the guild until the day of the war. He wants to broadcast the entire battle live and bring disgrace to the Eternal Guild? It would be best if we could quit the game like Yuan Guild did. After Su Yuan got the coordinates of the Eternal Guild, he immediately started heading there. Originally, this coordinate was very close to the previous coordinate of the Yuan Guild. But due to the searching these days, the distance is getting farther and farther. Even if we fly and teleport, it will probably take 2 days. During this period, 007 provided Su Yuan with about 5 million kill points. Su Yuan also reluctantly spent 2.5 million kill points to upgrade his teleportation skill to level 7. Teleport LV7 can teleport to a coordinate location. The coordinate location cannot exceed 3000 range of itself, and can carry items or organisms within a 30x30 range. Cooling time 3s. Consume 2 million kill points to upgrade. Originally Su Yuan thought that after upgrading he would be able to teleport to the coordinates without any restrictions, but after seeing the upgraded skills, he realized that he was overthinking. According to this development, it is estimated that it will take a maximum level to be able to teleport to the coordinate point without restrictions. So Su Yuan no longer wasted his kill points and could only travel slowly. Besides, Su Yuan is not as anxious as before. 007's current condition is very stable, and he is not losing blood like before. It means it is safe now. After more than 10 hours of travel, Yang Hui and his group finally arrived at the Eternal Guild headquarters. Fortunately, the headquarters of the Glorious Guild and the Eternal Guild are not far away. There were no mountains or rivers blocking the way. Basically, you can walk all the way here without taking any detours. Yang Hui and his group did not forget to feed the baby Ender Dragon while they were on their way. At this time, the Ender Dragon is already in its teenage years, and its size has grown dramatically. It is more than 50 blocks long and more than 20 blocks high. The dragon scales also became darker, shinier, and tougher. Even if an iron sword were to strike down, it would only leave a slight scratch on the dragon's scales. A juvenile Ender Dragon is already able to fly, and can breathe dragon breath like an adult Ender Dragon. It's just that what it spit out is more like dragon phlegm. It can spit out but not much, just a small mouthful. As soon as Yang Hui and his men arrived at the Eternal Guild, all the players' attention was attracted by the Ender Dragon. What the hell? Is this the ultimate killer the boss mentioned? Hiss. Dragons? Our guild has tamed all the dragons. Wow, isn't this dragon so damn handsome? Awesome, we've even got the dragons. Looks like we're going to get serious with him this time. Yang Hui did a good job of keeping the secret, so the players of the Eternal Guild never knew that the Ender Dragon had been tamed by the Azure Dragon. Although they don't know that the Ender Dragon is the boss of the End, all players who have played the game know it. The dragons in the game have absolute dominance. Although this Ender Dragon doesn't look very big, its overall appearance looks very domineering. The scales on its body glow black, and it has a pair of eyes that emit dark purple light. Although the Ender Dragon is still in its youth, it already has the demeanor of a dominant overlord. At this moment, Tianheng was shocked when he saw the Ender Dragon hovering in the air. So this is the trump card that the boss was talking about. Before seeing the Ender Dragon, Tianheng still had no confidence. Tianheng now has fewer worries. Although we don't know the strength of the Ender Dragon, since someone like Yang Hui can use it as a trump card, its strength must be strong. Yang Hui and the others had traveled for such a long time, and after they arrived they had no intention of resting. He immediately ordered Tianheng Dao, get that zombie out and let it compete with the Ender Dragon. Although the Ender Dragon is indeed very powerful, Yang Hui is not sure whether monsters like him can hurt it. That's why we are so anxious to let them compete. After hearing this, Tianheng immediately asked his subordinates to bring 007 up. Only then did Yang Hui and the others see the true appearance of 007. Its skin is grey-black, its entire body is extremely strong, and its eyes emit a strange red light. In his hand he held an iron sword. There's nothing wrong with holding the iron sword, but what's strange is that the way he holds the iron sword is very special. Most people use swords with the blade facing forward. However, 007 held the iron sword with the blade facing backwards. It doesn't feel like holding an iron sword, but more like holding a dagger. Although he is not very big, the aura he exudes is not weak. It already looks a bit like a little devil. After seeing the appearance of 007, Yang Hui was also very satisfied. Good. Yang Hui didn't say much, and directly let Kang Long control the Ender Dragon to land on the ground. The Ender Dragon flapped its wings and slowly descended. The flapping of the huge wings made the wind around them whistle. The surrounding players were also blown back a few steps by the wind. After the Ender Dragon landed, 007 stood not far away opposite it. He just glanced at the Ender Dragon, but there was no trace of fear on his face. He also looked the Ender Dragon up and down, as if he was thinking about something. Yang Hui was surprised by 007's reaction. Generally speaking, lower creatures like this should be afraid of dragons. And 007 was conscious, and he didn't even flinch when he saw such a powerful existence. Interesting. Yang Hui had to admit that this conscious monster was indeed extraordinary. Yang Hui is also looking forward to the match between 007 and the Ender Dragon more and more. After Yang Hui nodded, Tianheng immediately gave the order to attack. Attack. 007 arrived in front of the Ender Dragon in one leap and jumped more than 10 blocks high with one jump. Then he swung his arm, and the sword in his hand immediately stabbed towards the Ender Dragon's eyes. Yang Hui was stunned when he saw this. What the hell? Stop, stop, stop. Yang Hui never thought that 007 would attack the Ender Dragon in this way. He originally thought that 007 would attack the Ender Dragon's body, but he didn't expect that he would analyze the Ender Dragon's weakness so quickly and run directly towards its eyes. At this moment, seeing 007's actions, all the players were shocked. What the hell? Is this zombie so smart? Damn, he even knows how to attack the weak points. The scales on the Ender Dragon are hard to deal with, so I'll deal with the softest eyes first. You are worthy of being him's #1 little brother. Now he's our #1 little brother. Fortunately, Kang Long had been controlling the Ender Dragon and saw what 007 did. Kang Long immediately controlled the Ender Dragon to raise its head. The sword in 007's hand did not pierce the Ender Dragon's eyes, but slashed along its neck, followed by a sharp and loud swish sound. There was a huge crack on the scales of the Ender Dragon's neck. You know, players can only make a slight scratch on the Ender Dragon's scales by attacking it with an iron sword. And 007 directly split the scales, which is enough to show how terrifying 007's power is. However, although 007 broke the dragon scales of the Ender Dragon, the depth was not enough to cut the Ender Dragon. Seeing that the Ender Dragon was not injured, Yang Hui wiped the sweat off his forehead and hurriedly gave orders. Don't let it get a weapon? Try it with your bare hands. Yang Hui was also a little worried that another accident might happen. Seeing this, Tianheng immediately ordered 007 to lay down his weapon. Tianheng's order had been issued for a long time, but 007 remained unmoved. Tianheng couldn't help but feel a little confused, and was also afraid of being embarrassed, so he raised his voice and said it again. At this moment, Peng Peng, who was hiding in the crowd, suddenly coughed a few times. 007 then reluctantly put down his weapon. Then he attacked the Ender Dragon with his bare hands. After what happened just now, Tianheng specifically emphasized to 007 not to attack the eyes. 007 attacked again and punched the Ender Dragon's scales twice. Although 007 is very strong, the scales of the Ender Dragon are as hard as steel. It does no harm to the Ender Dragon at all. Seeing this, Yang Hui cheered excitedly. Good. It seems that he can't break the Ender Dragon's defense with his bare hands. The reason why Yang Hui was so happy was because he knew that him had no weapons. Although he would make armor and weapons for his younger brothers, he himself did not seem to have the habit of carrying weapons. And according to Yang Hui's observation, him doesn't seem to be a power type. To put it simply, the reason why 007 was able to split the scales of the Ender Dragon is because he is very strong. Him's previous appearances were mainly based on skills. Yang Hui had tried it before, and the skills of other monsters were just tickling the Ender Dragon. Pose no threat. So when fighting against him, Yang Hui only needs to protect the Ender Dragon's eyes. After seeing the battle between 007 and the Ender Dragon, Yang Hui became more confident about this battle. Although 007's action just now really scared Yang Hui, his action undoubtedly helped Yang Hui. Otherwise, if him attacks the Ender Dragon's eyes like 007, it will be difficult to deal with. After Yang Hui thought of this, he immediately gave orders to the players. Keep feeding the Ender Dragon and this zombie so they can grow quickly. I don't think we have much time left. Time flies and a day goes by quickly. With the feeding of the Eternal Guild, the Ender Dragon has now grown into a young adult and should be not far from adulthood. The size and strength of the Ender Dragon have also increased significantly. At this time, the size of the Ender Dragon is almost the same as that of an adult Ender Dragon. It is more than 100 blocks long and more than 50 blocks high. The dragon scales also became extremely tough, shiny black, and emitted a purple halo. 007 is also growing rapidly under the feeding of the Eternal Guild. His body is also stronger and his strength is terrifying. Now, one punch from it can make a dent in a dragon's scales. However, he still hasn't evolved any skills. During the time Yang Hui was here, he had been training his troops in the base. Although there are two powerful weapons, the Ender Dragon and 007, players must definitely participate in this battle. We can't put all our hopes on these two monsters. Tian Heng is discussing with the senior executives how to make 007 evolve his skills. I saw a player rushing in and then reporting, "Boss, the player who posted the guild's coordinates anonymously has been found. It's Peng Peng." After hearing what the players said, the top executives were all filled with indignation. What the hell? It turned out to be him. What kind of people are like their wolves? A whole family of traitors. An ungrateful wolf raises an ungrateful wolf. How cool. I've said it before, just kick him out, otherwise there wouldn't be so much trouble. After hearing this, Tian Heng immediately felt that the name was very familiar, but he couldn't remember who it was. Only after hearing the discussion among the senior management did he remember it. However, Tian Heng was not very angry. After all, he now had the Ender Dragon and 007 as his trump cards, so it would not be a big deal even if him came. Tian Heng didn't want to waste time on such a person, so he thought about it and said, "Just kill him first, then kick him out of the guild. Don't waste your time on this kind of person." In fact, even Tian Heng couldn't do anything to Peng Peng. Peng Peng is a player and can be resurrected even if he dies. The only thing you can do is to take away all his equipment and supplies, and then kick him out of the guild to vent your anger. It is impossible for Tian Heng to cause trouble for Peng Peng through the internet cable. After hearing Tian Heng's words, the players immediately found Peng Peng. Several players dug a deep pit and filled it with lava. Then he grabbed Peng Peng and pushed him down. In fact, when Peng Peng was taken away, he knew exactly what happened. After entering the magma pool, Peng Peng stopped struggling and allowed the boiling magma to burn himself. At this moment, a black shadow flashed over from the distance. The players standing around the lava pit were killed with just 2 bangs. When Peng Peng saw this, he was shocked. The black shadow turned out to be 007. He didn't know where 007 came from, but it was obvious that 007 wanted to save him. But Peng Peng couldn't let him do that. 007 had been lying in ambush for so long, and he couldn't let his flaws be exposed because of him. Just as 007 was about to kill the third player, Peng Peng shouted loudly, "You are not human. Even a zombie knows to protect the players of our Eternal Guild? How dare you do this to me?" The remaining players were a little surprised to see 007's behavior, but after hearing Peng Peng's words, they finally understood. He said hurriedly, "This is the order from Boss Tian Heng. Have you forgotten that you must obey Boss Tian Heng?" Upon seeing this, 007's outstretched hand also stopped in midair. After looking at Peng Peng deeply, he left. Seeing that 007 had calmed down, Peng Peng finally breathed a sigh of relief. Although 007's action just now was very risky, Peng Peng was still very happy. It's funny to say, he didn't expect that after playing the game for so long, a monster would care about him more than the players in the Eternal Guild. Damn it, I might as well follow him and become a monster. After Peng Peng's death, he was also kicked out of the guild. But this did not interrupt Peng Peng's revenge plan. After Peng Peng was resurrected, he immediately rushed to the vicinity of the Eternal Guild. Then he started searching around for the best live broadcast location. Before, Peng Peng was worried about what would happen when him came and started the live broadcast battle. What if he was killed in seconds by him in the middle of the battle? Now you don't have to worry about this problem, you just need to find the best position. Peng Peng just found a good spot not long ago. Suddenly, a figure was seen floating in the air outside the entrance of the Eternal Guild's headquarters. I don't know when it appeared. Peng Peng didn't even see it just now. Although this person had his back to Peng Peng knew without a doubt that the only person who could suddenly appear here and float in the air could be that person. The devil him. Peng Peng was so happy to see him appear outside the Eternal Guild's headquarters. "Him, you are finally here." Peng Peng opened the forum and started the live broadcast without saying a word. Him descends upon the Eternal Guild, a war is about to begin. Because the title was so attractive, many players clicked in immediately. At this moment, him is facing away from the live broadcast room, and opposite him is a towering building. Many areas have been planned next to the building, including livestock areas, farmland, wells, etc. The building is surrounded by a 40-block high wall. There are also outposts on the city walls, and the walls are covered with flags. These flags combine to form the logo of the Eternal Guild. Seeing the scenes in the live broadcast room, the players were all very excited. What the hell? Him really went there. This Eternal Guild headquarters is so magnificent. I'll take a screenshot first, it will probably become ruins soon. Hiss, it's only been a short time, and him can fly already. I don't know how strong he is now, I'm looking forward to it. What the hell? What the hell? Look what I found. There's actually a live broadcast. I'm going to forward this. Such a wonderful live broadcast must be shared. The players all wanted to watch the fun and immediately heated up the live broadcast room. This has also attracted more and more players to pay attention to this live broadcast room. At this moment, at the Eternal Guild headquarters, the player standing guard at the outpost was feeling sleepy when suddenly a figure jumped out from the air in front of him. The player was immediately scared to death. When he saw the man's appearance clearly, goosebumps instantly covered his whole body. Him. The player was stunned for a long time before he finally realized his mission. They immediately opened the guild channel. Him is coming. Him is coming. Attention, this is not a drill. Him is really here. Yang Hui also made a lot of preparations for this battle. In order to prevent him from launching sneak attacks, he asked the players to move around deep underground. Players have not been allowed to go out and explore these days. Furthermore, the font color of the players standing guard at the sentry post in the guild channel is also specially set to red. This makes it more obvious. As soon as the players on Sentinel Port released the news, the guild channel exploded. What the hell? It's here so soon. Hiss. Even though I have two powerful monsters backing me up, I'm still a little scared. What's going on? Everyone, don't panic, follow the boss's instructions. Yang Hui had already expected him to come, but he didn't expect him to come so soon. He glanced at the young Ender Dragon standing beside him and couldn't help but feel a little worried. If the Ender Dragon grows to adulthood, Yang Hui will have absolute confidence in this battle. But he is still a young man now, and his strength is definitely not as strong as that of an adult Ender Dragon. But now the arrow has been drawn and the time has come to shoot. Seeing this, Yang Hui had no choice but to go ahead. Yang Hui immediately gathered all the players in the underground square. I founded Eternal Glory 10 years ago and have launched countless games. I believe there are many old players who have followed us all the way and witnessed our growth. In the next 5 years, no matter which game we enter, I, Eternal Glory, will have the final say. We are second, who dares to be first? Players in the game are also called the fourth calamity. No matter if you are a god descended from heaven or a supreme dragon, as long as you dare to have health bars, I will knock you down. I don't know much about him, I just want to know if he has a health bar? It has to be said that Yang Hui, as the president of the first guild, is quite good at boosting morale. Just a few words built up the players' confidence and they became excited instantly. There's a health bar, but it's much shorter than the Ender Dragon's. I guess his health bar is about the same as mine? Ha 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 ha. Boss, that's right. What is the fourth calamity? As long as you have health, we are your father. So what if you have ideas? Your little brother also has ideas. Hasn't he been turned against us? Let's go, let's beat him. We need to let him know that we, the players, have the final say in this game. At this moment, each of the players seemed to be injected with chicken blood and were full of fighting spirit. Yang Hui was also very satisfied with the players' performance. Brothers, this battle is a battle to make you famous. Oh, I forgot. We don't need to be famous anymore. Then this battle will be a battle to remove the name him from the game. Following Yang Hui's command, all the players rushed into the excavated tunnel. The players moved quickly in the tunnel and soon reached the ground. Players appeared around the base one after another. There were more than 60,000 players, surrounding him in the middle. Each of the players was fully armed. The players in the first few rows were all wearing full body armor and holding iron shields. Some players even had diamond swords. Although the players in the back row are not wearing full sets of iron armor, they are only missing a few pieces. This is enough to show the strength of the first guild. After the players were in position, a dragon roar was heard in the sky. Yang Hui and Kang Long rode the Ender Dragon into the sky. After the Ender Dragon took off and circled in the sky, it immediately arrived on the opposite side not far from him. The players in the live broadcast room were all dumbfounded when they saw this. It was the first time they saw the Dragon Clan. What the hell? There are dragons in this game. Hiss. No wonder the Eternal Guild dared to accept the challenge, so they tamed the dragon. This dragon looks so handsome. Him looks so small in front of it. As expected of the number 1 guild, isn't it awesome? They even got such a cool mount. With such excellent equipment and this dragon, the strength of Eternal Glory is truly well deserved. Could this be the battle where him fell? If players hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have known that dragons existed in this game. And the players are also very aware of the value of the Dragon Clan. Moreover, the players on the battlefield are all well equipped. There are more than 60,000 people, and almost everyone has a set of iron suits. Needless to say, their strength is very strong. Just as the players were exclaiming in amazement, the camera in the live broadcast room moved downwards. All I saw was a monster with grey-black skin and red eyes standing in front of the player team. Although the monster was only holding an iron sword in his hand, he looked very handsome holding the sword. The big sword became like a dagger in its hand. Although the monster is not big in size, the aura it exudes is no less powerful than that of the Ender Dragon hovering in the air. What the hell? Could that monster be the younger brother of him's diamond suit zombie? Hiss, has the Eternal Guild made it like this? Is this a rebellion? No wonder him wants to cause trouble for the Eternal Guild. This monster seems to be quite powerful. With this dragon, him probably. Su Yuan was also a little surprised to see the Ender Dragon hovering in the air. I didn't expect the players to be so fast and find the end of the world. What makes Su Yuan even more curious is that the Ender Dragon can actually be tamed. However, Su Yuan soon discovered that this Ender Dragon seemed to be a little smaller. He didn't know what the reason was, but it didn't matter. Su Yuan never took the Ender Dragon seriously. Su Yuan just glanced at the Ender Dragon and didn't look at it again. Su Yuan's expression was quickly caught by Yang Hui and Kang Long, and they were both a little stunned. What's that expression on his face? Why did he just glance this way? I don't know, maybe he doesn't recognize it? Didn't the zombie not care much when he first saw the Ender Dragon? Maybe, right. In any case, the size of the Ender Dragon is there, and it is a dragon. Even if him doesn't recognize it, he has thoughts. At least he should feel a little threatened by this huge creature. But he only glanced at the Ender Dragon and never looked back in this direction again. This also made Yang Hui and Kang Long feel a little confused. But when I think about how 007 didn't react at all when he encountered the Ender Dragon, I think it seems reasonable. So I didn't think about it anymore. At this moment, Su Yuan's attention was all on 007 below. Although 007's appearance had completely changed, Su Yuan still recognized him at first sight. When Su Yuan saw his eyes glowing red, he knew that he was no longer 007. It may have become a more powerful being. Seeing this, Su Yuan slowly landed opposite 007. Although Su Yuan did nothing, this action scared the surrounding players and made them retreat one after another. He seemed to be full of energy just now, but when he saw him himself, he was instantly shocked by his aura. As soon as Su Yuan landed, he saw 007 raising the sword in his hand and suddenly rushing towards Su Yuan at a high speed. It is like a black shadow, so fast that it cannot be captured by the naked eye. Tianheng was stunned when he saw 007's reaction. I haven't even given the order yet? You attacked on your own. At this moment, the players on the battlefield were delighted after seeing 007's actions. What the hell? So fierce? He just rushed up and did it without saying anything. It seems that we have brainwashed it successfully. But, hasn't our brainwashing always been about obeying our eternal guild? How did he know him? You forgot that it has consciousness. It must have sensed that it was an enemy. Just like it attacked the Ender Dragon's eyes before. At this moment, all players' attention is focused on 007. Their spirits were all tense, as they really wanted to know whether 007 could deal with him. When 007 approached him, he immediately raised the sword in his hand and stabbed it straight at him, just when the players thought he was going to attack him. However, he saw that the sword had shifted its position and was inserted straight into the soil in front of him. Then, a scene occurred that shocked everyone. After 007 stuck the sword in his hand into the mud, he knelt on one knee in front of him with a pop. He lowered his head and didn't even dare to look him in the eye. He uttered two words vaguely. My king.